What is going on, everybody? Let me go ahead and click that record channel down. Sorry about not coming in on Wednesday. We had a little bit of technical difficulties at the crib. So this time we are good. We're going to be actually bringing you guys a live debate. I hope you guys are excited about it. I'm excited about it. We're going to be discussing who is the better option for the midterms, whether it's going to be Republicans or Democrats, or rather the incumbent Democrats, but eventually we'll end up talking about Democrats. That's in 8 minutes. In the meantime, I've got to try to get everything up and rolling. We're going to try this again. We're ironing out the differences. We're eventually getting it right, but it takes a little bit of time to do so. Give me just a second. Let's make sure this is looking nice and little dandy when we're looking at it on the phone. I hope you guys are enjoying it. I hope you guys have had a great week. We've had quite a bit of stuff going on. We had the whole Andrew Wilson and Candace Owens debate, which, to be honest, listen, I don't involve myself with a whole bunch of drama, but I will say this: I think it was a pretty interesting debate, nonetheless. Give me just a second here. Let's go over here to the shorts. All right, lower that down some. There we go. Okay. But look, I mean, at the end of the day, there's a million other things going on in our world right now where I think that us trying to quibble quabble over, this debate, I just think it's silly, quite frankly. Quite frankly, I think it's silly. But, I understand it's Andrew Wilson, the king of debate, or whatever you want to call him. At the end of the day, look, we got a million other things going on in this world. I'm a little less concerned about an Andrew Wilson and Candace Owens debate. I don't know, just me. That's why I put it out on True Social. I said, look, don't get me wrong. Was it an entertaining debate? Yeah, it was okay. But do I think that it was like, I don't know. I just don't think it's all that impressive. We did see where Andrew Wilson ended up getting dog walked. I say dog walked. He ended up getting put in a corner when it came to the charges, albeit though that is one instance of many others in which you could probably find a little bit of both. And listen, I'm just going to talk about it. When we look at what happened with Andrew Wilson and Candace Owens, both gained something from it. No one's going to walk away from it, in my opinion, where they're going to be changed on it. They're going to have their own opinions, and that's just going to be it at the end of the day. 1 second, trying to do this. Matic. Okay. Should be good. But no, I mean, there was some really interesting back and forths. I think that if you look at what happened with Andrew Wilson, he was a little bit more shaken up, a little more rattled. Candace Owens seemed more poised, but the one thing I noticed is that from a substance perspective, Candace Owens ended up being all over the place. What her arguments hinged upon were, I've got this kind of, by the way, as you're coming in, hit that like button. There's 11 y'all in here. Let's hit that like button. It gets us further in the algorithm. Also, make sure there's a little button at the bottom left-hand corner. If you guys can do me a super solid favor and hit that like, subscribe, notification bell, that would do me a solid. I'm trying to pull this up here. Give me a second. Trying to do my part in this whole thing. There we go. All right. We should be good. Right. There we go. But no, who do y'all think won? I'm curious y'all's opinion on who y'all thought won. Who did y'all think? Give me a second. I'm trying to find this freaking chat. Here we go. All messages. There we go. I want to know what y'all's opinion was of who won. When we look at what Candace Owens was doing, she was kind of building the straw man. And for example, I think I saw one clip where she mentioned that nobody that's LGBTQ would go to a Chick-fil-A. What kind of statement is that? Like, do you have any evidence to suggest that was their opinion? Listen, there's a lot of people, including on the right, who preach a certain set of principles that they don't hold themselves, right? And so at the end of the day, that's just weird to draw that dot on the map. And it's always, and this is the thing that got me was, and again, Andrew could have capitalized on this in the sense of saying, hey, look, interesting that you're saying just asking questions. Just asking questions. I'm just pondering. Well, if you have no evidence, you have nothing there. And the thing about Andrew Wilson's debate style, and as you guys have witnessed, it's very easy to corner Andrew Wilson in a debate. What we ended up doing is that, and I think that the downfall of Andrew Wilson is that I'm shocked that they did not have anybody prep him up on the case or go through it. At least it didn't feel that way, right? There should have been more prep on that. But tonight's debate is going to be a very interesting debate. So after you got done watching the Andrew Wilson and Candace Owens debate, we're going to bring this back to politics. We're debating tonight if the Republicans are the better choice for the midterms than the incumbent Democrats. And incumbent Democrats is weird because there's incumbent Republicans as well. So I don't know which way this is going to go. This was done last minute. So y'all are going to see me kind of wing it a little bit more than we normally would. So I'm kind of looking forward to it. I'm trying to get on in here in just a minute. Let me see here. Give me just a minute. I want to try to mute up my desktop audio real quick while I listen to this. Hold on one second. Okay. Well, on that note, then we are going to go into the VC. Give me 1 second. Let's see here. Give me a break. There we go. All right. Hopefully they'll move me in. I don't know. We'll see. We're gonna try to wing this thing, y'all. I haven't done this in a while, so bear with me. And if you haven't hit that like button, please hit that like button. I'm starting to wonder if I should do more of these debates. Just do the debate outside of the stream because the stream is incredibly difficult to do alongside the debate because I'm like managing 4 different screens. I've literally got my phone up here, my stream here, and my computer here. What's going on, y'all? Okay, hold on 1 second. I'm gonna try to get my. I'm live, by the way, just FYI.
That is pertinent information. I'll make sure not to go get online. Oh yeah.
There you go, Gibbs. Hold on 1 second. I'm trying to figure.
I'm live as well. I'm just still on my starting soon screen.
See, I started to do the starting soon screen thing, but the reality is that within 5 minutes you can end up losing some of those key beginning viewers. So that's why I tend to just jump straight into it. But the problem is when I jump straight into it, I'm left with like 5 seconds to set everything up. So it's like a catch-22.
You want to hear the secret about that? All right, this is what Qbot and Action Man taught me. Okay, if you can, you should go 15 to 30 minutes early, and you train your audience. That's what you do, and then you'll start getting it in. And you can what you do is you put some kind of text game in your thing, and that way, like they'll start playing the game before you go live, and that'll increase the activity and it brings people in and the hype. That's what they told me. And I've been doing it, and I've seen results.
I kind of do that. One of the main thing that I do is I just will play Spotify because I know how to set it up where it doesn't register on my VOD, so I don't get hit for toss.
All right, I think I'm good. Let me check though. I got like 15 things up.
How do you connect streams to this? I don't know if Gibbs is still there. Is there like a way to connect our stream so it's like?
And there will be if you give me 5 minutes. I got someone yelling at me. 1 second.
Yeah, it's something Gibbs has to set
no
up
worries. I'm not the tech savvy person, so I didn't know if it's something I had to do or not. But I'm sure we'll figure it out.
If we're doing stream together, I need to pull up Firefox for a second because my main browser doesn't support it.
What do you use as your main?
Opera.
Okay. Hey Vince, if you're still there,
I am.
I saw your debate on Horseradish's channel.
And thoughts?
And it was over before it began.
Absolutely.
It was interesting.
That was,
I
that was
it,
very good.
I always understand people's first times debating, so don't get me wrong. I was definitely a beginner when I started, but yeah, that was rough. That was a rough one.
I think rough is an understatement.
Oh, for sure.
No, I mean, I feel bad. And I'll keep it there. I'll keep it there. I try
That's
to keep
fair.
the peace. I try to keep the
we all
peace.
know. Yeah, we know. What could
I'll
be
put
said
it this
there.
way. Listen, I'm gonna get a little cocky here for a minute, okay? I'm undefeated currently in debates, okay? I have debated Andrew Wilson. I've debated Average Debate Enjoyer. Anybody and everybody that I've debated, I have inexplicably won, including I've debated Pisco, our friend here, and a long time ago when I was a conservative. But and I won many of those debates. I remember our self-defense debates too, or little legalese debates, Pisco. But that was a different day and age of conservative doghouse / Vince Wilson. So
Vince, you used to be conservative, or just more?
yeah, not my brightest days. I used to be conservative. I grew up in Texas, had very conservative parents. Yeah. And I voted for Trump in 16 and 20 and voted for Kamala Harris in 24. So I still have some of that MAGA programming code.
Yeah,
it's okay.
interesting.
I used to be about as far right as Gibbs, Grid, and Glenn.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Not farther right.
I didn't know you were that far right, Bidgie.
Yeah, I used to be a fucking Christian nationalist.
Oh, geez.
Wow. Yeah, that's a switch and a half.
Yeah, and the funny thing is too is like I remember doing debates on the OG, like on Twitch and stuff, and like it's funny now like seeing who is considered far left. Like back in the day, like I remember IRI was considered far left, and like the conservatives in that day and age were like super. The drama that we had to deal with was so much more minimal. Like it was like literally the drama of the day was, oh my, like for conservatives at least, I can't say this about the left. The conservative drama.
We're going live in a second.
I got you. The conservative day and age at that time was, oh my God, IRI blocked me. Like that was literally the drama of the day. It was like the fact that IRI would always block conservatives. And nowadays we're dealing with like Hassan and like his influence over the DSA. It's insane the level of drama that's kind of conspired over it all.
Yeah. I mean, even just on a weekly basis now, what I see on the left, at least, it's always something kind of stupid. It has gotten stupider, I think, over the past few years too, on like where people start to split off and like don't have conversations anymore because somebody said this, or like behind the scenes they're talking about this, and it's like, really, I feel like there's so many worse things you can start to split off from commentators on, and it just starts to become like the tiniest and tiniest things every other time I see it. So yeah, definitely interesting.
Yeah, it's gotten pretty bad.
What up, boys?
All right, boys, give me
Hear
3 minutes and we'll kick this off. All right, I'm just gonna take a piss.
Sounds
and
Late
good.
as
get
fuck,
going.
Gibbs. Late as fuck.
I know.
He
It's
always
Sammy's
is.
fault, not mine.
I was late too.
You
God,
just
I
gotta
watched
be ahead of the
whole
host.
Andrew Wilson debate. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, about that.
That's right.
The one thing I'll say is this, is that Candace found the kryptonite. I'll put it that way. When I debated Andrew, the one thing I got him on was facts. If you bring
Facts.
any like facts and current events, like if you bring those two into his debate with him, he's not big on current events. So like if you know that going into it and you know his arguments that he's going to make because he's a very public figure, it's really easy to like corner him. And I'm surprised that Candace found that button to be able to push.
Yeah, I was surprised too, just knowing Candace and seeing her stuff beforehand. And I was interested to see how prepared she would be, or like what angle she would take. So I was kind of, it's almost like one of those debates where you really don't think you can root for anybody, but I guess the outcome that came from that was kind of funny in a way, especially as Andrew has become kind of like this bigger figure now who also now runs debate courses. So ironic there. So
How many people are getting
yeah.
refunds?
Yeah. Did you see? I don't know if this was true or not, but somebody said on Polymarket the odds that the Charlie Kirk shooter getting convicted now went down by like 10% after that single debate.
No way. No way. Leave him alone. No way.
I'm very curious though, because I know Candace is locked up in a lot of lawsuits and things like that, and the case is still going on. And with a very public debate like that, I don't think there's going to be any like conflict, but I am curious if that's going to have like after effects in Candace's legal issues.
I think it gave her a chance to clean up what her actual position is.
It was a chance. Doesn't mean that it was successful. But
I doubt it will affect the lawsuit where Macron is suing him or her for saying that, like, I don't know, that they're lying about him marrying his own dad, who's a transgender or something. That doesn't really seem like it would be affected.
I definitely don't think that'll be affected.
It's just wild to me how much attention that debate got compared to like the million other issues. That's why I posted on X. I was like, so I heard there was a Candace Owens, Andrew Wilson debate. I was too busy concentrated on like the blatant corruption and this and this and this. And I'm like, I don't know. I feel like sometimes, I don't know, we tend to look at this debate culture as more of a entertainment piece with, and then putting aside the other pressing issues of the day. But maybe that's my like lib coming out.
Yeah, I was surprised to see that more people watch this debate than the Super Bowl.
Fair point. That's crazy and kind of also concerning.
Is that for real?
No, dude, come on.
Okay, I don't know.
Okay, that was way too serious, Pisco. So I bought into it. You sold me on it, man.
No way,
That's the lawyer coming out of Pisco right there. He sold me on it. Okay.
Dude,
I was like, there can't be.
there was like 200,000 plus people watching at one point on Candace's stream.
Yeah, I mean,
Jeez.
there's a lot of people.
How many were
but-
bots? My chat said 80% were bots.
True.
I mean, I don't know that a lot of them were bots because her chat was very, very active. She also made a fuckload of money off that debate too. She had super chats coming in left and right.
She started with like $300,000 in the bank, and then I'm sure like however many super chats and ads and shit.
Honestly, that was my kind of point is that there is no loser in this debate. Like, honestly, like realistically speaking, they're going to make their money back more than that 300K. I guarantee
Well, first of all, there is a loser in the debate. First of all. Second of all, yeah, I mean, homie did it. Listen, I got to be honest, and this is a hot take as a conservative. I know all my libs and socialists here are going to like this take. First of all, brother, I never want to hear, as somebody that likes to gamble, this man, you know, I've done gambling my whole. I did betting odds for bonesnapper.com and USA Today, right? I'm going to tell you something right now. No man that goes around flexing on smaller streamers saying, pay me 10 grand or do X, or pay me 10 grand or bet 10K can ever say ever again that shit after you put up a GoFundMe or whatever that shit is. That's just outrageous. I like, next time I see him and he wants to bet on something, I'm like, let's bet. I'm going to put 10K acres up right now. That's like several $1 million. You put that match up, and let's make this bet right here live on television. And then we can see who wins it. They're not going to do it because I'm going to be like, oh, or if you do it, you can't put a GoFundMe in there to get the money. Like, that's crazy work. How do you sit here and say, I'm going to go flex on other streamers? Like, your whole career, bet 10K. Hey, Sarah, pay 10K. Hey, brother, what was the guy that they had? Wick, I'll pay you 10K to come box. Jake Shields offered him 40K to get them. First of all, I will say this. I know Jake Shields. I met him a few times. We trained together. I would never willingly get in the cage with Jake Shields. Don't take the 40K to get in the cage with Jake Shields. That's a bad call. But I will say, it's crazy that you're going to have a bet. Like as your main thing.
You wanted to charge me $4,000.
What's up,
He
Wes,
wanted to
by the
charge me
way?
fucking
What's going on, man?
$4,000. He's like,
Welcome
yeah,
in.
you have to pay me to fucking debate.
Wes, you have mod powers.
I mean,
If you can help,
I don't know.
would really appreciate it. I don't have.
I thought that
I don't have the ability to do anything.
Can defend it. Hold on, I got it. Grid, defend the GoFundMe right now. Grid, defend it. No pressure.
The fuck are you talking about?
Did I just
Yeah.
do sound? Oh, I did do sound.
Gibbs, you just said defend the GoFundMe and gave no context the second he jumped in.
A lot of people watch. Oh, you got it. Okay, cool. Appreciate it. Appreciate it,
No,
Wes.
he's not wearing his headphones.
Sorry, I'm back.
I'm over here. I'm almost
Listen,
done
let me
setting this
tell you
up in the
something,
right
guys.
way. Okay.
Latinas are always needy. That's all you need to know.
Oh, geez.
It's okay though. It's fun. If you don't get stabbed 52 times, it's really love. All right, now we have this one conservative. We can start this. All right. While he gets his shit set up, Grid, are you good?
Is who good?
Grid.
Yeah,
know
man, I
Pisco-
just walked in. Give me 5 seconds, bro.
All right, that's fine. I know Pisco always confuses my Texas accent with drunk slurring, but I promise it's just the Texas accent. You know what I'm saying? I actually don't drink that much.
That much? That much? How much?
It's a
Just a
relative
bottle
term.
a day keeps the
Keeps-
cirrhosis away.
Keeps the cirrhosis away.
But are you really?
Can't afford liquor.
I was gonna say, are you really a Texan if you don't like, drink a little bit? I mean, Austin might be a little bit different, to be fair. Okay, we might have a little more on the the craft brews.
My favorite part of the debate was when Andrew Wilson was like this the whole time, just holding his fucking face.
Yo, he would listen. Candace was like stout. She was like just not nervous, not shaking or anything. I will say, from the poise perspective, she was far more poised than Andrew Wilson. I will say that.
Yeah, she ranked higher in poise. That said, like
Poise
Candace
is
sounded
key.
like an insane person. I just want to say, like,
Agreed.
obviously, I think Andrew won on
Is that news
substance.
for you?
No, but I just want it to be said that there was one period where I think she spoke for 10 minutes uninterrupted and just was rambling. It was crazy. They let her do that. No way.
The careless Ted Cruz, he stands for nothing. He is nothing. Yeah, Cole.
I'm gonna dive
this
out.
is why he
and-
needs to
and
get out of here.
rejoin, just see if this works.
All right, sounds good.
Sounds good. Sounds good, brother.
This feels like deja vu from when we went to GridCon, except now I'm having a debate Grid and what's his name now? Just feels backwards.
Gibbs.
Not Gibbs, no, Glenn Powell or whatever his name is. Not Glenn Powell. I don't remember his name.
I feel like it's not just me versus all y'all. All right. I'm done getting up. All right, cool. He's moved back in. We're good. I'll just fight all y'all if none of them are ready. It'll be 1 versus 6, I guess.
Jeez, Gibbs, that's you might have to
Fuck is
join in
going
on it.
here?
Yeah, I'm not that worried. I'm not going to join in if I don't have to. I'd rather it be fair. I hate when people do the moderation. It's just like super unfair moderation. It's just annoying.
Name names.
All of them.
Say it.
You-
Say his name out loud. Say it.
Sure. Yeah, I'll say it. I'll say it. Wick. We got Andrew there. We got all these fuckers. Listen, I like Wick. Don't get me wrong, but my biggest thing is if you make a point like on one side, like okay, I'll make a point. I'll make a hypothetical, and I'm going somewhere with this. Don't
He's
stop
like
me at
Wes
hypothetical. Let me make the point because I'm probably gonna grant that bullshit and then make a point. Don't be like, oh, I see Gibbs is going, and these guys don't know what they're doing. Stop me before, please. But it's okay. But it's not just Wick. Wick's like biased left. Andrew and them are biased left, right? Easy, same shit. All these people are too biased. Like, it's better when we have an actual combo. Like, if you're gonna mod, try to stay out of it, or help the side you think is losing. Even if that's not your team. I don't know. At least so it's fair. I don't know. It's just a personal pet peeve, but whatever. Fuck them. All right, great. Are you getting your shit together?
I don't know, man. You know how much I hate Discord.
Okay, listen. This is Papa. It's real simple. Disable your camera in StreamYard. Okay.
In StreamYard.
Neither party,
Are you in
Patriot?
StreamYard?
Disable
What do
your
you mean?
camera, whatever program you're using that's not.
Yeah. I'm not live.
What do you mean neither party? Are you on the further fringes of the left? Like, what do you mean neither party is the best candidate? Like, you independent?
Don't worry, guys. I knew this was Friday impromptu shit show. It's gonna be good. We're probably gonna get a nice 3-way fight. I'm excited. This is much better than the Candace.
There's one.
Andrew
There's one
Service
objectively
Service
better
Service.
choice. Syncretic. I'm.
You know.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure that Peacemaker's gonna fight all y'all. We're
No,
gonna have
there's definitely
fucking Vigilante fight the rest of y'all, and then y'all all gonna be conservatives.
left wing gridiron over here, I guess, right?
Yeah, what's
I'll
called?
be back in a second.
Oh my lord!
Come on, grid.
Greg, it's like his first time
You-
streaming. Where's
It's not
All
like
right,
he
well-
hosted GridCon or nothing and got all the technology and everything set up. Come on, grid.
we're gonna call Glenn too? These guys, bro.
Yeah, I know.
Of
What's
course
going
the
on with these
lefties are on
Republicans,
time.
bro?
I know, god damn it, bro, giving them all bad look, bro. Mm-mm-mm.
I have no idea, Wes. I don't know what syncretic is.
Fuck it, we're gonna start in 5 minutes, regardless if they're ready or not.
There you go.
I don't give a shit. I'll start fighting.
Your call has been full.
We don't need them. We don't need
By
them.
the
All
way,
right.
I'm live. I don't know
Yeah.
if you guys know that.
Yeah, we're
I'm
all
live
live
too.
now. I'm
We're
live.
all live.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
all
yeah,
live.
pretty much
We're
all
fucking
live.
we're all seeing the shit show that is this bullshit.
Yeah.
That's okay though. This was impromptu's chat. You know, don't worry about it. Everybody figured this out in less than a day. We can't complain. Wouldn't do us any good if we did. You know, these men, unlike some people, Dragon Fist, we don't need a week to prepare for a debate.
So basically, it's independent
We
victory, is
do
what
it
you're
the day
saying.
of.
I
In
mean,
fact, I'm pretty sure Peace
that's pretty much independent.
Anti-Semitism in the last 48 hours. He probably woke up 5 minutes ago and he's ready to fight this shit. Like, am I right?
I'm like, what's going on? I don't hate Jews.
Yeah, that's what I was like, I heard something. They were like, "Oh yeah, Peacekeeper's fight, whatever." And then I like tuned in last night. And I just see like fighting like 10 different people. I'm like, yeah, he's gonna be ready for tomorrow, I think.
Yeah.
How's everybody? Tell us. Wait. Well, you know what? We're just gonna do an intro, and we can get an intro from everybody here, and then we'll fucking talk about some exciting shit. Because the Meadows. Welcome everybody to Give Me a Break. This is the Friday night shit show edition of Give Me a Break. Y'all watched Right on Right Violence on the earlier today, and as a conservative host, I'm gonna say one thing. Listen, all these lefties are about to disagree with what I have to say, but we need to come together as conservatives, and we need to keep those motherfuckers down. And so what we're doing today is we're gonna fight the left, or at what's supposed to, it might be a 1-on-5. Who knows? I will tell you this though, it's gonna be exciting. But before we get into it, while we wait for conservatives who apparently have jobs and can't be on time, let's go to our contestants today. Let's start with Castle. Tell us who you are, where to find you.
this is gonna be.
Hey, everybody,
funny
so
as
my
hell,
name is
y'all.
Castle. You
That's
can
what
find
happened
me
last
on
minute.
Twitter, YouTube at CastleGuard YT. I am a political
Oh,
streamer from more of a center-left perspective, but love to opine about all things sports, politics, markets, pop culture, whatever it is. So if you like perspectives from that type of view, give me a follow. And yeah, happy to be here.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. How about we go to you, Mr. Pisco? Tell us who you are, where to find
Yeah, I'm a person who is a lawyer. I talk about politics and law, and sometimes other
This is
shit.
gonna turn into a
And
left
you can
shit
find me
show.
at Pisco
I just
Liddy.
already know it.
you. Also
This is gonna be so
streams a
bad.
lot, so if you turn on
Yeah.
your fucking
Wes,
Twitch,
this is about to
you'll
be super
find it.
entertaining.
And
I'm not gonna lie.
follow his ass.
If it's
Yeah.
not
All
already.
right, Mr. Wilson.
Yes, sir. I am the Vince Wilson, not to be confused with the Andrew Wilson. And if you call me Andrew Wilson one time, I will totally flip out. Okay, we are totally separate from each other. Anyways, I stream on YouTube, Twitch, X, TikTok, even, and TikTok is where you're going to find a lot of my live streams and things as well. Usually right after work and before work. Nonetheless, I am the Vince Wilson Show. I provide liberal political commentary. Yes, liberal. Not illiberal, not DSA. All right. Liberal commentary. Anyways, guys, looking forward to it. It's going to be a fun little debate. I'm excited.
All right, thank you so much. And Vigilante.
Yeah, I'm the Vigilante TV. You can find me at that name on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok. I primarily do debates from a leftist perspective. And I'll also do a lot of religious debates because they're fun. It's always fun to piss off the Christians. And then I do a lot of gaming content as well. I'm getting
agree,
back
Wes. I'd
into
be curious about
streaming
that as well.
of, pretty much this week. So
Fantastic. Yeah, and guys, we're going to be doing a lot of live content next week, so my streaming schedule will be weird. We're going to be hosting the Sean Kelly Show twice as a mod for Pearl, and I guess Alex Steinman debating, not so you guys as one of the debaters. And then next week, and then I think week after, or 2 weeks after, we're going to be hosting either GridCon 3 on the 11th, and then we're going to be doing maybe the RNC convention. I think there's some sort of outnumbered surrounding debate thing as well. All in all, it's popping over here. Exciting times. I guess we can start, and maybe I'll fight y'all until we get the other people in, or maybe you can fight each other. I don't know. These conservatives are really fucking failing me. Fuck you guys. I hate you for being late. All right, let's start with Castle.
You should
Why
join the
don't you
left,
give it-
Gibbs.
Yeah, see, y'all hate Texas ranchers. There's the problem. That's my big. Maybe if y'all like did some policy that helped me. Listen, I'm willing to do it, guys. In fact, you know what? I'm gonna give a take before we do it. That I think y'all all like. Everybody in Texas, I don't care what it takes, but if you don't go and vote against Dan Patrick, whether it's third party or blue, you are not a conservative Republican in Texas. Fuck this motherfucker. He hates agriculture in Texas. And you know what? He's a Yankee on top of that. Get this bitch out of office. I don't care what it takes. Jesus need to come down from the heavens and tell y'all to kick Dan Patrick out. He has to go. I encourage everybody that's Republican to vote red, except for Dan Patrick, and except in your local elections, vote for what's best for you. Because you know how it is in local elections here, guys. All
Yes,
right,
I have
let's
no
start with
idea.
Castle.
I
Greg,
have
Greg,
no idea what's
Greg,
going on
does your
right
shit work
now.
now?
It's about to be like a
Last chance.
1v5.
Fuck if I know. I don't know why it's being such a bitch tonight with Discord. It doesn't normally have any problems, but
You always have
tonight it's
problems.
being a tag.
Well, thank you for saying that. Well,
It's
we're
weird
all
that
live.
it
Yeah,
knows
we're
that
all
it's
live.
there. It's
Thanks,
not
Grid.
doing
We're all
Yeah,
live.
gee.
We're all live.
Jesus.
Jesus
Come
Christ.
on, Grid.
Yeah, thank you. TUS. Don't say slurs. By the way,
He
folks.
said
Bag.
something totally different. It was
Bag.
not that.
Yeah, he said
by the way.
Walmart bag. Anyway,
Yeah.
Castle, start us off with your intro. He's gone. again.
Grid
I-
dipped
I-
out. No, don't
All right,
don't just
Castle,
come in here
start
and
us
drop that and dip out. You can't do that.
Yeah.
Like that's not.
Wait, this is not his first time streaming either. Castle, go ahead. Start us
All
off.
right. Well, full and total endorsement of what Gibbs just said about Dan Patrick. Terrible, terrible person. Should never win his election in Texas. From a center-left perspective, though, I'm interested to see where people stand on this because before the debate began and before the prompt started, I was wondering to myself, I was like, well, where would people disagree on this? And I was thinking about it, if a socialist candidate ran against a Republican, would I vote against the socialist? And I was telling myself, of course I wouldn't. Why would I want a Republican to win a race? But there are certain instances where I believe if there is somebody coming from the far left, and there's even candidates now who have even won their races, like a Daria Lisa in New York City, where if there is a balance of power that the left is winning, and let's say hypothetically they win the Senate back and they win the House of Representatives, and then they win the presidency in 2028. And there is a race where a Democratic Socialist or somebody from the far left, call them a communist, whatever you want, is running that won't affect that balance of power, and they have bad ideas. I don't think it's out of the ordinary for somebody who is an average American or even center left or center right person to say, this isn't somebody.
This
who I
is
think
going to
should
turn into a
represent the left,
DSA
and I
debate,
should
by
vote
the
for
way,
them and
and
vote
very
for
quickly,
the
especially if it's just
Republican.
us
Let's
up
say
here.
it's a Republican.
It's
you don't even have to
very
call it
quickly gonna turn
independent
into
or
that.
whoever.
And that's
I
okay.
think there are cases where
I mean,
you
that's
could get
totally
me to
fine by
agree
me.
with
I'm
that
just saying this is going to
stance
be very
there are
interesting.
people, and this happens on
It's
the
gonna
right
get
all the
crazy
time, but this
very
is a topic
quickly.
about the left, so we'll stick with that. But there are people who are coming from the far left who I think are spreading certain policies and ideas that are harmful and hurt the actual party itself from a Democratic Party standpoint. And I think in the long run can do real damage to that party and start to lose races on a national level. So I think there are instances where you can get me to agree with this stance. I don't
Buckle
think
up,
it would
Wes. This is
matter
gonna
for
get
me
bumpy.
in a
Just
balance
saying.
of power
gonna
position
get
where
real
if
bumpy.
Democrats needed to win a seat and it came down to that race where I would say vote for the Republican. I
Hey,
would
by
not
the
say
way, guys,
that,
if you're in here, hit
but
that
I
like,
think
subscribe,
from even a
notification
state
bell,
level,
okay?
local level, and
Do me
then
a favor
certain
on that,
instances
please.
on federal level where I think there are certain people on the left that
Means
are
the world to
ruining the
me.
name of the
And
Democratic
if you're watching this
Party
on
and
Twitch,
should be
well,
defeated,
follow me.
by the other
That's
side.
the best I can ask.
All right, thank you so much. Let's go to Vince Wilson's show real quick. You get our next lid here and see what he thinks.
Yeah, so I had totally prepped a statement for two wonderful Republicans to be up here to engage with. So my
That's
feeling
fine, I
is,
got you.
all right. So here's the thing: at the end of the day, it is easy to see that Republicans are the worst option to vote for. They have done nothing but concede or cede power to Donald Trump. They have done nothing to rein in the power. They've actually shown quite the opposite. They've said essentially that that Trump's their daddy. essentially. So if you're looking at it from any kind of Democrat that's running, which by the way, currently there is none that I can see that are certainly not DSA aligned, if you will. Well, none that are DSA in the sense of like their policy prescriptions. We have had one candidate who managed to squeak through in Michigan, who now is the only DSA candidate that I've seen in a very purple or red district be able to kind of flip that essentially. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But 99.9% of the candidates that are on the Democratic ticket right now are going to be your run-of-the-mill normie Democrats. And so what we need to do is we need to make sure that we go in, we support Democrats because their policies are not only better, it's also more important that we flip the Senate and we flip the House in order to rein in Donald Trump's power, in order to subpoena, because we already know Donald Trump's DOJ with Todd Blanche isn't going to do anything when it comes to Donald Trump. So we need some kind of an investigative body, and that is where Democrats come in, hand over fist.
All right, thank you so much. Let's go to Mr. Vigilante. Go ahead. You're a socialist take.
Yeah, so generally speaking, most of the DSA aligned candidates that are even running are really just like sock Dems. They're not for the most part, none of them are actually like true social Democrats. So it's nothing more than just voting in more progressive candidates. The idea that we should that libs should vote against the DSA candidates or like or Democratic candidates in general is just accelerationist talking points. And in general, it's going to end up helping out the Republican short term and the far left in the long term. So I mean, if you want to go the accelerationist route, sure, go for it. You'll be helping out the people like Hassan instead of actually fighting against them.
Is that it? Okay. All right. And Mr. Pisco.
We're seeing like untold corruption from the federal government. Trump is enriching himself and his family.
Yes, please don't do that,
prosecutions.
Patriot. If you're going to do that, then Wes, you have full permissions to like time him out. If it's just going to be spam and copy and paste. Patriot, either engage or don't engage. And we're not, wait, let's have formal. I don't mind you guys going back and forth. Just don't copy and paste, don't spam. You're good. I mean, you guys seem to be having a good conversation. Just keep it formal.
Over a MAGA fascist. We can deal with whatever made up bullshit boogeyman communist threat occurs down the line. But in the short to midterm, it's not even close.
All right, Grid. Now you're here. You're going to give us an opening. And if it's not satisfactory or problems, I'm going to give one for y'all until y'all get back. Go ahead and give us an opening here. What do you think? Why should the people vote over Republican over the Dems here with the incumbents, specifically for the libs?
Patriot, you can just cite like kind of where you're getting it from. You know, you don't have to.
I see the cameras working very well.
You'll just have to do voice Grid probably, just to keep it easy.
Yeah, do the voice for now.
Or we could just not use Discord and be cool.
No, don't do the streamer thing.
Yeah, we're not boomers, bro. We're all fucking tech savvy. Get it?
Yeah, right. Okay. All right, whatever. I'm sorry. What were you were saying something?
Give your intro. Your intro.
My intro. For me personally, I'm Grid 1. Apparently, I can't use tech, and I do debates and stuff occasionally.
Okay, and your thoughts on the topic?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with the topic. I think that the more lefties vote further right, the better off we are, I guess. Sure.
Fantastic. All right, I'm going to go ahead and give an opening for them, and then I'm going to step back and moderate because, damn, that was tough. So, the reason I put this topic
all good,
here
Patriot. You're all good.
Because I think that the libs should be pissed. They should be mad. The incumbents have gotten in bed with people they didn't really understand. We've all seen the movie The Dark Knight, right? With Heath Ledger's Joker. And there's this great scene where they're like, oh, we have to hire the clown, right? And this is kind of where we're at right here. Y'all let the clown in, and y'all hired someone y'all didn't really understand. Y'all got people in there, and this is on y'all's incumbents' fault. And then on top of that, they are corrupt. We're seeing this right now. It was very sus with the USB things. We all saw the reaction to MSNBC's live thing. Maybe y'all don't agree that's corruption, but it seems like independents are not satisfied with y'all's party. And I think the best thing is maybe you'll get a refresh. Maybe you'll get rid of the incumbents that have allowed this to happen and vote Republican to send a message, just like I'm telling Republicans to do with Dan Patrick. And that's really my thoughts on this. I know y'all object to that, so I'm going to step back to moderating now. But I know y'all can fight. Go ahead.
The USB thing?
What USB
What are you
thing?
talking about?
Oh, you don't know about the USB thing? Oh, you want to?
Nope, no idea what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
When they were voting, that they like delayed getting the USB.
Yeah, you want to see the yeah? We'll just share a video real quick because you
You
know.
sound like Candace Owens. You're like corruption. What the fuck is the logical inference?
Oh, you know what I mean.
Oh, I got you. We'll play a video and we introduce this idea here.
Oh, they forgot to pick up the USB. Like, what are you saying?
Is this just
I mean,
is this just Hunter Biden's laptop all over again?
Pretty much.
yeah. Hunter Biden laptop. What do you mean? This is during their live
I think I
election.
know how to fucking do this.
Like it's corruption.
Oh, you're talking
like,
about an election USB? Oh, I know what
yeah,
you're talking
there was,
about.
Like some.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was in Wisconsin or something like that, wasn't it? The last election with Francesca Hong?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I know what you're talking about, Grid. Or
That was Gibbs.
Gibbs. Sorry.
Yeah.
All right. No big deal, man.
Sorry, Grid.
Yeah. See, you understand? You lost the USBs.
Oh my
again.
god, missing thumb drive stalled, and that's what is that supposed to prove?
It sounds like it's real sus. You don't think so? Y'all don't think that the
Dude,
incumbents?
You know, you know what?
Even if it's not corruption, it shows ineptitude. Wouldn't you agree?
I'll tell you what's real corrupt here, Gibbs. Have you heard of what Donald Trump's intending to do with the SAVE Act if he doesn't get it passed? Do you know what he's going to do? He's going to put into place a national emergency and then draw up an executive order to federalize national elections, essentially ceding power from the inept, spineless Republicans in Congress. And that's what he's going to do. Which one's worse, the missing USB drives or the president of the United States actually saying, hey, you know what? I'm going to rip that power away from you, Congress, since you can't get the SAVE Act passed, I'm going to create this imaginary little emergency to get the power to federalize national elections. Which one's worse?
I would say the USBs. It's pretty simple. Because one is a clear and present danger. Piece you're
Wait,
talking this opening about
The
corruption.
USB's worse than
shows-
pulling a fucking Emperor Palpatine?
No, because this is an established Republican precedent going all the way back to Lincoln and the Civil War. If there's a national emergency that's an extreme circumstance, which clearly voter fraud is, why are you upset about people having to show? Have you seen the James O'Keefe video today with where they're going and they're vouching for people to
Dude,
vote?
that guy's a clown.
Yeah, but so
James
exactly, he's a
O'Keefe.
clown. Why, if he's a clown, why should he be able to get 8 people to vote at 8 different spots on this fucking in Minnesota? Clearly,
Hey,
this guy shouldn't be able to
what's
get
up, Stan?
random 8 people voted.
Let's just chill out on
vouched by
language a
his
little bit
voucher.
with
I don't know what
TOS,
the
please.
fuck I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You're saying that he broke election law by giving the thing of value in exchange for someone's vote?
No, what he did was he went down there dressed as a person of Islamic descent, okay, and went in there in a certain cultural garb, and he got other people wear full-on burqas, but they weren't identifiable, and he just vouched that they were 8 people to see if they would allow to vote. And before voting, they all just left, so they didn't break any laws, but they were fully ready to allow him to do
You
so.
know-
Is that not suspicious?
You know what's suspicious is
Oh,
putting ICE in the National Guard at polling locations. I think that's pretty suspicious. What do you think?
Well, I mean, why would you be concerned about that? You're just going to show up with your ID and just be like, yeah, this is me, officer.
Do I need to bring
Wait,
up?
so I don't get the,
Sorry.
The
go ahead.
strat was that they were wearing a burqa and they were about to commit voter fraud and then they didn't.
Well, yeah, because they were proving that it
Wait.
was easy to do fraud. Because y'all told us it's the most safe elections ever.
No, but
You know,
but
and
they
vouchers.
didn't vote, right? So
Well, yeah, because they didn't commit a crime. Yeah, they would have.
This is going to be worse than my last debate, y'all. This is going to be
No,
worse
they only,
than my
just
they
last
only
check
debate.
that for a
worked
second.
they voluntarily didn't do it.
Gibbs, was it
not
okay?
Like
Because
they
they were
did.
worried about the consequence? Because they were worried
No,
about the
No,
consequence?
because
maybe?
they were trying to prove a point. They didn't want to actually commit a crime, unlike the Dems who are using this as a system.
So you would
to
be
elect
like,
people
so
public.
this is Gibbs right now, right? You bring a gun into a fucking shopping center and you're like,
Well, first of all, I would never do
We-
this. We all care we got
Okay.
legally.
into
Pure
a
hypothetical.
in a gun-free zone, right? And then you walk out, you're like, see, I could.
He's definitely making it an authoritarian stand.
That
For
shows-
sure.
Well,
That's a problem.
actually, yes, they do this for like schools. They'll show people they go in. They're like, look, we got school guns in the school-free zone. You'll need to hype up security. We've been having death threats. Why would you not want to hype up security if security is that easily broken? Grid, you were
I
saying
mean, I
something?
guess if that's your epistemic standard, I mean, is that your standard that like just being on the precipice of like a crime and then not doing it that shows that
No,
there's, like,
wait,
a
hold on,
widespread
hold on.
issue?
Hold on, BC.
Hold on.
Hold on. I gotta answer this real quick. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Real quick. So then you agree that the SPLCU actually committed
Yo, this
crimes
one's gonna be rough.
by funding the
This
white
one's gonna be
that
rough,
seems
y'all.
like a non
Oh,
sequitur, so
no, it's totally different whenever they actually go through with the
Wait,
crime
wait,
and they
what's
fund
the
like the
crime?
Unite the Right. Well, they funded the Unite the Right.
what's the crime? You're like, you don't believe that
This
this
is
showed
gonna be a
anything
rough one,
of
y'all. So I
substance?
hope y'all are buckled in.
Wait, let me finish.
Okay, go ahead.
So this is
This
your
is gonna
logic
be
was,
rough, y'all.
Okay, you don't believe that this is a problem, therefore SPLC did crime. Make that
No.
make sense.
No, I'm going to show the equivalency. So James O'Keefe
Okay.
went and basically went through the process, got right up to the crime committing part, and showed that they were allowed to do it. Then didn't commit the crime to document it, right? Which is what you do as an informant. These guys, the SPLC, they basically funded the Unite the Right movement. They actually have someone fucking charged with crimes now for doing this, and it seems like a pretty open and shut case. And they
Which person
defrauded
is
their
charged
donors.
with crimes?
I don't have this. in
Which
front of me.
person is charged with crime?
Give me 10
There
seconds.
is
I'll
no
tell you.
person charged with crime. It's the entity is charged with the crime, and yeah, I think it's bullshit. It's like just because you fund
No,
someone
she was-
as an
she was
informant doesn't
charged.
mean-
Heidi Brandt Bellerich was accused.
but she
accused
was
and
charged. They
Yeah.
charged them as a
Yeah,
person?
as of like
That's news to me.
3 or 4 days ago. Yeah, I think so.
Oh,
They charged her. She was arrested and indicted on federal charging. Alleged she oversaw a scheme to funnel $4 million into donor funds to informants inside the White Street hearing, like et cetera, et cetera.
oh, but it's the
So-
same kind of facts and circumstances. as
6-1,
SPLC. And
Trump needs to
what
be
the
in
fuck does this have
jail.
to do with DSA people and communists?
Point
I
is,
was
they
waiting
were
for that.
actually.
Oh, man.
They were actually.
I want to.
If you weren't
Oh, yeah,
president,
Becky,
you
I want to
would
run
be in
a
jail.
consistency
Right.
check on Gibbs real quick,
Sure.
right?
And then
So you mentioned the whole like putting ICE in the military at voting locations is
National
fine,
Guard,
right?
definitely.
Well, National Guard still. Was it okay when Nicolas Maduro did this in Venezuela?
Oh, yeah. I mean, here's the thing, Andy. If you know my policy, they're all going to about to laugh at you because they all know my policy. I don't give one fuck about Venezuelan law because we're the goddamn superpower. We have 11, count them, 11 super carriers. That's the international law. And if you turn that light off one more time, I'm gonna fucking, I don't know, I'm gonna do nothing. I'm gonna yell.
That was a non-answer. Well, like, do you think it affected the legitimacy of the election at all?
I mean, I think actually, like threatening his opponent and
Hey, B Diamond,
eventually,
chill out on the language, please.
potentially, did he actually kill
We
the
got to be
opponent,
careful
or
on
it
these
was
TOS
like
languages, y'all.
some
Seriously,
really
chill.
hinky stuff that went
I don't disagree with
against his
you.
opponent. So yeah, I would
be
I would
clear,
say that
but
probably affected it.
Yeah,
I
chill
don't
on the
know that
language.
having
Should be
armed
careful.
men there
Please.
really
Thank you.
had the effect of chilling the election as much as threatening your opponent with armed force.
Nobody
okay.
threatened them before the election. I know there was some shit that went down after the election.
Do you think that ICE or National Guard would not be armed at polling locations?
But would they be okay? So, do you find armed men threatening?
I would say that if they are armed, there is some level of authoritative figure that they are portraying. Actually, a matter of fact, use of force continuum and specifically states that the mere presence of multiple officers is enough to be to constitute a part of the use of force continuum. It's part of it to show enough force. It's a coercive force. Just the sheer number of people, let alone you add any kind of say
who would they be
military
co-
gear or
I
anything
mean,
like that.
Okay, fair enough. But which direction are they? Are they influencing?
Anybody that wants to go to the polling location, and especially if there's anybody that's ICE, and you know how ICE has picked up U.S. citizens, the track record is not real well. If you are of Hispanic or Latino descent, and after listening to Kavanaugh's message, you may be more inclined not to go.
Are you saying that I would be intimidated?
I feel like Gibbs
by
is
the
safe.
National Guard? Yeah, you think I'd be intimidated as a person of Hispanic descent at the poll?
I don't know if
No,
you
you're white
would-
enough.
Sherman
They
said
they
that,
think you're
yeah.
white.
Oh, see, you're never white. You're never brown enough for the Browns, and you're never,
Never
white enough for the
brown.
whites. It's crazy work.
Look,
It's funny.
Gibbs, you're a
Are
redhead.
we
They,
here to
they,
talk
they
about
think you're
voting
from
for
Ireland.
Democrats?
we are.
I mean,
That's what we're supposed to be talking about, but we're like,
We
Yeah,
can-
let's
we
go
can-
ahead. Good. Go. Yeah, let's move on to the subject here.
Let's
I
reel
Glenn will
it in.
show up when well, if not, I have somebody that we can replace him with here in about 5 minutes. He's got. about
yeah, I don't know what's
5
going on with Glenn. I closed all the windows down, so I can't see
Fuck
anything
it.
going
Don't
on.
worry about it. Let's so all right. Why should give your pitch, Grid? Why should the people vote out incumbent Dems? What are your thoughts here, Grid?
Well, I mean, first of all, I think that the old guard, a lot of the old guard Democrats have been bamboozled into believing that the new DSA folks are actually on their side when that is just simply not the case. And whether we want to talk about how, DSA aligned people treat the courts and various other institutions as illegitimate structures, requiring radical transformation, radical new teachings, new worldviews. Whether we want to talk, whether it's just that, or if we want to talk about how, they win in these low turnout primaries. We actually just had that happen here. We had a guy who's, I don't know if he actually identifies as DSA, but he won a councilman spot. Youngest guy ever, actually, in my area to do so. And it's going to be really interesting to see how the old guard, the few old guard Democrats that back this guy, like what he has to say, because I think he's very radical. I think he's a poison pill. And to be honest with you, I'm honestly enjoying this because I think that if the DSA movement continues forward, it's going to burn the Democrat Party to the ground, and I'll watch it. I will sit on the sideline with popcorn.
Yeah, but like, why should motivate us to vote for Republicans? You just gave a bunch of like descriptive accounts for what you think is going to happen, how they're different. So motivate me.
Right. Okay. So, all right. Yeah, fair enough. I did define the problem. Now, so the reason that the reason that Democrats ought vote for Republican candidates is even if you don't agree with everything we stand for, we're not going to be trying to radically change things. Republicans tend to defend and install, what's the word I'm looking for? Incremental reform within institutions. We don't go for sweeping changes for the most part. Whereas the DSA guys are, and what's just look at what Montgomery's done in New York. I mean, he's like out of control up there. And for Democrats that still value functioning governance, merit-based systems, and some sense of social cohesion, I just feel like they're going to align
pretty
more
radical right now. I mean, they're supporting this crazy amount of corruption with nary a fucking whimper about it.
I don't know why you're so much lower. I'm sorry, Peace. Whoops. I'm sorry. I don't know why you're so much.
All right,
lower.
I'll try to get really, really close to the mic. Is that any better?
That is way better.
Okay. All right. I don't know why I should be worried about the radicalism from the DSA, especially the fact that like many of them start to moderate when they're in office. The fact that the ones who are elected, like was said, are more like social democrats. They don't really seem that majorly different, if I'm just being truly honest, with like an AOC type figure, which is like very palatable. The radicalism I'm seeing is the people who are basically promoting this authoritarian regime and all the corruption entailed by it, and like supporting, like, for example, Todd Blanche, who was wanting to convert a bunch of taxpayer-funded money to insurrectionist thugs. That's the kind of shit that keeps me up at night. I worry about the safety of our republic, and so I don't know what the
Stan,
DSA
we got to chill it on the language, buddy.
me
Seriously, just like watch how we're using certain languages.
I mean, I guess I wouldn't agree with you on your synopsis of thugs. I don't think that we would have an alignment of viewpoints there. So I would say that. Yeah, I think you're overblowing.
I mean, here's the thing, right? This, and I'll step in because you're failing.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is the argument that we're making here. A lot of the Republicans are making is that we see the extreme. Pisco, he's doing a wonderful job selling the idea that AOC is a moderate when she's over here in a district in a city where the guy is over here trying to push a, socialist grocery store. Like, this is a good idea. The grocery stores already work at maybe one of the smallest margins of profit in general. If you can do better than them, I'll hands down turn over to socialism. I know this shit's going to fail. It's just not a good idea. And so we're seeing this over and over. And then they turn around and say something like, oh, he fixed the debt when he basically took a loan from the government. Maybe it wasn't a loan specifically, but it all, intents and purposes, basically is that. He got money from daddy government to cover their debt because he wants to put a bunch of programs in that he can't afford. Then he docks his constituents. And then people like over here, like you guys, want to say, oh, potential harm versus real harm. And it's clear when we have people fleeing the city of New York, fleeing the state of New York to like Florida and Texas.
New York's great, man.
Oh, it's
New York is great. And let's be real about something, right? Like, okay, if he makes these like government run grocery stores and they crash and burn like you say they will,
Yeah,
then
fantastic. For
he'll
us.
just like further debunk whatever, socialism, communism, or whatever, and then you guys win. Like, what's the
Well, yeah,
big
so
risk?
you
What
should
if he
either
does
vote-
well?
So then good. You should either vote DSA or you should vote Republican.
No,
You
no,
should
no.
go
So
to the accountants because they seem like inept.
Why?
I mean,
no, so I want to say this
Wait, just
too.
vote for one of the extremes?
I want to kind of take a different.
Republicans are moderates.
I want to take a similar but different approach here. So, like, I think there is something to be said about reigning in the DSA on the left, but let me clarify. That should be done in the primary, in which we have seen time and time again. And like I mentioned earlier, in most blue and red contentious areas, we have seen DSA not do too well at all. And in fact, some of them, and I have my takes about what happened in Michigan with El Said, but we do hold our own accountable to some extent or another by the primary. I can't quite say the same about the right. And the concerns about communism that come from the right are very ironic given what's taking place with Donald Trump. For everything they're kind of saying that's happening, what they define as communism, which is typically more or less authoritarian and government control, we're seeing that happen under Donald Trump. So it's like y'all are worried about the left, you're worried about what we're doing when you're not even looking at your own party and your own house and seeing that your leader is what you fear the most. But yet we're blind to that. You're blind to what is actually happening, and you're looking in the wrong direction.
I think it's a bold statement saying that that Donald Trump is enabling communism. I think that's pretty bold.
That's not what I was saying. I said your fears of communism are typically based around authoritarianism, based around government control, based around a couple of other different things. And those tend to be what Donald Trump is doing, quite literally with Intel. We've seen this with TikTok. We've seen where he's tried to rein in power from Congress. He's ignored judicial injunctions. We've seen where Donald Trump is everything that you guys fear about communism. I want to be clear. I don't think that communism
to
is
be
the
fair,
greatest
I've
thing in
been
the world,
critical
but
of
I'm
much of that. But okay, so I've been critical of much of that. But how about Democratic administrations and blue state governments? They've also expanded executive power, speech codes, institutional pressure. They're trying to get, literally every time I turn around, there's another like weird ass policy to put some agenda that nobody agrees with into a public school or into some other organization where it doesn't belong. And we just had a fight here a couple of years ago in my town that gained national
agreed.
awareness,
2026, yeah,
which was hilarious.
What's the
we
authoritarian?
can go down the
They're
list.
putting something in
COVID
schools?
mandates, campus speech rules, selective prosecution.
I know you're joking, bro, about speech
I'm not.
codes and
And I'm not
joking.
joking.
Well, let's go one by one. So you're
Okay.
like, the government tried to put something in the schools. Like, what does that mean, and how is that like an expansion of executive power?
Here specifically, it was bringing in the like drag queen story hour and that sort of thing. I'm not going to get into all of. Because I don't know where you're.
Okay,
I
you
don't know
might
what the
disagree
TOS
with.
is on it.
Okay, I'm assuming that there was a drag queen story hour. They tried to bring it into
it's
a
something.
school.
It's close to that. I'm not gonna like.
All right,
I
let's
don't know
say
what
it's
the
close
TOS
to
is
that.
over
Let's
there,
say it's close to that. What's the executive overreach?
Well, the Democrats
Sounds like we want to do something you don't agree with.
literally-
What's the
we
expanding
we
executive
voted
power?
it out, and then there was a massive push from the left to allow it.
See, the funny thing is, too, guys, is I'm trying
But
to make
that's what
sure
the
I
fuck
give
I
enough
asked.
room for them to speak
Yeah,
and
that
things
sounds
like
like you
that. So
voted on shit.
trying not
What's
to
the
like hog the
executive
mic, you know?
overreach, the authoritarianism. You're like,
Especially 'cause I
they
don't wanna
tried to do
dogpile.
drag queen
Trying to be
story
fair
hour.
in
They're
that sense.
trying to like destroy
Yeah,
checks on power.
literally
What does that mean?
The couple of Democrats in the area tried to
MAGA's
push
so mad
that
and
through.
sad about
Unfortunately,
institutions
they
not allowing
couldn't
hate
because
speech. Yeah,
Yeah,
I know,
why is
right?
that overreach from like do you understand authoritarian shit where you're breaking laws, where you're like trying something that you don't agree with, even assuming they did drag queen for every kindergartner or whatever the fuck you're saying? Why is that executive overreach as opposed to like bad policy?
If it's put in by someone in a position of power without an actual vote,
exactly, Patriot.
then that would be
It's
executive
not happening
overreach,
on a major level.
correct?
Not if
but-
they have
but
the
you
power
said
to
it
do it
didn't,
because they
though.
were
No,
elected.
They
And you
focus
said
on
it wasn't even
They're
implemented.
still stuck
You
in the
just-
culture
hold
war
on,
kind
you-
of stuff.
So are you trying to have your cake and eat it too here?
No. No,
okay,
no, no.
because-
If they have so if you vote for someone to represent you as like, I don't know, the school board or the governor or whatever, and they have the authority to do the thing.
Fair point,
then doing
2026.
something that's within your
Fair
authority
point.
isn't overreach, right?
It is if it's not within the scope of your office.
Yeah, that's what I just said. But what if it
Yeah,
is
so
within
that
the
would
scope
be
of their
overreach,
office? And it
right?
doesn't- Not if
It's
so
not
was
within
it
their.
not
It's not within. It was not within the
okay,
scope.
what
of
was
their
the
office.
position? What was the position of the? Who are we talking about here? What was their position?
So here it was. We have a mayor that was pushing for in public schools
I gotta go get a drink.
something that a lot of people didn't agree with. That I'm not really sure we can talk. I don't know what the TOS is, but and it was.
Don't say slurs. It's really, that's simple.
Look, you guys.
Can you
I've
give us
literally
like,
don't say
already
slurs.
been yelled at once. I'm not going to get yelled at again. So at any rate, what ended up happening was the community said no.
Lollipop is amazing. I wish they
The
would
com-
sponsor
and then
me,
we
but
got
they won't.
obviously that led to a bunch of court issues, and it became actually pretty famous down here. But that's one instance. I'm in a small town, relatively small, of where when we put these Democrats in place, they also turn authoritarian as well.
Okay, so, but the authoritarianism is because the mayor didn't have the authority to do what?
Yeah, it should have gone through the school board. There's like a whole process to do that.
Okay, now let's say we grant that. Like, compare that to the alleged president of the United States, using his power to order the Department
He's
of
not
Justice
alleged.
to go
He
after.
is the president.
I don't think he's a legitimate president because of the 14th Amendment, but let's put that besides us. So let's say the alleged president orders the political prosecution of James Comey. Between those two, which do you think is more authoritarian?
If he ordered the prosecution of James Comey,
Any federal
if he actually
institution
said-
has been authoritarian.
Yes, he
Oh,
did.
I
political
mean, there's
prosecution.
probably some
Yeah.
2026,
That's very-
but like
that's
it's
a
not
very- that's a
the
very
ones
good
that are in
point.
power. And
8647,
power is
remember that
necessity
one?
for authoritarianism.
Got indicted
so.
for 8647.
yeah.
I mean, you could
Okay,
argue
what is it?
communism
Trump-
is
just to be
authoritarian,
fair,
but
I
that's a
think it's
different
stupid.
conversation.
I think it's stupid, but let's
Yeah,
can we
thought
just
that
be
was-
honest? Can we just be honest? We all
It's
know
exciting
what
to be
86
honest.
means, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with you, Patriot.
Yeah, you can go to the
Okay.
dictionary and it doesn't mean kill.
I mean, well, okay, peace, go.
What's
I don't
up,
know.
Jack?
maybe you've been like rich your whole life.
And
I'm not
going to
be
listen,
yelled
if
at
it's
again.
someone-
Go to
no,
such a
I
comment.
was a bartender.
What's up, Jack?
Okay,
I wasn't-
I got
so
a
you
lot
know
of
what
commies in my
alright,
chat
so then
right
you know
now.
what 86
I got a
means
lot of
with you,
commies in my
right?
chat right now. It's
Get
going
rid
crazy.
of to toss out.
Okay, get rid of the
Jack and
alright,
Wes
that's
would
fair.
have a
That's not
great
usually
time,
how
by
I
the
would
way.
see it translated, but
Jack,
I just want
meet
to hear you
Wes
say it.
in
I agree it was
Twitch.
dumb.
If you go to
not-
Twitch and,
okay,
and
not-
go in
Not
there and
just
see
dumb,
Wes,
corrupt. He
Wes Cisa,
goes on Truth Social
y'all would have a great
and
time.
orders his
Promise
Department of Justice to find something to charge James Comey with. It's disgusting, and you're over here talking about.
If you're a lawyer,
I
you know,
think
you can charge a ham
something
sandwich.
about drag
Yeah.
story hour and the mayor and
Come on, brother. What,
he
how
has
many
to go to
felonies
the
is the
school
average person
board.
commit a day? 3? Isn't that the
Well,
record?
now-
The average person commits 3 felonies in a day, like accidentally.
I'm
not
trying to
even
be fair
knowing.
and
Isn't that a
say-
thing?
So you,
come
you
on,
guys
they-
aren't
they-
even willing to
Jack,
grant.
Wes,
you guys
it's
aren't even
I'm
J.A.K.
willing to
willing
grant. I
that's
just
an
granted
author-
to you.
he was
I thought it
around
was
some of
stupid, Jack.
what
Tiberius'
have we not been
panels and
willing
stuff.
to
stuff.
grant? What
No,
have I not
you
been
granted
willing
that you granted it was stupid. It's a fucking authoritarian overreach.
Sorry, there's a lot of noise. Wes, Jack Andor, it was on a lot of Tiberius' panels. You should try to check him out. It's
If
really
you
cool.
use your official power for political ends, you would agree abuse of power, right?
Sure, Jack. Sounds good.
If I use my authority
Yes or
for
no?
a political end,
Yeah. No,
I mean, isn't that
prejudice
what
someone-
literally every politician does?
No. If you use the prosecution authority for political ends.
Oh,
you think
prosecution
that's-
authority. Okay.
Yes.
Because it sounded like you said political. I apologize.
Yeah. So if you prosecute, for example, political enemies, that's a problem, isn't it? That's authoritarian.
I mean, it could be.
It could
And
be.
I don't
or it
agree
is by
with. I don't
definition.
agree with. I don't agree with Trump going after Comey. I think that there were things he could have gone after Comey
So we don't take
for
you guys seriously
legitimately.
because we don't take you guys seriously because you won't even grant that like most obvious forms of both corruption and authoritarianism are those things. Like you guys can't even recognize corruption or authoritarianism if it bit you.
We
got to
pass the mic.
And so that's why you like the people who think like you need to be purged peacefully and patriotically out of power. It's disgusting.
I'll run for office. Don't worry about it.
Let me take it from a center perspective because I think I agree with the hypocriticalness here coming from people on the right.
I'd like
arguing
to
about
see
why
more
the TSA
talk,
is
you know?
dangerous. So I'll ask Vince and Vigi and Pisco this, but let's say in my hypothetical that I laid out earlier, where you have a Dem trifecta, they have the House.
Yo, Liberty,
by,
appreciate the
15,
follow,
20
buddy.
seats. They
Appreciate
have
the
a
follow.
4-seat Senate majority. And the presidency, right? Is there a situation though where somebody is running on the left who during a midterm Republicans can use to spread their message as a reason why Democrats are going to ruin the social fabric? I mean, we have Democrats who have said or Democratic Socialists who have said they want to abolish prisons. They don't believe in prosecuting crimes, like actual crimes. And so these are things that can actually harm the long-term vision of a Democratic Party. I'm not saying that all Democratic Socialists are bad, but I think there are people and insurgents coming in from the left that can harm the party long-term. And I think if you do have a safe enough majority, these are types of people, if they win a primary election and they don't get defeated in a primary, because we were talking like the primary is a time where those people should be able to lose. But if they do come out and win, are those people from your positions, should they be voted out if you had to vote for a Republican? That's what I would ask you guys.
No, I mean, I don't think if you're convinced by that based on how you phrased that question and based on how you phrased your position, it's kind of like unclear to you whether or not the Associated brand or reputational risk is worth installing, for example, a MAGA Republican as Wisconsin governor. That was the discourse.
Well, because in this case, there are, let's say, there are moderate Republicans, whether you believe them or not, like a Brian Fitzpatrick in Pennsylvania, who has voted for, especially in the case recently with Iran, where they wanted to make sure that the War Powers Act was voted on. So there are people who have voted against things that Donald Trump wants, and there are people who live in these districts where if you're running in a district that is that blue and you're a Republican, you have to moderate. There's no way you can be running as a MAGA politician.
Would he vote for impeachment? Would he vote for? I mean, that's essentially my metric. If whether or not you're moderate is whether or not you're instantly willing to call on the impeachment and resignation of the alleged president. Anything less than that,
there were Republicans that did call for the impeachment.
Yeah, they're all fucking gone except for Murkowski and Collins. But even
right. But I'm saying, would you vote for somebody along those lines in a high? But you just said if they voted.
Not in this environment. No, that's just my indication of moderate in this context is willing to immediately call for Trump to resign and be impeached. That's just for moderate. But I would pick a DSA member over a moderate Republican in the current context. And the reason for that is because the moderate Republicans, like Murkowski and Collins, alleged, are cucks. And notwithstanding the fact that they sometimes will do these performative votes, they don't have the guts it takes to get our country back from these thugs.
Yeah, I want to say.
Sorry, go.
I was going to say real quick. I just want to make this known. I would say it's situationally dependent. All right. Because, for example, I could see a hypothetical scenario, maybe not in the near future, but a situation in which the DSA is starting to gain power, in which I wouldn't want to enable that power. In that hypothetical scenario, I probably wouldn't vote for a DSA member. But in today's society, would I vote for them if they reached after the primary and they eventually did come out? And depending on the district, 9 times out of 10, I would probably say it's probably best. Now, do you go out and phone bank for them? Do you go out and door knock for them? Do you do all of that? That's up to you and your comfort level. I myself probably would not. Would I say that if you were up against, say, somebody like Ken Paxton in Texas versus a DSA member, again, it's an equation to me. Right now, there is, for every one DSA member you have, and again, they're winning at the local level, you're going to have 1,000 others. But I also want to acknowledge that we should still call them out for their beliefs, and we should engage with that. And I want to emphasize that. Again, during
Dennis, I'm sorry. Which beliefs? When you say call them out for their beliefs, which beliefs?
Like abolishing
abolition shit.
Yeah, probably like
abolish prisons,
things like that.
Abolish the police, that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Like I'm fairly close to the DSA politically, and I don't even believe in that shit.
Call them out for their stupid shit, but it's not close to the enablers of this crazy fucking shit. And I'm gonna be honest with you, people like Fitzpatrick, people like Mike Lawler, they're just losers. I mean, they will almost
That's
always
Castle
support
Jack.
Trump.
CASSEL.
When they do vote against it, it's either a local issue or it's a performative vote, which doesn't matter. And I mean, they were willing to go along on the Epstein Files Transparency Act until the discharge petition happened. Only then were they willing to buck Trump. And so it gives you a sense of like how cucked all these Republicans are. They're really under his sway and control. And so I'm not going to enable that. And I'm not going to be like cowed into being afraid for, the abolishment of private property. That shit ain't going to happen. We're not going to get rid of the police, and these people aren't going to effectuate that.
He speaks like it's 1990, so I don't know what you mean by that, Jack.
That they're not going to moderate or collaborate. I'm just not scared of them being able to effectuate the ends that you guys are all fear mongering about.
But I mean, you would have said this, or I would have said the same thing about Trump. The things that he's done that I don't like, I would have said the exact same shit that you're saying right now. So you really are not, you're not helping me here. I think that you are blinded by your hatred, vitriol, and assumptions about the Republican Party going forward. We're the Republican Party in
The
general.
parties are different. Yeah, the parties are different. What did you think that Trump was not going to be able to do because he was
Well, I
going to
mean,
be sort of like
let
restrained
me.
by
I
the,
mean,
by the
I guess I
party?
should have made my position on Trump clear from the start, right?
Yeah.
To me, Trump's a moderate. He was the most conservative person we could get elected. He was like literally the best we could do. That like there wasn't like everybody else is just everything shifted so far left that center is now right. There are no truly conservative. I haven't seen a truly
The
conservative
Republicans are
candidate.
still a reasonable
minute.
opposition party.
And so maybe
I don't know if you
that,
said that,
that's
but
why I don't
remember.
really. I mean, I'm not surprised by anything Trump does. He's a moderate. He's
Yeah, you probably think anything to the left of General Franco is a moderate. I don't know. Like, what do you take to be a conservative? You don't think that George Bush was conservative?
I think he has some conservative viewpoints. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I guess you're just using that term in a kind of like, I don't know, where the center of gravity is Peter Shea or something, or like Hitler.
Well, also, Grid, to be honest, like I don't think anybody here is going to be able to convince you to vote for a socialist or a Democrat over a Republican. But
Yeah, I
like,
just got that,
you-
Jack. Thank you.
I don't even know if you could
gotta
name one
focus. I
Democrat
can't
right now that
focus.
you would say you'd be willing to
My
vote
focus
for,
is so
even if
bad right
they're
now.
Considered
Oh,
I
moderate.
that's
got
not
one.
true. I think. I mean, I don't live in Pennsylvania, but I think.
But I'm also trying to pass the mic, Jack.
bad
I'm
guy.
trying. There's
I think
four
I
of
got
us,
one.
and two of them. Well,
You
three.
would
of
vote
them.
for Josh Shapiro.
Wait, you like
vote for
Shapiro?
Josh Shapiro?
Yeah, I think he says some pretty smart things sometimes. I think he's a little further left. But if it was a choice between
Him or Trump, or
Josh Shapiro
him or-
and Mondami,
Mastriano.
it would be Shapiro every fucking time.
No, that's not it. No, it's him or Mastriano, or him or some Republican like Rubio or something.
I'll let him answer real quick, and then we're gonna go to Glenn because I believe he's got a shit here. Go ahead, Glenn. Answer that question.
Oh, I mean, no, Shapiro versus Rubio. No, Rubio 100%.
Okay, that's yeah.
Glenn,
Yeah,
are you
I'm-
with us now? Glenn?
Glenn, you muted.
The conservatives are really letting me down. I want y'all to know, this is a big L for y'all boys today. So far, I need you to step it up.
It was the thumb drives, dude.
The thumb drive.
Magic thumb drive.
They got it. It was an earworm. It got in there. Glenn, you're unmuted now. Are you here with us?
I'm here. Sorry about that.
All right. Give us your thoughts on why they should vote the incumbents out and vote Republican.
Well, easy. I mean, because like just
Good point, Jack.
look at the agenda that they're pushing a very un-American agenda. It's very, very much, communistic, very much, just anti-American. And like, I mean, even like the propaganda from like, oh, we got to accept these Muslims. Let's bring these Muslims in. This is a good thing. That is un-American. Like, you're going to let these people outpopulate us. Like, like we have a birth rate issue. We should be like encouraging
Let's let
Americans
it go
having
south
children
real
and bring up
quick.
American kids, not importing, other families and other cultures in here that don't agree with our culture. It just ruins the American culture altogether.
All right, Glenn.
We
None
can
of
vote
that is
all the Muslims?
communism.
I
None of that is
trained for
communism
this.
That you just said. That's just
No,
things you
but they
don't
have
like.
a very communistic views of things.
All right, but what's the communistic view?
Oh, this is about to go
Well,
south, y'all. This
like
is about to go
democratic
south
socialism,
real
like
quick.
the whole, like they want the government to run everything. What happened to the free market?
What
So-
what are
You know
the
that-
Okay,
Who's-
hold on.
Who's
hold on,
getting
'cause
rid of
I-
markets?
I live in New York and I am run by.
Do you like that? Do you like that grocery store system you guys got going on out there?
What? Yeah, I was gonna say. Tell me the grocery store system because I
They're
just
still
went to the
I don't know,
grocery
I don't
store
live in
today.
New York.
What the fuck are you
pay for my
talking
groceries.
about? The
I literally went to
grocery
the
store
grocery
system.
store
Like,
today and bought groceries.
what are you talking about? You don't live
Wait,
here.
hold on. You guys both live in New York, Pisco and Castle.
Yeah, but right now I'm in Japan. But yes.
Okay.
We need your street address. We need your street address, and I need.
No, we do not. I do not want to know. I mean, I haven't been to New York in about a year, but we have a house in Jersey City right across from Manhattan.
Nice.
And we used to-
It must be good to be rich.
Yeah. You should. They really changed things. You should come back. The hammer and sickle is hanging over all of the fucking.
Yeah.
bodegas. It's all crazy.
Well, you know, we were renting an apartment in what they call Tudor City. I'm not sure if you're familiar.
That's
with it.
fantastic. I don't give a fuck about this. Let's talk about the topic. How about like Glenn? Why else should they vote? All right, here, other than the
I
grocery
was
store
going to
system.
talk about the.
I want to
national-
hear more about the grocery store.
Yeah,
system.
let-
yeah,
go
yeah,
ahead,
yeah,
go ahead.
yeah. Like
What's
Grid
so
talk.
what's so crazy about what
Yeah.
the source system is like in New York?
Why is the government getting involved in the grocery system?
Why not?
Really? Like why do we need the government? Why do we need government grocery stores?
It
They
are,
think it's going to be a
is-
fun idea, a fun little experiment.
Oh,
Why
that's
not do it?
fun. It's fun. It's an
Yeah,
experiment.
it's fun.
like
Yeah.
like stomping on capitalism, stomping on the free market is fun.
They can compete. There's tons of private stores. What are you talking about? It's like it's
Yeah.
like a shop per borough that they want to do.
I think that's
Do
dumb.
you not think that do you not think that having a public grocery store will help incentivize private grocery stores to bring their prices down?
No.
Trump is talking about putting
You know
price
what?
ceilings on food and shit and like doing price controls, and you're over here being like, no, not a single grocery store that's owned by the government. Who cares? They
Can-
they own stores when it comes to like military bases and stuff. The government can sometimes own shit. Doesn't make it communism.
Can I
That's
ask you
diluting
guys,
the term communism?
do y'all for the Republicans on the panel, do you believe when Obama issued 22 national emergencies that was authoritarian?
Well, I know it's supposed to bother, but you were just complaining about Trump making a national emergency.
Well, I'm asking the Republicans on the panel, do you think Obama
Oh.
issuing 22 national emergencies, Obama issuing those, do you think that was, authoritarianism?
Weren't they in response to like actual national emergencies like fire and tornadoes and floods and shit?
As
So
opposed to fake emergencies like the voter emergency.
yeah,
whatever
by
that
the
is.
way, the 22 national emergencies are how many Donald Trump has done, not Obama. I just wanted to throw that out there, by the way.
Whoa, nice.
I was gonna say no. I was
What,
gonna say no. It's not authoritarian because it's all
Well,
Yeah.
the
give
legal precedent.
Yeah, I was
I'm
curious
on
why you were talking about that, because I mean, if it's an actual emergency, then it's not authoritarian, is it?
No, so a lot of Donald Trump's
That's what FEMA's-
a lot of Donald Trump's national emergencies, those 22, there was 11 that were done in the first term, all 4 years. He in 1 year and a half of his second term, a year and a half, have already surpassed his first term by 11 national emergencies. A bulk of those being tariffs. He tried to find in like a bunch of different ways to try to subvert Congress's power to levy taxes. And
Illegal taxes. Wait,
Yes.
can we pause there? What do you guys think about that? He levied illegal taxes, which increased the price of goods, it has a direct effect on inflation, and he's not stopped trying to re-implement shit like that. And by the way, while he does it, all of his cronies bet right before the tariff hits and make out like fucking bandits.
So I haven't actually thought about the tariffs in over a year. So the last thing I really cared about the tariffs were that we were actually having an effect on China and bringing them back to the table, and that was where I kind of stopped paying attention to the tariffs. So I don't really have an up-to-date opinion on it. So
Yeah,
Illegal
China never came to
taxes?
the
You don't have an
table.
opinion on that?
I mean, Grit, do you like paying more for goods now, over a year later, and prices aren't deflating at all? They're still pretty high.
I want to say, oh, good.
I mean, if I'm honest, I haven't actually noticed that I'm paying a ton more for anything except maybe fuel.
Well, and I want to mention too that
Maybe fuel.
it's interesting too that that what Trump is doing is also defeating the idea of trickle down economics, right? He just gave a ton of refunds to these corporate places, and the argument behind trickle down economics is that will trickle down to the consumer. And they have actually done quite the opposite. Not only did they get the large refund, they're saying, hey, we're going to literally right after the refund, there was companies coming out saying, we're going to continue to increase our prices. I believe it was Apple that may have come out and done that. And they got a big refund from that. So it's funny to me that he's also kind of inadvertently showing how trickle down economics just doesn't work, which is a big Republican talking point.
Hold on. All right. Wait, you just said that he was ruining trickle down economics. And then you said that's proof that it doesn't work because he ruined it. So if he ruined it, that means it was working.
No. I'm saying he showed in real time how it does not work. Not that it was working before. It just shows before we had to kind of make these vague arguments about tax refunds and tax cuts and how tax cuts can somehow trickle down. And there was a lot of vagueness to it. Here, we're seeing a literal direct refund in cold, hard cash to these businesses. And they are not passing down a single penny to the consumer.
Glenn, thoughts?
I'd have to look into. I
have to look into that more before I can say anything about
How
that.
be
is
honest
this
with you-
something that you
to be
guys
honest-
don't
hold on,
know
hold on.
about? Seriously, though, this is a joke. This
it is not a joke. I mean, look,
Dude, the
You-
tariffs have been
again,
around
tariffs
for
haven't been on my
over a
radar.
year now.
I'm okay. Every other
How
country
do
in
you
the
not
world.
pay
Hold
for
on.
things?
It's the Muslims.
Sorry.
The Muslims are infected our culture, bro, and the trans.
Literally
story
every other
hour,
country
Like,
tariffs
it's a
us.
fucking.
It's part of their economy. We seem to be okay with it, except when
Yo, what's up, Sonia?
we
Sorry,
do
I
it
just
to
saw
someone
you.
else.
Welcome
I know,
in,
but
welcome in.
it's
Appreciate
just
you.
odd.
It's
All
the way
frustrating
from New
'cause
Zealand,
other
man.
countries
Welcome in.
tariff us, and that's bad for their economy. So why would we want to follow what they're doing with tariffs if their economy is not as great as
Do you know?
our
Do you know
economy?
why? I mean, do you know why they do that?
For protection,
For
it's
reasons.
protectionism.
To some
Yeah,
degree,
it's
yeah.
just-
You know what it does is that it makes our goods
Welcome
cost a
in,
whole lot there,
Sonia.
so
Really,
people don't
really
buy them.
appreciate
So
you.
they
Right, so
buy
they
internal
can't. So they
goods.
can't
Hold
afford
on, I'm
them
not done.
there.
I'm not done. So I honestly, I support the idea of tariffs, and I have for a very long time, long before Trump, because you guys probably don't remember this. I'm old and beat up, so I do. The entire reason that the Japanese car company were able to prosper here in America was because of tariffs. They tariffed the shit out of American goods, almost 100%, in some cases more, on American-made cars coming into Japan. They also passed a bunch of laws that made our cars have to meet ridiculous standards to be sold there. On the other hand, what we did, which fucked American workers left, right, and center, was we gave them subsidies. We gave them land tax-free for decades, and we literally undermined our own automotive industry through what you're talking about, which is in no tariffs and not having people do that. So what you guys are talking about actually fuck the American
I know,
economy,
Patriot.
and tariffs actually work. So maybe if you actually got behind what Trump says and actually participated instead of just whining about it, maybe you would get somewhere. But unfortunately, we can't do that because you've got to sit there and say, well, it's not going to work, so let's not do it anymore. But yeah, it did work fucking great for Japan and Germany. That's why Mercedes-Benz costs as much as they do
Hold
here,
on.
and they cost
Grid.
half as much in the rest of the world.
Great. You do realize that helped the American economy because it
Grid and
made
Gibbs are
jobs
named
here,
down
right?
numbers. We'll talk about
No,
it
it
later.
did not.
We'll
talk about
It
it later.
took jobs
Yes, it
away
did.
from here. That's insane. We literally
Dude,
offshored.
literally
We
one of
offshored our
the biggest
automotive production because
No.
because of that.
You do realize that Toyota specifically, right, is one of the biggest automotive manufacturers in like my area of the country in Ohio. There's a
Yes, and what did it cost us? What did it cost us?
Well, we've only had about a couple 100,000 jobs in the past year and a half, and a large bulk of that is in healthcare and in government. Where we're seeing in manufacturing and the one you're talking about, we've seen a massive decline. But that's not because of Democratic policies. That's because of Donald Trump's tariff policy, adding extra taxes onto the businesses.
The automotive manufacturing is slowly coming back to America. Yeah, absolutely, through foreign countries. But
Slowly
only
but
because we
surely, but
subsidize
not-
them. Only because we pay them to do that.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's not necessarily benefiting us if we're having to pay them to do it.
What do you mean? With who are we paying to do anything? Sorry, what?
These foreign countries, these foreign.
Well, a foreign corporation, Toyota, for
Yeah.
example, BMW, Mercedes, Volkswagen, they're building I think it's built now. Where they built a Mercedes factory in Alabama. They gave them, I think they're not charging them any taxes, and they've made it a
It's like a tax abatement or something.
it's
Like how
No, they
Trump
just-
got in Manhattan.
I mean, it's not. I mean, it's not just an abatement. They've become their own customs center, so they don't pay customs on the materials and parts that they import directly into their factory. There's a lot of aspects into this. And I'm just picking on the automotive. I mean, there's other areas of our country where these policies, these no tariff, everybody gets to tariff us. We don't get to tariff them.
You know,
Works against us.
You know how
I'm
you
con-
bring these manufacturing jobs back into the country? You do it through things like the CHIPS Act that Biden passed, where it helped build the infrastructure in order to bring the semiconductor manufacturing to America. Like that's how you get
no,
this
hold
stuff
on.
done.
Isn't the CHIPS Act the one where we offshored the chips to Taiwan and that fucked us in COVID?
No,
No.
we're building chip factories here in the U.S.
Yeah.
I'm trying to
'Cause
look
we
into the
offshored
Mercedes-Benz.
we
claim.
offshored the factory in California that made the chips in America was offshored to Taiwan either right as or shortly before COVID happened. And that fucked
Yeah,
us
but
in,
when
in
Biden
chip
took
design.
over,
the CHIPS Act was about building chip
Right.
factories in the U.S. grid, not
In
about
America.
offshoring anything. So it's
Yeah.
that may have been something else. But I'm confused
Well, maybe
about your
they're trying to
thing
bring
about
it
the car
back.
industry. So you're saying
Yeah,
that
the CHIPS Act
we're-
was bringing it back. The
Yeah.
purpose of the CHIPS Act is to bring it back.
But Grid, you were saying with the automotive industry that
We've
we're
offshored it in person.
subsidizing foreign investment in the U.S., but we also have tariffs at the same time that you said
Undermine
we're
the auto
supposed to
industry by
bring
bailing it
domestic
out
car
twice.
manufacturing
Well,
back. So
I'll
we
bring
have
it up here
tariffs
in a second.
that aren't
Not-
bringing car manufacturing back, but we're also investing in foreign companies to
What do you mean?
have
We-
their cars built here. I don't get what you were saying.
What are you talking about? During the height of the tariffs, literally Toyota announced a new plant to be built. I think VW, one of the Euro companies.
Yeah, but you
VW
were
or-
saying that we're paying foreign
Mercedes.
companies to build cars here.
Yeah, well, they're also now they're having them because of the tariffs and because of the things that are no longer because we're no longer in the 1990s or early 2000s. They were having to pay, and they were paying good money. I want to say that it was like I'd have to look it up. I think the Toyota deal was something like, I don't know, $800 million or something injected into the local economy.
I don't get the so what here and the connection to fucking communists. The point about the tariffs is, in addition to them being, I think, generally horrible for our country economically, and you at least
Also, using Germany as an
admitted that you have
example,
no evidence
historically
that
known
they
as the
were
laggard of
beneficial,
G7.
is that they were
Yeah, I mean, the
fucking
thing is
illegal.
that you still
Even if
get
they were
parts
great
from
ideas,
other
Trump
parts of the world.
illegally levied tariffs, and he's continuing to try to do it. And these are the kind of actions that spurred our framers, right, the founding fathers, to take some action. No taxation without representation. That's why, among other reasons, that they put the taxing authority within the Congress, so there could be democratic oversight there. And just having Trump
So
willy-nilly
you think like being
install these-
dependent upon China is a good thing? Because that's really what the tariffs did. It pushed
No,
away.
I didn't
Okay,
say
then.
that.
But that's
No,
what I'm saying.
but
The tariffs helped push the supply chain away from China. It gives America
claim-
leverage, right?
You claim that it's a safeguard against China, and listen, I'm not against targeted tariffs in some capacity to
Okay, then so you don't have a problem with tariff.
No, I obviously do. So why don't you let me finish my fucking sentence? So it's not just that he did tariffs against China. He was tariffing our fucking allies. He was tariffing the EU. He was having problems with
Yeah,
people who
because
should be
having
supporting against
access to
China
America
because he's a
market is
madman. He's a
privilege.
madman who
Hold
doesn't
on,
care
hold on.
about shit.
You think everybody should have access to the American market? No, that's a privilege. It's
I
not an
never said that that's a
entitlement.
straw man. I
It's
never
not,
fucking said everyone should
it's not
have-
an entitlement.
No.
It's a privilege. It could be negotiated.
Look, he has not been able to
Wait,
render
you
anything
support
with
the free market?
negotiations of substance. Go ahead. What were you saying?
Oh, I was to say you support the free market, right? If another country's building better products, like there are a couple Chinese products specifically that are better than certain American products. Like China's electric cars are significantly better than Tesla. Like if they're building a better product, shouldn't it be able to compete in the free market?
Yeah, but if you want to compete in American market, then you should have to, play by our rules.
So there's two notes on this
Yeah,
that I want to
what-
mention that are, well, three, and I'll make it quick. One
then we'll
is
go
that
to
it's
Christian.
I'll make it real quick. So one of them is that it's interesting because we talk about taxes and how we've kind of gotten an inadvertent admission here that taxes kind of do it. The second thing is that the issue is not so much that a tariff has been levied, although that is somewhat of a problem. The issue here is who levies taxes? It's Congress. And I forgot my third point.
I mean, the president can levy tariffs under specific conditions. I mean, you're saying that. I mean, I like you guys just say global shit, I listen to it because I want to hear. I want to see where you're going with it.
The reciprocal tariffs. Those tariffs. Those are the ones.
Yeah, the
ones that
very
happen on the
specific
Liberation
ones that as soon as they ruled them illegal, he stopped doing them and he replaced them with the 10% tariffs under section
Act.
what was it
He's trying to-
230?
Those are also
232.
illegal. Those are also legal under the statutory.
No,
framework,
tariffs
but
under section
that's not new.
232 and Section 301 unfair trade practice have been repeatedly
Yes,
been.
and
They're legal.
and there's they're
Like,
time
why
barred
are you
too.
guys
There's
being
a
so
time limit.
disingenuous? Why do you have to?
Well, Jack,
why
we'll
do you
talk
guys
about it
those
later.
things?
Genuinely
Yeah,
here.
some tariffs were good, some tariffs were bad, which is what I
there's no-
said.
There's
Okay,
no
go
lack
ahead.
of
do that.
So what's
Okay,
wait,
go
wait,
ahead,
what's
Pizza,
what's
Pizza, go ahead,
wait,
go ahead,
so
Pizza, Pizza,
what's
go
the
ahead,
dis-
go ahead.
what's the disingenuousness? We believe these tariffs are blatantly illegal and unconstitutional.
Believe is
Those are-
irrelevant.
yeah.
I'm not a pastor.
hold on,
I want to
hold
know
on,
the
hold on.
facts.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
court
hold on,
ruled.
let's-
The
we'll
court
talk
made
about
a
it later,
ruling.
Jack.
You
Hold on,
believing
hold
is
on.
irrelevant.
Hold on, Greg. All right, you let Pizza go. Make your point, Pizza, and then we'll go back to you.
In
Ben.
virtue of their obvious illegality and in virtue of the Supreme Court ruling, these tariffs were illegal. Now he's implementing new tariffs that are illegal for other reasons, and we can provide the legal analysis for that. In addition to some of the procedural
Have they been ruled
requirements,
illegal?
not the,
Let
some
them-
of the, now
let
they're
them
going through the
finish
courts.
responding.
They're going through the courts in virtue of some of the procedural, prerequisites not being met there. But the whole point is, this motherfucker doesn't care if they're legal or not. He doesn't care whether or not it's legal or illegal to try to withdraw birthright citizenship. He doesn't care whether it's legal or illegal to, implement by fiat election rules. He doesn't give a fuck. He is enriching himself. He's taking Qatar airplane bribes. He's enriching himself on crypto deals. And you guys are like missing the forest for the trees. The guy's a fucking corrupt asshole. We need him out of power.
But what has that got to do with you putting DSA fuckers in?
All right, well, we
They're
can talk
going to
about
vote to impeach this motherfucker.
Yeah,
They're
that
gonna
too.
vote to impeach this motherfucker.
that. And that was the third point I was going to make. It's interesting to me that the idea around communism is that it's going to be government control when we're sitting here and we are the ones, the left is saying, hey, we don't want the president to make unilateral actions and take those away from Congress to go in and levy taxes on the citizens of America. And we have the Republicans here saying, yeah, sometimes the president can kind of take power away from Congress and levy taxes upon his own executive fiat.
We're not saying that. The law says that. I'm not saying that. The law says that. The law says literally, in this case, he can do that.
So, Grid, do you agree then that the
Disagree.
president is okay to sit here and take power away from Congress to now levy
But that's
taxes
not
in the form
taking
of
power
tariffs?
away from Congress if it's the
The
law.
hell it
If it's
isn't.
the
The hell
fucking
it
law.
fucking isn't. No. So the tariffs that he's trying to enact now, many of them, by the way, I think are going to be totally cooked in the courts based on some of the requirements here. And
You
also
believe,
the
you
fact that
think, that's a feeling. That's not proof yet.
Guess what? I also thought that of the Liberation Day tariffs, and guess what? I was fucking right. You guys don't.
Well,
seem to
just
have a
because
good
you were
track
right,
record here.
a broken clock is right twice a day.
Well,
Yeah.
look,
So
I
if
just
what you're saying is it possible that peace goes wrong? Yes, it's possible. But
all right.
read the
So
law.
if you're saying
you
they're
see what he's
illegal,
doing,
that means
and it's
it's
in
been
violation.
decided that it's illegal.
Really?
The
So
law
if someone
exists.
rapes your mother,
Well, then that would have been a real thing. That would have happened,
Wait,
right? If
wait,
somebody
wait, wait.
says,
So
if
if-
somebody says,
So if
Well,
someone
I'm
raped
really
your
mad
mother,
at, I'm really mad, and I
why don't
might
we
do
pause real
this.
quick? So why don't we pause real quick? Because you just said it has to be ruled illegal for it to be illegal. So we're dealing with that. If someone raped your mother in front of you, would that be illegal without a court ruling?
Is there a law saying that it can happen?
Answer the fucking question.
I am.
Is rape
Is
illegal?
there a
Yes
law
or no?
that says it can happen?
Is rape against the law? Yes or no?
Of course.
And if someone raped your mom in front of you, would it be illegal without a court ruling to that effect?
Well, I mean, personally, a person would be dead.
Answer the question.
It would
Answer the
be
question.
illegal. However,
Yeah, so we need a fucking
there's a
court
law
ruling,
against it.
dipshit.
There's a clear law against it, and there's a clear law that says Trump can put the tariffs in place.
I agree. Not.
And do you not know? I mean, I know you know them by heart. Section 232, Section
I
301.
don't know. So I don't know.
Well, then you don't
our
know.
tariff-
Then you don't
I've
know.
Analyzed. No,
Then
no,
you don't
I
know.
You just said you don't know the laws by heart. I don't know.
No, I said
chapter and
I
verse that-
don't expect
I don't-
you to know them by heart.
No, I understand.
But you're sitting there
understand
talking
some
about
of the
them like you
issues.
do.
I understand. I understand some of the issues related to those tariffs, and those include the purpose of the tariffs. There's a requirement that it be for specific purposes, which aren't the purposes that are being sort of uttered by the administration. And then there's a time limit on those tariffs as well, which he's not going to be in compliance
Sure.
with. So those are the some of the issues there, and there's more that make these tariffs
Atmosphere
illegal.
to
And you're like,
facilitate China's
well, it
rise
hasn't
is the
been
war hedge
finally
movement.
adjudicated before the
Yeah.
Supreme Court yet. We
But
can
as
still
of
say,
right
hey, it's
now,
fucking
they
illegal.
are legal. It's a process crime. It's
No,
not raping
no.
someone's
Right now it's-
mother. It's literally just saying it's, hey,
Whether something is legal is whether it's in compliance with the law or not, and one can make
Currently,
an assessment
they-
as
currently
to
the-
legality.
yeah, currently,
So-
apparently it is.
So if Obama tried to take away everyone's guns and institute Sharia law in the first day, would you say it's illegal on that first day if you tried to do that? Sharia law, gun, stealing.
The law is
Say
pretty
that's
clear.
illegal. Is there a
law
Doesn't
says he
include
can do
terrorists in
that?
Very specific sectors and on time
No,
limit.
of course
Agreed.
not.
Is there
Agreed,
section
Patriot.
232 of the code somewhere that says he can do that?
No,
No,
of course
there
not. You wouldn't
isn't.
need-
No,
wait, hold on,
there
hold on.
isn't.
Wait,
Why are you
wait a
why are you
second.
fighting
Wait,
this?
wait,
Just
so-
say,
so-
look,
so-
right as of
so-
right
so-
now, it's
so-
fucking legal. If it goes through the court and it's not legal, then Trump's bad. Why not just say that?
So Obama cites in bad faith the provision of law. It says, "Oh, this is I'm allowed to faithfully execute the law."
Yeah, they can't
Faithfully
do it
executing
across
the law
sweeping
means
sectors. I agree
Sharia
with you,
law. That's
Patriot.
how I'm interpreting it, and so sue me. Would you say that's illegal?
There's no such law that could allow him to do that.
He says, yeah, Article 2, inherent in my Article 2 authorities is to execute the law, and by law here we mean Sharia law. Therefore, I'm executing the Sharia law. Would you say legal or illegal? Answer the question.
I don't think
Answer the
can't talk.
question. You fucking cuck.
I don't think Article 2 says that.
You
And
don't
even
think?
if-
You don't believe? You don't think?
well, I'd
you
have
don't
to go
believe?
look. I'd have to go look.
You
The
think
law
it's
he's quoting
possible that him
specifically
saying
says
that?
this?
Oh, execute the law, Sharia law.
But
or-
people
Oh,
have
yeah,
tried
yeah,
that,
yeah.
Say
right?
that's legal.
Yeah.
People have tried that,
People
right?
have tried what? What are you talking about? Answer the question. Would you say it's illegal? Would you
sorry?
say it's illegal or not? Would you say it's illegal?
Well,
if he
the problem
said,
is,
"I'm
Patriot, he
interpreting the
tries
law
to wait
under
until the
Article
Supreme Court
2
rules on
to
it.
be Sharia law. Sue
And he
me.
goes,
Would you
okay,
say
fine, I'll
it's
take my
illegal?
crown, Tom.
Or would you say, oh, I'm
But the
gonna
problem
wait.
is, by that
I'm gonna wait
time,
before
it's
I comment
already
on the
several
Sharia law
months.
stuff.
I would think it'd be very clearly illegal.
Oh, you would think that, right? Because
Yes.
it's obviously not in compliance with the law, and you wouldn't wait for a
Well,
fucking
I'll try
court
to-
order
I'll
or
try
a
to throw
final
that in there
adjudication
in
on
a
the
minute.
merits
Right
before
now I'm
you'd
letting
say
Pisco
so,
go.
But when
right?
it's literally the letter of the law.
Yeah, so it's clearly in violation, in my view. Of
okay.
these additional tariffs. Now, if you
In your
want to
view.
have a debate about that, that's cool. But at a bare minimum, the Liberation Day tariffs and his willingness to do clearly illegal tariffs and clearly illegal other shit, by the way, too. Foreign emoluments, political prosecutions, all sorts of bullshit, shows that the guy doesn't care about the law. He is a reckless and malicious actor within the government that needs to be purged peacefully and patriotically. I don't mean anything illegal, through democracy. That's why he's so bad, and that's why I don't give
Okay.
a fuck. I would vote for a DSA member over a Trump person any day of the week.
Can I ask, out of curiosity, to the Republicans on the panel to kind of move the conversation forward a little bit here? Do we believe that utilizing the military on their citizens is a form of communism?
What?
Utilizing the military on its citizens, do you believe that that is a form of communism?
I don't believe that's a form of communism. I think every government in the histories at some point had to do that.
Do you think it's authoritarian?
It can be. It can be totalitarian. Well,
So what are your thoughts? I'll just skip over it because you're playing good. I'll give you that. You're playing good, Grid. I'll give it to you. I'm not going to be able to get gotchas on this one. Would you say that Trump utilizing the Marines on their U.S. citizens is authoritarian?
authoritarian, maybe not totalitarian. I would have to look at the specific instance, but I don't know that it's totalitarian, which is I think what you're really driving at.
Yeah. So what happened is that there was those protests that were taking place, ICE protests specifically. Trump then, Trump, along with Pete Hegseth, ended up ushering first the National Guard and then the military, specifically the Marines, up to Los Angeles to work alongside the National Guard. So much so that a judge had to step in and specifically say that it was a violation of posse comitatus, and specifically that particular violation, which again I would say is authoritarian. And when we talk
exactly,
the Marines were, hold on one second.
The Marines at his door, apparently.
Hold on one second.
it's all good.
Sorry about that.
You guys don't think that Trump is okay, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, I wrapped it up. The National Guard ended up going up there for protests to try to quell protests and things like that. And so that is what they were doing. Now they were going in. Oh, that's what I lost my train of thought. Marines were assisting the National Guard in detaining certain U.S. citizens, which is where there was an infamous picture there of a U.S. citizen with his hands behind his back with two Marines standing next to him. And I believe that might have been the one that the courts were specifically looking at. But we saw that happening. I also use this point, by the way, anytime they say it, the left likes to be lawless. We've seen where there's been numerous felony convictions and misdemeanors, but anyways.
Peace,
It violates posse comitatus. Yeah. I mean, like, it's just, I don't think you guys even think that Trump is, blatantly violating the law, that he is doing like corrupt shit and enriching himself. Like, do you guys doubt that he's doing these crypto deals and the insider trading, selling the Truth Social posts ahead of time so that people can like trade on that stuff? This is like disgusting. Like, he's using the office that is supposed to be held in trust for all of you like assholes, and he's using it to just enrich himself, and you guys are clapping along, and like, you don't give a fuck about that. You don't care about the corruption. Like, this is the kind of stuff that our founding fathers were most concerned about. Someone
Ask you
using
this,
the
did you
office
have
to
much
enrich
concern about
themselves.
the corruption? Do you have as much concern about the corruption when the Democrats were doing corrupt shit?
Yeah, name it.
Okay,
What's
so
the
you had no
corruption?
problem with the open border policies
name it.
that were under
Open.
Biden?
Wait. So you take open
I'm
borders.
just
first of
asking.
all.
I'm asking you. I'm asking. Do you have a problem?
So
Did you have the
there
problem?
was
with
never
the
open borders. Never open borders. Never open borders.
Oh,
Not
okay,
corrupt.
so they
Never
did
open
not
borders. Not
corrupt.
corrupt.
How many
Never
people
open
were
borders. Not
allowed
corrupt.
illegally?
But the question isn't on hypocrisy. Yeah. So I'll
I'm
deal with.
just
We can go to
asking you,
immigration.
did you-
We can go to immigration if you want. But first, answer the question: is he corrupt with all these deals? Yeah, I'm happy to do that. I asked it first, so I asked it first. So you answered me first, right? I answered your.
All right. We'll have this. Then you haven't talked about. Why don't you answer this question first, and then I'll make Peace go answer your question.
No, I'll answer first. I'll answer first. What's your question?
Okay, then you can. Okay, Peace.
I
Then you can.
said, did you have the same problem when the Democratic Party was actually allowing all these crimes, like allowing the illegal immigration issues that we were having? Did you have the same problem with that? Because that was against the law.
It's a loaded question, right? So the question
It's
is
not loaded. It was a crime.
Yeah,
It's
so
against the
I'll
law.
answer it. So
Let him
so
answer
I'll
it. Yeah, go ahead and answer. There you go.
So the reason it's a loaded question is it assumes, as part of its predicate, that Democrats were, quote, allowing crimes, by which you're implying that they're trying to further crimes, that they want crimes to occur, or that they are like just ignoring immigration law, which of course is not true, and you can't find an instance of it
So
other
you're
than the
saying
fact
that
that immigration
sanctuary
Glenn Drunk,
cities
I have
are
no
did
idea.
occur.
Sanctuary cities are not allowing illegals in there knowingly.
No, sanctuary city policies have nothing to do. Repeat with letting
Is it illegal
immigration.
to?
and letting immigrants.
Is it illegal to
It's
come
not
to the
illegal,
United
no.
States? You're saying it's not
Wait, to
illegal
come
to
to the
come to the United States through
Are
the
you talking about
border
sanctuary
gateway?
cities or? No, it is illegal to cross the border.
Okay, so when they
in a
cross
place
the
without-
border,
Wait,
then
let me
they-
answer.
they're
Wait, let me
committing
answer the. Wait,
crimes.
sorry.
Hold on,
Let me answer the question. Let me answer the question. So, what is illegal is crossing the border without inspection and admission. That is illegal,
Okay,
and
so
it
do
is
they-
a
do
crime.
they break that
Wait,
law?
wait,
So
but
then-
what's not illegal? What is not
Let me think
illegal
there's Nick Hughes
is
talking over you.
establishing a sanctuary city. It's not illegal to do that.
So when
All right,
they
go ahead.
when they break the law coming in here illegally, and then they
Yeah.
travel to all these states and they go to a sanctuary city state that the Democrats are running, you're saying that the Democrats are not wrong for letting them stay there illegally. They're not here illegally.
So
Well,
So
before
the
you answer,
Democrats-
Peace, I just want to make something clear, guys, because this is happening a lot.
I'm happy to answer.
If you,
He doesn't
I know,
understand
you're
immigration
good.
law.
No, I understand that, but this is for housekeeping. If you ask them a question, unless it's like obviously rhetorical, I'm going to give them the mic because you're giving up the mic. So if you ask that, just know you're giving up your talking time. It seems a few people will be confused about that. All right, go ahead. Go ahead.
Sorry, I
Peace.
had to do a few
apologize.
checks there, guys.
Yeah.
All right, we're
So
back.
number one, the state governments here don't have the authority to deport even if they wanted to. What's more, they cannot be commandeered by the federal government. There's case law, Supreme Court on that. And so there's nothing inconsistent with the position that, notwithstanding that illegality occurred by private persons, that it's not illegal for Democrats to have sanctuary city policies. There's no contradiction there. You haven't identified it, and therefore you failed at showing any kind of like encouragement of
These guys
illegal
follow
acts, let
sociopathy,
alone
militant,
corruption, which is to
pathological
say that
lying,
there's
nepo
like some
baby,
sort of
baby,
like
bailed out,
personal
tax dollars,
motive or
content.
personal financial motive going on here.
Listen to the
or some,
slurring. You do not sound like that. Oh
additional
man,
improper
listen,
purpose here.
it's it's a Friday night, man. You know.
So you
I
failed.
think the
Now I want to
think
ask the
the
question. Can I ask
problem-
my question because there was a deal here, right?
Yeah,
So my
yeah,
question
yes,
was:
go ahead.
Do
Go
you
ahead, ask
acknowledge? Do you acknowledge that these crypto deals, that the Truth Social, posts that you get early access to, that all of this shit regarding the plane, that all of this is corrupt as fuck? Would you acknowledge that?
I can't say that it is corrupt because I haven't been proven yet. It has not been proven yet. Could it be corrupt?
I mean,
Sure,
look,
it
if it's true,
possibly-
it is corrupt. I mean, if it is true, it's corrupt.
If it is
Yeah.
true,
Do you
yeah, it
doubt
is
that he's
corrupt.
enriching himself? Are you guys like you guys are still the easiest marks of all time? You doubt that he's using his office to enrich himself.
Can
Do
you
you
prove that
understand
he
that
is?
the reports came out?
Can you
Yes,
prove
of
that he is?
course, 100.
Okay,
Of
all right,
course,
great.
Of course.
When are you
Yeah.
taking the court exactly?
Oh, this is your okay. So I'll ask the question again. If
no.
someone rapes your mother, right, in front of you.
No, I'm
and
saying you can
witness it
prove.
in
You
real
know, you
time.
just said he's doing it. You just said that you can prove it
because we're
And so why
watching
aren't you
it.
doing it?
Because
Why aren't you
we're
taking him to
watching
court?
it. Because we're watching it. Because we're watching it. That's how we can prove it. It doesn't require a court case for us to see him doing the corrupt stuff in real time. And you guys are ignoring it. You're like doing the little smug face. Was there a DOJ
You know
case?
what?
Guess
I mean-
what? The DOJ is corrupt too.
All right, we're gonna go to Castle, then Vince. So go ahead.
Yeah, I think in just that expose right there, it kind of just showcases where the two sides are. Because if you ask the right if what Donald Trump did was wrong or illegal or illicit, they'll say, well, what about when the Dems did this? So they never want to answer it. And then when they do, the reason why that they think that Trump is that the Democratic Socialists or Democrats are worse is because, well, it's not as bad as what I think that Republicans are doing. So there's never going to be an agreement here because whatever Trump does that's illegal, they just think that whatever the DSA going to do that's illegal is just worse. And so I think that's the conundrum that we're in. And you can already see it by the way the conversation went with Pisco is like he asked something about crypto and they're like, I haven't heard about that, or well, it hasn't been convicted yet, or he hasn't been in a
How do you prove
convicted
something
yet of
is
a crime.
a
So
crime? How do you prove that something is a crime?
okay,
Hold
does
on, hold
something
on.
have? But does something?
Have you ever heard of a
I
pump and
was-
dump?
all right, I wasn't done yet. But does something have to be proven as a crime for you to think it's wrong?
You could think something is wrong, but it doesn't mean it's a crime.
Okay, but do you think what Trump is doing with crypto is wrong?
I'm not informed in
What
that.
is he doing with crypto?
Stop.
What-
Yes, you
like, are you
are.
talking
Yeah,
about
so
something
happy
like
to
2
tell you.
years
Hold
ago?
on, happy to tell you.
Hold on.
You
Let Castle go ahead.
you can't tell me what I'm
I wanna go
informed on and what
next.
I'm not informed on.
But then why are you here? Because these are issues that
You asked
happen
me about
literally every
crypto.
day.
You asked me about crypto. I'm not informed about crypto.
If you're talking
I know,
about the
but
thing
I'm
that
not
happened
talking
2
about crypto,
years
I'm talking
ago,
about Trump and I'm talking about Trump's dealing with crypto. If you like Donald Trump and you know Donald Trump, this is something that has been in the news almost every week.
You want
now.
us
so
to
you don't have to
explain
know
it to
about crypto. You just have to know
Do you
about
want us
Trump's
to explain
dealings
it to
with it.
Do you actually want the explanation, or do you want to continue to be willfully blind and not look into it?
I'm literally asking you. Oh, never mind. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Do you want the answer?
You can explain
want
it to me. But again, are you going to be explaining
But
it
do you
non-biased?
care about it? I'm
Yeah,
gonna
I
explain
care
it
about it.
correctly. Yeah. Okay.
Just wait, y'all.
The first thing
I got
to
something
know is
cooking.
Trump coin.
I got something cooking.
Okay. This was a meme coin that he created to rug pull his own fucking people, and which, by the way, you can. There's a ton of opportunity for foreign actors and other nefarious actors, and there's evidence of this as well, to invest in the Trump coin. And they in fact did, and there was this relationship with the United Arab Emirates, and that was absolutely a rug pull. Agreed? Did you see the evidence of this?
Yeah, I'm aware of the rug
I'm
pull.
aware
Yeah.
of that.
I mean, hold on.
Okay,
That
Do
was
you
like
agree
2
that's rug
years
pull?
ago.
No. Hold on.
Doug,
Do you agree
prove
it's
it?
rug
Doug, can you
pull?
can break
Yes,
he
no.
can break the law
Do you
because he's
agree?
president. Doug.
Yeah,
Chris. What's up,
if
Chris?
he's talking about from 2
Well-
years ago, yeah, I agree that was a rug pull.
Yep.
Yeah,
I
so
have-
he's using this was in anticipation of
Just
him
wait.
assuming office, right? And in anticipation of that, he is using that office. to
Uh,
market
I'll
this
try,
coin
Jack.
to
I'm not-
scam
I have
his
to-
own
I'll have to
fucking
give me a second.
followers and to get investors from foreign places over which he is not divesting and over which there's going to be major action taken. We're talking about
Well,
gold
I'm
deals
a-
where
I'm
they're
aware of
sharing
the
technology, right?
accusation. I'm aware of the accusation of a rug pull. I'm not aware that it was a rug pull.
So
What would it take to prove? What would it take to convince you? What would it take to convince
just wait, y'all. I got something cooking. I'm waiting.
More information.
Okay, more information.
Well, hold on. No, I mean,
Just
look,
wait, y'all.
I remember reading.
I
about this when it
debated
happened.
on this on at GridCon with all three
get
of
out
these
of my head.
individuals.
Mainly
about
because
this. So they should know what I'm
look,
about
it
to
was
use.
investigated. There wasn't.
It's gonna be
nobody
awesome.
Found any like bad action
What do you
on
mean
Trump.
it was investigated? Who the fuck investigated
It was
it?
When was it investigated?
Elizabeth Warren and Roger and what the other fucking guy.
They have no power. They don't.
They have no power. They're out of power.
Are they
There's no
suddenly part of the
investigation.
FBI?
Just wait, Jack.
They literally pushed the investigation forward. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I got this. Let's do this real quick. All right, let's go to Vince. If he wants to continue this, he can, and we can come back to it. But let's go to Vince.
There's been 3 weeks for y'all to come up with an answer to this, okay? And now I can finally ask the hosts the question. Okay, here we go.
All right.
Palantir, okay? I've now used this point a bunch of times. So let's see if we can get a good response to this. March 2026, Trump purchased Palantir's stock. April 7th, he specifically went on the Truth Social and said Palantir Technologies and used their stock ticker symbol, PLTR, has proven to have great warfighting capabilities and equipment. Just ask our enemies. President DJT. I don't need to sit here and do some mysterious rug pull with a bunch of third characters. I have literally the President of the United States buying stock in Palantir and then advocating to go out and buy Palantir. What are your thoughts?
This was all public.
Very public. His federal release almost
Yeah,
it.
it's like world
So this is like
news,
me
dude.
telling you to buy, to buy shares in my company.
Yeah, but the difference is Trump is
but
running
he doesn't
right,
own
the
Palantir.
government that's buying the contracts, right? He's in charge of running the contracts with fucking Palantir. And so do you understand the conflict of interest in owning stocks in a company over which you're granting contracts and which is being
Oh.
integrated with the government itself?
Huh.
That seems pretty corrupt, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've always thought it was very corrupt.
then-
Especially
That's the
like
kind of shit
when
that we
half
care
the
about.
Democratic Party does it.
Oh,
They're,
wow.
they're,
That-
oh, no, hold on,
Pisco,
wait,
what did I
wait,
say?
wait.
Pisco, what did I say?
No,
What
but
did
you know
say?
what? I will
What did
say, yeah, that's pretty fucking corrupt. Let's get them all. Let's get them all. No more
Cool, I
stock
would agree
trading
with you.
for public officials. I actually believe in that. I agree with you.
Cool.
My favorite example of corruption, by the way, is the one I've now touted again numerous times, which is Dell. This one goes under the radar quite a bit. Essentially, what happened was in December, Dell ended up contributing over $6 billion to Trump's child savings accounts. In February 10th, he ended up purchasing between $1 and $5 million in Dell shares. And then after that, on February 19th, and about 5 more times after that, he said, go out and buy a Dell computer.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. That one was a pretty strong claim to corruption here. The man had a literal vested interest via stocks and the Dell family contributing to his political agenda, namely the Trump Trump savings accounts, which was the one that went to the children and things like that or whatnot. So again, this
There's
is the
so many
thing.
examples of these guys. Like,
Huh? Huh?
I could pull one out of my ass right now. I mean, like, what about the slush fund? He negotiated with himself a collusive lawsuit to give himself tax liability beyond anything anyone's ever negotiated before.
Exactly, Jack.
And then to extract from the American
I
taxpayer,
know,
what,
Jack.
1.7,
That's-
1.8
that was something I
billion
got a little too
dollars.
giddy on, but
he
you get what I'm
tried
saying.
to
I
do
was
this to give to his
one of those
friends.
cordial
A
bridges
collusive lawsuit
because
where
they
he's
were all
both
three
sides
on
of
the
V.
GridCon thing.
There's more too. I mean, like the Qatar airplane situation. It's been a complete bamboozle. And you're saying that you're fearful of Muslims. I don't know who the is it. Not great.
And then the
and he's like
Praise-
doing
FBI
deals with these
non-prosecution
oil lords.
agreement. The
Yeah,
little FBI
you-
non-prosecution agreement that got shot down really quickly.
Yeah.
How he said,
as
"Praise
well
be
as,
to Allah," right? And he said that on a
pardoning
few.
the Binance CEO, who's part of these United Emirates deals. There's so many examples of this shit. And it's not just libs saying it. It's not just left wing people saying it. Nick
I'm
Fuentes,
over prepared.
Megyn Kelly, Tucker Carlson now, the National Review. It is the most insane amount of corruption.
No, I know.
that
I
has
got a little
ever
too giddy. I
existed
did
in
get
this
a little
country
too giddy,
before.
Jack. I
And the
agree.
comparisons to Democrats
too
is
giddy.
not even close. What you just said in response, well, what about the Democrats and
I try to
immigration?
do that thing where I'm
What are you
trying not to
talking about?
be
That's not
too
even corruption.
aggressive.
But
You know
even
what I
if
mean?
it were, let's say that
And
even it
still
was,
try to.
what are we talking about in terms of
let it
dollar
stink,
amounts?
yeah.
It's trivial. Meanwhile, on immigration itself, we have Kristi Noem, who has again conflicts of interest with certain contracts that she's buying for ICE. She had to resign because the corruption and the conflicts of interest were so much in DHS and ICE itself. To say nothing of how the DOJ is being weaponized with respect to immigration enforcement. You had Tom Homan
You
taking
don't think
bribes.
the DOJ ought to be weaponized to protect our borders?
The DOJ should not be weaponized for political purposes or to help people who are taking bribes or who are taking contracts. for
That's
which they
not what
have a
you
vested
said.
interest.
What you said was the
I
DOJ
got you,
weaponized.
Jack.
As relates immigration, yeah.
Remember what we
there's
talked
an
about.
nexus
I
to
don't
immigration.
like
So, for example, I'm
burn
not saying
bridges
that
or anything like
enforcing
that.
immigration law is by itself corrupt. I didn't say
There's
that.
a certain
why did you
arena
say
for
that?
debates.
I didn't
We'll talk
say
about
that,
later,
you
though.
fucking
But you
dipshit.
just
What I said
did.
is, no, I didn't. I didn't say that enforcing immigration law is corrupt. I'm saying where there's a nexus with immigration law, there have been corrupt actions taken. For example, with Kristi Noem and certain contracts that were being bought out for which there was vested interest, and getting rid of the investigation into Tom Homan, where he was taking bribes in exchange for contracts that were anticipated coming down the line. There's just everywhere. In
But that
the
has
category
nothing
of
to do with
immigration.
ICE enforcing immigration law on the border.
The fuck it doesn't. What do you mean? We're talking about contracts that relate to immigration enforcement.
No, you're talking about contracts that relate to politicians maybe potentially fleecing the taxpayer, but that has nothing to do with ICE doing its
It's
job
under-
on the border, which is what you
Holy
insinuate.
fuck. No, dipshit. I'm not saying that enforcing immigration law by
Okay,
itself.
so we
is
should.
corrupt.
You all right? So you agree
idiot.
that we
hey,
ought,
idiot.
that
Hey,
we
boomer,
ought
listen to me. Hey, boomer,
absolutely-
shut
hold
up.
On, hold on. Look. Calm down.
No, that's fair.
So
Jack.
you
That's fair.
agree
That's fair.
that ICE
Just like
protecting
Pisco
the border is a
levying those
good
things, I'm
thing,
sure.
and that's what they
was
ought to
kinda
be
chill.
doing.
ICE, so ICE doesn't do border protection. That's
I agreed.
CBP.
Not. Yeah, they did. They did go after the Olympian for that
Idiot.
pool.
Why wouldn't they? You just said that they should. You
Their
just literally
mandate is
said that
internal
they were
immigration
being used
enforcement.
improperly, and that there
Customs
was
and
some
border
kind of
protection,
scam
asshole.
on the American people.
No. What I said was specific to Kristi Noem and other actors related to immigration, where there's an immigration nexus, and it undermines immigration enforcement to have corruption. Agreed?
Sure,
That undermines
possibly
it,
could,
right?
Absolutely,
That's what I was
100%.
talking about. I wasn't saying that enforcement of immigration is necessarily corrupt. That's your straw man.
That's not a straw man. That's what you said.
Okay, then you're an
Maybe
idiot,
you
can't
meant
hear,
something
you didn't
else, but
understand.
what you said was
It was very obvious. No, did I say, oh, they're so corrupt, they're enforcing immigration law? Or did I say they're so corrupt with respect to immigration law, look at Kristi Noem's contracts? And you drew from that
no.
inference.
You did not say that. You said
No, it was
that
clear
ICE
in context what I
enforcing-
I'm going
meant.
to try to
It
reel
was
back here
clear
in just a
context
second.
what I meant. When I was talking about the corruption related to immigration, I didn't bring up the fact that they're enforcing borders, dude. I brought up contracts. I brought up political dropping of
Fair, Jack,
investigations.
fair.
That's what I brought up. And you are.
Yeah,
doing a
I
straw
don't
man
have
by
any
saying,
problem
"I
with
just think
any of the
immigration
things that
enforcement-"
you've talked about. I mean, look, corrupt politicians on both sides of the aisle ought to be investigated.
It's you doing this false equivalence. Oh, it's both. It's both. It's both. It's both. The magnitude is galactically different. It's galactically
not.
different. Yes, it is. Name the most corrupt thing a Democrat's ever done.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Let's just start
Oh,
small
no.
with.
No, I want the most corrupt. I don't want small.
Oh, I
want the
know.
most
I don't
corrupt.
even know the most corrupt, but let's just talk about the.
do you want
I
hold on,
can't
most
think of her
corrupt?
name. I'm drawing a blank. California.
Talking about
Um,
Pelosi?
Pelosi, thank you. All of her stock trades. There's literally people that follow her stock trades.
Oh, come on.
How
You know,
about Fast and
Pelosi,
Furious?
Pelosi hasn't even made the most money.
The
Door.
best y'all got is Pelosi. Hey, real
Through the
quick.
door if you open the door.
Can I reel this
How
back a
about
little bit?
NSA?
Can
Is
I-
that not corrupt? Is that not corrupt?
Hold on. Let's
So
go to
Pelosi
Glenn.
ought to be in jail, right?
Yeah, Glenn.
Sure.
Try again, Glenn.
How
What
about
was the
Fast and
most-
Furious? How about the IRS targeting the conservative organizations? How about the NSA surveillance? That's pretty bad. Benghazi corruption. How about the executive branch transparency? How about the
All
DOJ
the old
controversy?
reliable.
All these things are bad, right? You said you want to know
but-
we're bad. That's pretty bad, right?
So
But-
where's the corruption?
Oh, here comes the
no,
hand
you
wave.
still agree that those are corrupt?
No. There's no hand wave. I'm just trying to go one by one. Benghazi corruption. Go. What was the
No, I
corruption
said
on
Fast and
Benghazi?
Furious corruption. Start from there.
All right, Fast and Furious corruption. Go. Make your case.
They were selling illegal guns. They were giving guns to the
Yo,
fucking.
one of the worst things
the
about a
cartel.
mustache
It's
is
like
when it gets a
allegedly
little
tracked
long, it
them,
starts
right?
curling
What did
and
they
it
end up
starts
finding?
tickling your lip. I hate
Yeah,
that
wait,
stuff so
why is that
much.
What was the illegality, though?
They were
Forgive me?
literally buying guns from Texas and taking them across the border.
You said it was for you said it was for a good purpose, though, right? Would you say
No,
that
it is for a good
pager
purpose.
attack?
That's corruption.
You said to
Well,
do
I
something
didn't say it was a good
related
purpose.
to going after them, right?
It
What was the
was-
purpose of Fast and Furious?
to try to track allegedly transportation of the
My
illegal
concern
arms.
is that this
Cartel.
debate
So
is
if
starting to
they're
kind of
arming
go
that
off the rails
if
from
that
where it
purpose, they
originally
wanted to arm the
was.
cartels.
And I'm not trying to
Yes, I
defend
think that's right.
Grid
Look
or
at the
whatever,
evidence.
but at the
So
same
failed
time,
sting
we're here
operation
to
is
talk
them wanting
about
to arm the cartels. A failed
Democratic
sting
candidates and
operation is them
Republican
arming the
candidates. You know what I
cartels.
mean? So this just feels like we've kind of gone a little bit
Why else
sideways
would they
on
give the
that.
cartels guns?
So
To do a sting operation, maybe, or to do law enforcement?
Did they end up doing a sting operation?
No. The question is.
Obviously,
what's
it
your
failed.
evidence?
That too,
Question is,
Jack.
what's your evidence? Your question is, what's your evidence that they had a motive to
oh
just help
geez,
cartels?
Jack. Yeah,
we
it
didn't
sucks
prosecute
because
it.
especially like when I'm eating something, it like
That's-
ends up getting
hang
me.
on a
It's
second.
annoying, dude.
That's
No, that just
consistent with
makes
the
it a
rationale
failed
of their.
operation.
Yeah. That's
I also
consistent
hate
with
how,
that
like, I'm a
explanation.
little
Do
bit
we want
more
evidence
fuller on
that
one
they had a
side than
corrupt
the other.
motive?
Anyways.
That is to say that they were trying to help the cartel because they liked the cartel. What's the evidence for that claim?
The evidence that they was corrupt. Was
This
they
is
were-
a smart move
they-
by Pisco. You
they
got to
did
really
not-
drill down into the facts.
Who benefited?
And most times
who was
they'll
the
not be able to
benefactor
provide
of this corrupt
anything.
scheme?
All right, this is painful. I'm
The
gonna help you.
cartels.
I'm gonna help you. I just, I got it. I'm
In
so
order
wasn't
for there to
even
be
a
corruption,
problem.
the politician
Hold
doesn't
on,
benefit too. What
Hold
politician
Hold on,
benefits?
I'm
giving
just-
criminal
Just let me
guns
give you the
is the
response, and
fundamental
then
problem.
y'all can fight real quick. I'm just gonna.
There you
play-
go, Jack.
Hold on,
Although the
hold on, real
goatee
quick.
is a little,
Let me help
you
out for
know,
1 second, then y'all can get back
only
to
some people can
whatever
pull
this
off a
is.
goatee. I
The answer
refuse
would
to.
be that
I gotta
they
have
gave
like the
them
5 o'clock
fucking
shadow and
guns
everything. But anyways.
that they then used against their own people and other people without any prosecution. And the idea that, oh, okay, well, hey, why did this prosecution happen? Well, that's the real question. So the evidence would be, oh, these guys benefited without any negative happening to them. That would be the evidence of potential corruption.
Oh,
that shouldn't
geez,
be there
Jack.
Are
further.
they trying
in
to?
order for
were-
the-
Now, all
were
right,
they
order for there
trying
to be
use that.
corruption-
Thank you.
No,
in
were
order for
they
there to be
trying to
corruption and
further
pol-
crimes? Yeah.
Well,
Right,
let's say that
so-
you can't prove that they weren't trying to. But when they
So
have
you,
two,
so you
when
can't
when
prove
have
it.
the
Wait,
death-
so
hold
can
on,
you
when
prove?
you have the
Hold
death
on,
of
I
the-
can prove it.
Hold on,
I
you
can't
have
prove
the
it.
death
Hold
of the Border Patrol agent.
I think I'm going to tie
that
this
was
into
done by
congressional
those guns.
investigations to try to reel it back in.
And then
So
the
just give me
DOJ
just a minute.
initially gave Congress misleading information. Come on now,
So
that is
Well,
not
actually-
corruption.
actually,
I don't
Eric
know
you
what
need
Holder-
corruption
to,
is.
Eric Holder
you need
did
to
that.
prove. You need to prove that the policy itself was corrupt, and in other words, was
Yeah.
motivated.
But I'm
by
also
Yes,
trying
I
not
can
to
do that.
overlap
do
Pisco
that.
because I don't want Pisco to
Okay,
feel like
so
I'm overlapping
what was
him.
corrupt about it was is that
You know,
they
like,
deliberately
I want to make sure
delayed
they get their voice in, and then I can go back.
any action specifically to make the problem seem worse than it was in the press. They admitted that in to a House Oversight Committee. They
And how about the
literally
fact
said
that
they
Obama-
literally said that what they were trying to do, they knew that it was wrong, but they were they did it anyway.
You just,
and I
Wait,
can't
wait,
remember all
hang
the
on.
agents' names and all
Wait
that
a
shit,
second.
but it
I
was
know,
in.
I want Pisco to finish, but it's
Hold
I'm
on.
sorry.
How about Obama later asserting executive privilege over certain DOJ documents
Well, I mean, I
requested
can
by
finish,
Congress?
That's consistent.
Yeah.
No, hang on. That's consistent with this being
Yeah,
a bureaucratic nightmare, a fuck up. You know, where people
A
are trying to
cover
cover their
up,
ass.
corruption.
No.
Sure,
What
yeah.
what you're trying to prove is that the operation itself, what you claimed before, was to like help the cartel.
Is killing a Border Patrol agent helping the cartel?
No, that the purpose of the people behind the policy.
I think
was to
giving
help
the border. I think
no,
giving cartel guns to kill the Border Patrol agents.
was that
helps the
what they
cartel.
wanted? They want so I want you to say it. The Obama administration wanted this policy to kill border agents. Is that your claim?
My
That
claim
would
is
not be my
Obama
claim.
wanted to benefit
I'll
the
tell you exactly
cartel.
what it-
Yeah. So that's wrong, right? You don't have any evidence that Obama wanted the border patrol people dead, right?
You have the evidence
I don't think
that
Obama
he,
knew anything about it, to be honest.
well, he did try
Oh,
to
so then-
use
so then-
executive privilege. Hold on, he tried to use executive privilege to limit what Congress could actually have.
That's what I'm thinking
and
about,
see
Jack.
to-
Give me just a
to
second.
prove that
I'm
there
about
was
to do it right
corruption.
here. Just gonna say, hey,
Yes.
Okay, so
So he was trying to stall it. He was trying to
you're
become
saying that you don't have
create a scandal instead of
I'm
being
waiting.
full transparent. Yes.
So I want to know
Because
that
it's
that's your
important that
standard,
Grid's
because
talking
that's gonna
about
be beautiful
congressional
with all the examples
investigations.
that we have of Trump, asserting.
So
executive
I'm about to
privilege,
do
trying to
a-
prevent the production of
mapping
documents.
here.
So you're just going to get
Just a
fucking
second.
buried if that's your standard. But even putting that
And
aside,
we
what
can
was-
still go. There's a
what was-
lot more with Obama and
what
Biden
was-
that we could go through. So,
So what-
I think
what
we
you're
could-
comparing
the
now
point
is
is the
that-
same standard.
what you're comparing.
the point I'm going to do is I'm going to ask, do you believe they should have congressional investigations? If so, tell me what, towards corruption, tell me what Republicans are doing. If Republicans are not doing it, this is another prime reason why Democrats need to be in their office. So that's going to be kind of the way to go.
That's a little fuck up.
Okay, so the war in Iran right now, we have service people dead, right? Did Trump want them to die?
No, but that was that.
So just the fact. So this is how stupid you are. You need to go back
No,
to
no, no,
fucking
no.
school.
Did-
You need to go back to
Damn.
fucking school.
Did Trump
Just
Yo, that
arm
is a
death
fat
occurred.
cat.
Did Trump
Holy
arm Iran
crap.
and give them guns and say, "Hey, oh shit,
Yo,
my
that
bad,
is
he
one
shot our
fat
guys."
cat.
No, he
No,
fucking
so this
Fuck up.
is
Be
how
stupid now.
stupid.
We've
This is
argued
how
this
stupid
all
you
the
are.
time.
This is how
trying to make complaints
What
how
is that?
stupid
What is
you
that?
are.
What is that?
So
What is that? What is
so
that?
first of all,
My
so first of all,
camera worked.
Did
so
Trump
here's
arm
so
Iran?
did Trump
Did Trump
so
arm
here you go.
Iran?
That's a
So
fat
did
cat,
Trump
bro.
give
Did Trump
did
arm
Trump
Iran?
give tariff?
Answer that question.
Did Trump
Did Trump
give
arm
tariff-
Iran?
Did
Yes or
Trump
no?
give sanction waivers?
Did Trump
did Trump
arm
give sanction
Iran?
waivers?
Answer the
One,
fucking
hold on.
question.
One at a time. One at
So-
a
Answer the
time.
fucking question.
So
Did Trump
so-
arm
okay,
Iran?
so
God damn, I'll mute
So
people.
Gibbs,
I don't want
so
to.
so here
Go ahead.
this
You
is the
go- you
response.
first, then go ahead.
This is the response. He's asking whether Trump specifically armed Iran, as though that were necessary to a finding, or his standard as to Obama's complicity in the death of this border agent or whatever. But that's not what he said. What he said reasoning was because death occurred that was causally related in his mind to something Obama did, which again, query whether that's even fucking true. Half the time these people aren't even, correctly presenting these cases. Even if that were true, it doesn't show that he wanted it to happen. But it is the case that Trump has waived oil sanctions on Iran, which is billions of dollars worth of value to Iranians. So on that view, right, given that that was billions of dollars worth of value, given that
I think Bisco's points about the land.
can you buy guns with billions of dollars? Can you buy guns with billions of dollars? Yes or no? Can you buy? Yeah. So can you buy it? Wait. So Gibbs, get him to answer the question. Can you buy?
Hold on.
Get him to answer the question.
Glenn, all right, Glenn, talk. When you talk uninterrupted.
So let me get the question out. Let me get the question out. Let me get the question out.
Ask your question. Here's what's gonna happen. All right, before anybody says anything else, you're gonna ask the question. Glenn, you're gonna talk uninterrupted, and for however long it needs to be done to talk, and then you fucking after you're interrupted, we can interrupt and start fighting again. All right, go ahead. But if you ask Pisco a question, then Pisco gets to talk.
There's been a whole bunch of people as well that have honestly on the insurgency.
Did the Trump administration waive sanctions?
That's another conversation for another day.
A ton of money.
Not just Trump, but I agree that Trump has certainly done so.
Could that money be used to buy arms?
He waived the money. Yes, that money could be used to buy tampons for your mom. That money could be used to buy fucking baby food. That money could be used to buy fucking condoms. What they choose to use the money for has nothing to do with Trump. What did happen is that the Obama administration gave fucking guns to the cartel that led to the killing of our border patrol agents. Are you fucking kidding me? You cannot equate the two. Did Trump give them guns?
So if it were the
answer the question, I answered your question. Answer my
I
question.
doubt that he gave them. I doubt that he gave them arms. I doubt that they gave him arms. I doubt they gave him arms.
So
that doesn't matter.
How is
It's
it two the
irrelevant. It's
same?
stupid as fuck.
How is it two the same?
So
Money.
the point is the
people
logic.
could decide to do. Hold on, money. What people could decide to purchase with, and fucking guns are not the same, bro. You can't even equate them to be the same.
The logic is as follows. What your claim is, just because the result occurred and because someone was able to benefit from some government action and negative results occurred, that therefore it was the conscious object of the government to make that result happen. That was the logic you applied to Obama. And the minute we are about to apply it to Trump, you're like, no, it's different, bro, because money is different than guns.
Yes,
as though you couldn't use money to buy guns.
All right,
Yeah, I agree. Money is different than guns.
Yeah. We're gonna go to Castle and then dance again, and then Vigilante if you want in, and then go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna
Poor
say it's kinda
Vigilante,
funny
man.
that we're talking about
Vigi
giving
gets stuck
guns
behind,
to
man.
cartels when I was just looking this up. In 2017, Trump approved directing arms to the Kurdish YPJ, considered a terrorist organization by Turkey and the U.S.
There's Castle.
So
man.
we've,
There's your point.
throughout
Now.
our history, have given guns and weapons to terrorist organizations. Trump did it the same, and then these weapons get spread around the Middle East and end up killing U.S. troops. So if we want
Can
to
you
talk
prove
about that, and
Can you prove that anything that has happened, that we have lost lives under Trump's watch, we're giving guns to our enemies?
do you want me?
Because
I
we
can. I
No,
can
you
look up
prove
how
it?
many.
Prove it, because we could prove that.
Why
Border
would
Patrol
it
agents
need
died.
to be the guns themselves? Why would it need to be the guns themselves?
Before we get too
That's
wild
arbitrary as
out.
fuck.
Hold
That's
on.
arbitrary. So he's basically saying, is there
Hold
a
on.
fact pattern that's this is what he's asking, Gibbs. He's asking, is there a fact pattern that's exactly the same as
Yeah, they're
this
gonna-
Fast
they're
and
gonna
Furious
try-
bullshit
yeah,
they're bringing
they're
up?
gonna try to
And
find
if
one
there's
for
not,
one.
then therefore
Yeah,
they're not corrupt. It's so stupid.
I'm gonna let Glenn. You got like a 30-second response, and then I'm going to Vince. All right, go ahead, respond, Glenn.
Again, what I'm saying is that I'm saying Fast and Furious was corruption. They lied about it. They tried to dog walk it and make it slow and stall it. They used.
I think I'm not going to do the back and
executive,
forth. I think I'm just going to
order
land the
to
point.
try to limit
That's what we're going to do.
Congress could actually have.
I'm gonna jump
full
straight to
evidence
it.
to actually
And then that's
see
what we're
really
gonna do.
happened.
I'm not going to
That
do the
is
back and
corruption.
forth gotcha
Especially
stuff.
trying to
or
cover
whatever.
up
I'm
the
just going to
death
straightforward.
of a border patrol agent, right? So when I said, "Show me where," and I told you that's what Obama did, and I said, "Show me where Trump has done that." You can't do that. And you were saying, "Where is the corruption?" Is in? I just pointed out corruption.
Let's go to Vince.
This is called special pleading. I just want to let me finish. I just want to finish this one point.
That's fine.
It's
Let Bisco
special
finish.
pleading. What he's basically saying is, it's an ad hoc rule. It needs to be the exact same fact pattern as the Obama, whatever his scandal he's talking about. And if it's not the exact same thing, the logic that he's proposing about, converting things which are mistakes, converting things which are
That's the
errors
problem with
into
like
corruption
multi-panels
doesn't
is trying to
apply.
like
That,
divvy
of
up
course,
time.
is special pleading.
That's the
It's
problem.
bullshit.
All right, let's go to Vince. So we're
Yeah.
going to Vigilante and then Grid. Go ahead.
So I want to kind of like tie this into the prompt a little bit here, and this is very important. You know, when we talk about this, I heard Grid mention about congressional investigations. If we agree that corruption is bad, in which case we've heard a little bit of a concession there when it came to Trump's corruption, my question is then, what are the Republicans doing to investigate Trump's corruption? I would beg to say that there has been little to none. Actually, there's been zero congressional investigations with Republicans in investigating Donald Trump. And in fact, they've pretty much said we're not going to, and they've done everything to obstruct any kind of investigation into Donald Trump. So when we talk about who's the better candidate to vote for in the midterms, I think is a pretty clear thing. We should investigate corruption, which we would all agree with, I would hope, in which case we need somebody who will, and that will be Democrats. Would y'all agree that we should investigate corruption? Do you agree that there should be congressional investigations into what Donald Trump is doing to find out more answers?
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, you're going to have to. Those are two related but separate things, right? So I agree that corruption should be investigated. Absolutely. The problem is that everything you guys talk about, Trump is getting investigated. The whole rug pull thing that my buddy over here, Pisco, talks about ad nauseum. It took me a minute to remember it, but that was investigated by the trade commissions and found that there was no sign of a rug pull. They literally said it didn't meet any of the metrics of a rug pull, and they're the people who would fucking know. But yet, because you hate this guy so much,
finds Trump administration innocent. Wow.
That because you guys just dislike this guy so much, you're willing to just label it a rug pull, even though the people who investigate rug pulls never did.
Who's the head of the FTC again?
The FTC is not the one that looks into it.
But let me ask you guys this question.
Were.
Let me ask you guys.
I did not say that.
Hold on,
I said the people who look into it. I don't remember the name of the office. It's a T. I forget the initials, like TKM or TMK.
Yeah, that's expected with an administration as corrupt as this, that they would find themselves innocent.
I want to. So, Glenn, I know you got a question. I want to go to Vigilante here real quick first because he was next, and then we go to your question, Glenn. Go ahead, Vigilante. What did you have?
Yeah, so I just want to see if Glenn keeps the same energy that he's having with the Fast and Furious investigation thing. So was funding the Mujahideen back in the 1970s and 80s, was that corruption?
Yeah, I would say so.
What?
Okay.
We're fighting communism. That's crazy. Just because it results in funding people who become Al-Qaeda, you're saying because it has a bad result, it's corruption. But the intent there was clearly just to fight against the Russians in Afghanistan. That's like a legitimate
I personally don't think we
geopolitical
should have been
interest in
involved in
America.
it to begin with.
Whether you personally agree with the policy or not is not the question. Do you doubt
And
that
he
the
asked me
reason that
that
we were funding the
my
Mujahideen?
personal opinion was it corruption. Yes, I said it was corruption.
So,
that's my
so
personal
corruption.
opinion.
So this is
That's my personal
this is-
opinion. You can't tell me my
you're
personal
using
opinion is
proprietary language. You're using proprietary language, and this is what you say. Whenever you don't like something, it's corruption, right?
That's what you guys are saying. So here's my question to you guys.
Oh,
Tell me what Democratic president has done any corruption?
Joe
Give me a
Biden corruptly pardoned his own son. You won't do the same. You won't acknowledge corruption on your side.
Actually, I do all the time. I think
Do
that
it.
I think
Do
I
it,
think that.
bitch.
Oh, first of all, who you calling a bitch there?
All right, the bitch is talking. The bitch is talking. The bitch is talking.
Little bitch
All
here.
right, let's focus on the thing. Go ahead. I know we're getting.
I kind of admire
I think,
Pisco's aggressiveness here. Actually, I'm not
really
gonna lie. I
corrupt
kind of
in helping
admire it a
Israel.
little bit.
The way that we are, I think that's corrupt.
But that's not corrupt, right? You just don't like.
I think it's corrupt. I think that
but to
giving them.
Pisco's point, we can't.
Well,
just
no,
be
I would
saying
agree with him
things
that
we
that's
don't.
corrupt, honestly.
See, thank you.
All right, but
Vigilante
there's-
thinkers to me. So there you go.
Okay, but even still, you have to
Oh, there
prove
you go.
that
I
we're
gave
doing
you a
something.
point.
We're doing something
APAC
that's
money.
against what Congress is
Exactly.
voting on. or
APAC money,
something.
any type of foreign lobbyists. I think they're all corrupt. I think all lobbyists are corrupt, personally. So
Yeah, because I think you just think corrupt is what you don't like.
I
Now,
don't
I
think we
actually
should have.
think that there's.
I don't think we should have foreign nations involved in our politics. Period.
Like Qatari jets.
Period. Okay. Like
I would agree
Qatar
with that.
airplanes,
I
like,
think that's-
like the
I
deals that
think
Trump,
that's
like
corrupt too.
Trump is the biggest foreign whore that we've ever had as a president, alleged
I think
president,
accepting a plane
True.
from another nation is corrupt.
because he's doing something in return. He is giving them bases in America. He's giving them access to technologies. In the case of United Arab Emirates, like he's a big whore.
Yeah, and to be clear, just so we're clear on the timeline, they gave an agreement to give $1 billion in drones to Qatar, I believe it was, after the plane, May 14th. So May 11th, the jet arrangement was made public, and then May 14th, they signed an agreement to give $1 billion in drones. So they got a pretty good little deal.
Is allowing, or is Trump's family buying companies out like EA in coalition with Saudi Arabia corruption, Glenn?
Sorry, I stepped away. Could you repeat that?
Is Trump's family buying out companies like EA in coalition with Saudi Arabia? Is that corruption?
Now, what Trump's family is doing and what Trump's doing, I can't speak on that. Like, you know, like if their family members are doing something, like how does that connect to his presidency?
Because they're
It's
on the
almost-
plane.
That was a
they're-
different standard than Hunter Biden.
Agreed.
Right, Hunter Biden, right? Like, do you think that was corrupt, Hunter Biden? Well, that's just his son, right?
Well, there's a different
I got
scandal
you,
there.
Fair.
When Biden told when Biden said the prosecutor has to be taken down, that was
Yeah,
looking
for
into
government purposes.
I
for
just want to
legitimate
say one
purposes.
thing real quick.
Oh,
Listen,
you believe the Burisma bullshit, right? You
Oh,
believe these
hold on.
Burisma conspiracy theories?
I just want to say one thing. If you are the president of the United States and say, and let's just say I'm the president, right? And my kid commits, like, I don't know, the biggest mass murder in history, you best believe I'm fucking pardoning that bitch. What kind of point is being a president if you don't pardon your own kid?
You can
Just
say that some
saying.
corruption
Like,
is good.
that's-
Wait. So
That's
you
I
can
mean,
take
I'm just saying in
Gibbs.
general. That's like family. You should pardon your kid. Like,
Gibbs.
I would.
This is great. You
Yeah.
can say that like some corruption is good, and that you would be corrupt. That's just totally compatible with what we're saying. That you would be corrupt.
No, I just want to put that on record. If you like, because I hear this a lot, they're like, and I'm like, you know,
I-
hold on. If you're a conservative, you talk about family. Like, if you're okay, if you're really about family values,
Smear
you're gonna
movie.
pardon your kid. Like,
I'll have to look at
I
it.
don't know that this is a point that, as a conservative,
Yeah, because because you guys don't take these oaths of office seriously. These are not offices that are supposed to be held for your personal
I mean, I'm
benefit.
applying that for
They're
anybody. I think Biden was right to do that. You know, if it's family, would you pardon your kid, Peace Girl, if you had a kid?
I would
I
not
want-
betray my oath
Come on.
by pardoning my child.
Come on.
Agreed.
Yes, I
You
would not.
oath to your
I would
blood.
not. I would not. No,
I
because
wouldn't
when you
either.
take that oath, you need to take the oath seriously. You're an oath breaker if you do that.
I
That's
want to
an
say,
oath to your blood, bro.
I
They're
want to
like,
say
I don't
this real quick because
Then
you
don't
know
be
it was
president.
it was asked what involvement Trump's kids have with Trump. It's quite a bit. In fact, and I almost forgot about it. Who was the one going to Iran for negotiations? Jared Kushner
Wickoff and Wickoff.
and
yeah.
Wickoff.
The funny you mentioned that because Kushner is also the one that bought EA with Saudi Arabia.
Well, and the funny thing about Jared Kushner is that his brother just recently bought out
Bought
the
the
LA
Lakers.
Lakers,
The
who
LA
ended up
Lakers, They took.
yeah, and that guy, by the way, that ended up selling the Lakers to Jared Kushner's brother was just recently at the Oval Office giving a literal World Series ring and jersey to Donald Trump. Literally, like this was like a week or two ago.
All
So
right, but Vince, that's a coincidence.
I mean,
that's
there's
a
a- I mean, look,
coincidence. Yeah, it's a coincidence.
I mean, we keep going down this corruption train here, which is great. I mean, I mean, what's his name, Menendez or Menudo or whatever the fuck his name was, the guy
Yeah,
from
we
New
went
Jersey.
after it. Bob Menendez, Mayor Adams. And what happened
Yeah.
there, right?
Yeah,
Bob
all those
Menendez is
guys.
looking for a
There's
pardon
corruption,
from who?
right?
From Trump.
Well, why
And
does
Mayor
that?
Adams
Hold on,
gets
hold on,
dropped
hold on.
from
Let
the
me finish.
DOJ.
Let me finish. I've been listening. I was sitting here kind of quiet, listening to the back and forth here. What the fuck does any of that have to do with
I'll tell you.
doing-
DSA. Yeah,
with
let's talk about it.
voting for DSA candidates?
It's really obvious, right? If you care about
Yeah, I'm not surprised by
purging
that,
the
Jack.
corruption, the DSA is going to vote against the corruption. They're going to vote to impeach and
Why do you
punish these
think
people.
that?
And because they fucking
I
hate Trump.
can give you
Because their
hating Trump
constituency
does
hates
not mean
Trump.
that you're
Hold
not
on,
corrupt.
not just-
Yes.
Not just
They're
that.
gonna-
Hold on. Not just that. All of these DSA candidates are running grassroots campaigns and they're refusing to take corporate PAC money and corporate money in general. The people statistically more likely to want to prosecute corruption, especially like the types of corruption that you're talking about that we need to make illegal, like insider trading, are the people who don't want to take corporate money and aren't beholden to the corporate donors. If you want those kind of people in office, You have to vote for people that run grassroots campaigns, and for the most part, the DSA and progressive candidates are the only ones to do that. Hell, even one of the only fucking Republicans that ran a grassroots campaign just got primaried out because of Donald Trump, fucking Thomas Massey. If I was literally one fucking district over into Kentucky,
Pisco's
I would
chat
have been
just said
voting
base
for Thomas
quiet guy in
Massey
the middle.
because why the fuck wouldn't I? He's a grassroots
Poor Vigi, man.
fucking,
He's been quiet for a while.
Politician, and
It is so
being a
bad they were having a
grassroots
name for it. The
politician,
Flamingo River.
in my
It's
opinion, at least,
crazy, Jack.
is more
It's
important.
crazy.
Is one of the most important.
It's crazy too how
policy things that
like
you can
little
do.
accountability like Jared Kushner has. To
And if
this
you're
whole
critical
thing.
of Israel, because you mentioned this other man,
But again,
Glenn,
you don't
we
have to
got a little
just
heat
look at
there
Jared
talking about
Kushner.
raping
You can
mothers
look
and
at
all
like a
shit.
whole
I'm
bunch
sorry.
of other stuff that's taking
if
place.
you care about bucking Israel,
You
right? And if you're saying that like you're
I'm sure that's not the hottest
critical
steak you've ever had.
of yeah, sure. Critical of like APAC money, right? Why wouldn't you consider?
Like they cry
voting for
about Hunter
DSA
Biden, but
people?
they don't
That's
cry
like-
about Jared
sometimes
Kushner.
I
or
would feel like
Don
talking about that
Jr..
shit way too much.
Don Jr.
But
went
if
to
that's what you
Greenland.
care about, if you are really like if that's the
Right.
corruption, the first thing that comes to your mind, why wouldn't you consider voting for the DSA? They're not going to be as much whores for Israel in that.
By the way, guys, if you want to do well in these debates, all you have to do is just do basic research on current events, and you can do incredibly well in debates.
Trust me, I have the barest knowledge of what the DSA people are signing or whatever, pledging or whatever the fuck. But
They basically don't stop
but
talking
say-
about.
hold on,
Do you
hold on.
doubt that?
I might I mean, I can finish and then you can ask me a question.
It's been a minute since I've talked to
Um,
Vigilante, man.
It
But
seems
yeah,
to
I wouldn't
me,
be
and
surprised.
maybe I'm
It's-
wrong here. I'd love your opinion on it. That doesn't mean they're not taking maximum campaign contributions from wealthy people or individuals and that sort of thing, which is what typically happens when people say, well, I'm not taking corporate money, but they take plenty of money from other people.
Yeah, but there's
but
maximum
there's
donations you can
contribution
have as an
limits.
individual. I mean,
Yeah,
you can
there's
only donate
maximum
so
donations
much.
you can have as an individual, and then that you can give money to somebody else and they can give it to that guy. I mean, look, there's always a workaround. I'm just saying this seems
Yeah,
like
but
bullshit.
There's less super PAC spending too, if you want to compare that. but,
Sure,
like, in terms
and
of
you know
contributions-
what? I don't believe that we should have super PACs. I honestly believe that campaign funding ought to be completely torn down and reformed.
And these are the
Unfortunately,
people who
I
wanna
don't
do
get
that.
to make that
Cool, we
law.
agree.
Yeah, the DSA people are the people who most want to do that campaign finance reform. They're the people who most want to buck the the lobbying shit.
I mean, they say
That's
they
their
do. I
bread
don't.
and butter.
People can say whatever they want. I don't.
But-
It doesn't mean.
But they also live their truth
Democratic
because-
socialists are insane people. So I have a hard time.
Yeah, but
believing
that's kind
insane
of the
people.
problem. Is like the Republicans won't say it, and then when the Democrats do say it, you don't believe them. So like, what? How?
Because
how do you
they're
even
insane
vote at that?
people, and I can't. It's hard to trust insane people.
But you say that they want communism, so you believe them when they say something along the lines of communism. But then when they want to root out corruption, you say they're not believable. So you're
They're
kind of
lying.
picking and choosing what you
Yeah.
want to hear.
Well, I believe communism is
when they
inherently
actually root out the-
corrupt. I mean,
when they
this is
actually root out their own
this is the
corruption,
ridiculousness
then
of
I'll
your
give-
position.
Hold on, Grid. You would say that AOC is DSA aligned, right?
I mean, I would, but I literally was listening. I think it was a discussion, and Pisco was a part of it last week. I was driving and I was listening to a show where they were talking about how AOC was actually not DSA.
She's not
She is a
anymore.
member.
She's
She-
not.
she-
She's
no.
she
I
wa-
think she is.
well,
She wasn't
I think
endorsed.
she-
I think
yeah,
she
she's
just
a
wasn't
member.
She is a
endorsed.
member.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
happened 37 or whatever.
regardless-
She said this, like,
regardless,
a couple
like,
days ago or something.
I was just making sure that you would consider her DSA aligned, right? So there is a bill that she proposed. It's called the For the People Act. It's called HR1. And it is a bill in order to heavily restrict PACs and change how the campaign finance stuff works. This is an example of a DSA aligned politician trying to push for campaign finance reform.
Yes, there are many politicians that push for campaign reform. I appreciate you giving one example.
Okay. I mean, like, the threat is obvious if you're talking about Trump and MAGA, and it's corruption, it's authoritarianism, it's basically just the destruction of everything that we should care about in our constitutional republic. And the DSA, at least compared to someone who's going to further it, the DSA is going to further it less and probably, in my opinion, reverse it. And they have some wacky out there policies, but I don't think that they're going to be able to effectuate it. But if you're not really seeing the threat, and if you don't see it from our perspective, then maybe you won't understand why we would vote for these people over MAGA people.
Well, I got a question then.
Why would it be that independents find the DSA so abhorrent then? It seems like independents are, based off the polls, for whatever that's worth, seemed to be like, it seems like the last one I saw was the 14% approval rating of the Democratic Socialists, and
I
yet
probably think they're
you know,
too radical.
right, and so that means they don't seem to be aligning with what you're saying because
They
the
also hate
Republicans
Trump.
within party had it seems he's going to
Trump's
hire
underwater with
them.
independents.
Sure, but not
Trump's
14%.
like minus. You saying the DSA overall is 14% with independents and approval?
Yeah, that's what I saw last week. So like,
Maybe that's
I mean,
true. I saw Trump's approval with independents in like minus 70s. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I could be totally hallucinating, but I thought it was like horrible, his approval rating with independents. But yeah, my guess is that they're probably too radical for many independents and many of their views, and they scare them off.
so I mean, it says right here. I just did a quick AI search. It says he's got 21 to 26% by most polls. So
yeah.
that's better. That's significantly better than what's going on.
Where's
with
the 14% coming from?
I don't know. It was CNN or MSNBC the other day. I mean, I can look at,
So
I
there
can just
are
Google the
two
same
recent
thing.
polls that I found for DSA. There was one. The Marquis poll said 13%. The Siena poll said 25%.
What said what?
I mean, that's great and all.
The Siena poll said 25%.
So this is
favorable.
all right. So
It's low.
great. There's things that you like about their candidacy, but they're communist and they're insane, and that's not conducive
Sorry about that, guys.
to anything that I think that normal Democrats believe in. So I wonder
think they're
why
insane.
you think
take care of my
that
son.
that's a better alternative.
He was
I
wanting to
don't
buy
think
some
they're insane. I
animals
think that
and
some
stuff.
of them have like really
on
bad
Minecraft.
theory,
All that.
and when they get into power,
Yes,
people like
and
Mamdani
those theories
in
could be
Monterey-
applied when in office, and you're ignoring that.
No, it's okay. Listen, it's possible it could be implied in an office, but we have a
Not
track record here.
possible,
And
plausible.
I don't think that it's plausible.
Uh,
That some of the ideas are going to be attempted, right? Like prison abolition, police abolition. I don't think it's plausible these ideas will be implemented. It's definitely plausible that some bad ideas will be attempted to be implemented, no doubt about that. But the track record we have is like, look, Mamdani is trying to get in good graces with Hochul.
Also, guys, I will try to
AOC is
upload
palatable
a
for most of the
video
party, and she's more
on
liberal than a
this
lot, but in
debate.
some ways you probably agree with it in terms of her resistance to, like you said, the campaign finance bullshit and lobbying bullshit. And so
Yes.
I just think that they have a track record of not being crazy fucks.
They're okay. Mamdani has literally said that he's going to track that
True,
even
Jack.
if you flee New York as a billionaire, that he's going to track you down and take your money. That's insane.
Donald
If
Trump
you're
said, "I'm going to take your
taxpayer-
money." Donald Trump's
That's
go ahead.
true. Like,
And he just
it's
took
so
it.
funny. We started with.
I didn't like it when he said it either. I'm just pointing out that
Yeah.
you guys can keep going. Oh, Trump bad, Trump bad. Okay, can we just agree that on some things Trump is bad, and can we fucking move on with the actual conversation?
Well, hold on. No, wait. This is very important. Though. This is incredibly important. When we're talking about, first of all, a mayor versus the president, that's a big distinction.
Sure.
Secondly, when we're talking about who to vote for in the midterms, Mamdani's not running in the midterms. He's not somebody who's even
Correct.
going to be able to hold.
But he is an example of a DSA person who was elected. He is the best example we have currently of a DSA person that was elected,
let's talk
and
about
he's
it.
doing
So what's-
stupid shit, and it's
let's
scary
talk
as
about
fuck,
that.
and it's insane.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, right?
I
Yeah,
just
let's
think
do
we should
that, which
wrestle
is
in
what
the
we should have been
weeds on
talking
this,
about for
to
the
be
past 2
honest.
hours,
I'm
but you
not
guys
willing
hate Trump
to-
so bad.
That's just me.
I'm not willing to say that Mamdani going after people who have legal obligations.
Can you
in
please
terms
get
of
closer
tax-
to your mic? I have to turn my volume up, and then
Okay,
everybody blows me out.
turn my volume up. Turn my volume up. Okay, so I'm not willing to say that it's bad for Mamdani to go after people who have a legal tax obligation to the city. Why is that bad?
But they don't have a legal obligation once they leave the
How do you
city.
know that? How do you? Wait, no. There's
Well,
different things
because
that make you tax
because
resident.
I'm one of the people
are-
that left.
No. So it depends on their particular circumstances. There are some things that make you a resident for tax purposes in New York City, and there are other things that have.
just don't think this is
sources
something
Yes,
of
and
we should
he's
be,
tax-
like,
trying to change those
argue on.
to be
It just-
more
He can't change. He can't
ridiculous.
change tax code. That's a governor's.
Yeah, the governor fortunately is going to stop him, but if they had a
You're saying
DSA
he's
governor
going after
aligned, it
people-
would be bad for you guys.
You're saying he's
For
going
me.
after people who, in his mind, have a tax
Stop
obligation
it,
to the
Jack,
city. You're
I-
saying
it
that
took
he
me a
wants
second
to
to
do
realize what that
or He
was.
is doing it.
He is attempting that. He has
Okay,
said
he's
that he is going to do that.
If he's attempting that, it depends on whether I think that they do or ought to have a tax obligation to the city of New York. And that'll depend on the circumstances of the particular billionaire. If they still own property in New York City, you wouldn't think it's like wrong for them to like extract taxes related to that, right? If they earn money in
Well,
New York
property.
City,
Oh, no,
you
hold
wouldn't-
on. Let's. Okay, we can clearly define that. So if I own property there, which thank God I do not, then and I would pay property taxes. If someone,
What if you earn money in the city? What if you have an office in the city and you earn money in the city?
If I have an office there, and I don't earn, what if I have an office there that I just meet people in, and all my business is
No,
actually conducted in
I
Florida?
caught it. I caught it.
Do I owe
Ye-
New York
yes.
taxes?
So that's gonna.
By the way, they already
oftentimes
charge
there's-
you taxes for
Oftentimes, you can be liable.
I haven't
for
heard
double
that saying in a
taxation, just
long
so you're
time, to be
aware,
honest.
but in general,
know.
there's specific.
know.
Yeah. So whatever the code, I'm not a tax law expert. I'm just going to put it
Sure.
out there. But whatever the thing is, it's going to turn on like the legal issue itself. I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with applying taxation when there's a nexus to New York City economic activity. And ditto, if you like spending like more than half a year in New York City, and they want to, as a a matter of statutory law, treat you as a resident for tax purposes, I
that's-
don't really see the problem with that either.
That's actually an insane thing that New York City does. If I go there and I make money there for one day, I owe taxes on that one day.
Louisiana
not
does. Wait,
different than many
Louisiana
other
does the same
places.
thing. By the way, Louisiana does the same thing. If there's any kind
Yeah.
of economic activity that happens within the particular
Ohio does the same
parishes,
thing.
like if you have any kind of like, let's say you go out to do a construction job and you buy something, from a vendor or something like that, there are certain tax laws that like you'll have to pay for that parish's taxes. It's not unique to New York.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, New York goes as far as like athletes that go there and get paid. They
You're in
do
the
the
city
they
limits.
perform there and they
Yeah,
actually
you're in
get
the city limits.
Huh?
You're in the city limits. You're earning money in New York City, and they have the right to charge you taxes.
Yeah, I've been a little bit.
Sure.
I haven't talked. I haven't.
But they're
I've
not a
been in
resident.
James's chat in a while, but yeah.
You
I
can
know
be
he's the one
taxed
who
even if you're
usually
not a
says that.
resident. based
I
on
forgot
how-
about James.
Yes, that's
too,
a
for a second,
problem. Is
until you mentioned it.
income tax for someone that's not a resident is a problem. I think California is very much the same. California's I still to this day get letters from the franchise tax board telling me that I owe
You owe
taxes on a
money.
building that's a parking lot right now. This is how it's fucking insane.
So it's not then unique to
Okay.
Mandani from the way that I'm hearing this.
No,
then.
it's but he's taking it a step further. He's literally saying that even if
It's
you
not
leave and you take
socialist
all your
shit. This
business
is
and
like-
you do no business, he's still because you owe New York.
Yeah, like
I
this
don't think
isn't
he can do it.
communism, this
I'm
is
going to
just
say that
bad
I
tax
don't think he
policy.
can do it. I don't think he can do it. I will say that. I don't think he can do it. But the idea that he wants to do it should scare fucking everybody.
Wait, what's socialist
Hey.
about this? About like double taxation or like weird rules about source-based taxation?
Yeah,
Is this communism?
I'm pretty much I dislike a lot of taxation. We could get into a whole discussion about that, but it's not
Oh.
relevant.
Well,
here,
and
really.
to our point earlier about who to vote for the midterms, guess
Tariffs.
who's trying to get rid of tariffs? Democrats. Democrats want to get rid of Trump's tariffs right now, which, by the way, Donald Trump is still pushing. Just because the one got overturned, the IEPA ones, he's still going after them in other forms. So which party is going to actually remove
Tariffs on a
taxes from
nation are
you?
Different.
It's going to
Yeah,
be Democrats.
If a nation is tariffing us, we should tariff them back. It's just the way I think
Yeah,
it
but,
is.
but,
should be.
we were
However,
tariffing places that didn't tariff us. We were tariffing like islands filled with penguins. We were tariffing like Vietnam. We were tariffing our allies. We were
Also, I feel
tariffing
like Jack
places where
James
we had
kind of
tough
hides out in his own
negotiated trade
corners
deals.
too.
Like,
He doesn't really.
It was an
commingle.
insane situation, and it was clearly illegal under IEPA.
Don't vote in the insane Democrats and listen to
Some
crime
of
and
them
poverty.
were
Says the person who voted for the convicted felon.
I think we're
Amen.
yeah, like I don't know, like what's the worst?
the whole
policy
DSA
that you
thing,
think-
and we keep coming back
Yeah.
to Trump, but I don't
Go
give a
DSA,
shit. I
go
mean,
DSA.
again, there's many things that Trump does a bad job, and I've been critical of Trump before, but you guys just keep
James
taking
don't
it back,
stand
and you're
for
not
Americans?
wanting to look at the clear picture of what DSA really means
Okay.
for the U.S. And I like
Usually
I don't
people don't
I
point to this
don't
tax
think
shit.
or-
I'm a Canadian.
I think
Oh, okay.
I
You
don't
ain't got
think
much
that
of a
there's
voice
a
then anyways,
net
not- okay.
positive there for anything DSA, and I think that you would
Oh,
be
wanna
better
vote?
off
Makes sense. That's the problem, though.
voting
Sometimes you
instead
got
of
to
voting for
interact.
an
You want to grow at
incumbent,
least, but maybe he doesn't want to. which is
voting for a
probably fine.
Republican.
Yeah, but great. I think the problem that at least from our perspective is that we keep naming things that Donald Trump that even we agree on, great, like corruption. That's some
Sure.
things that this administration you agree has done wrong.
Is Trump running?
Yeah, he's
in
people
power.
that he's endorsed.
Is
that
he
are going to
running?
vote for.
Not
Trump is on the ballot.
midterms. Not in this midterm.
I
But
mean,
like
Trump.
everybody.
I mean, Trump is a proxy for the midterms, right?
Yes.
The
Yes,
president's
correct.
job approval is on the ballot essentially.
Could
for
you
midterms.
say Madani is a proxy for the midterms too? Like his position and his like
Not as much. No.
well, so now it's on a sliding scale. But principally,
he's
you
the
say it's
mayor
the
of New
same,
York.
right?
No,
It's-
because
I really wish my
he's the
camera
mayor-
was live.
He's the mayor of a particular city, and the races of like the congressional races don't relate to his.
Yeah,
eastern power.
I
Maybe
mean,
you could say that-
Mandami's just an example. I'm going to go with, I'm
Yeah.
going to, Pisco, Mandami's
Here-
just an example. He's not running. He's not really, the only relevance he has is as an example, right? Like I'm not saying that he's going to go.
Yeah, but he hasn't instituted
set
Sharia
the
law.
Yeah, some people don't wanna
What-
grow
Here,
school,
what
Jay.
do you-
What's the scariest thing he's done?
I'm sorry?
What's the scariest
I
thing he's
want
done?
more states to look like California.
The biggest thing that I did, and look, I honestly don't pay attention to his day-to-day agenda or anything, but my concern with Mandami is the going after the rich specifically, because we keep redefining what rich is.
Not the
Going
rich.
after and these the ideas of these what did you guys call them earlier, like state-run grocery
Yeah, so is
stores or
every
whatever?
other Republican state.
I think those are actually
Jay.
that actually is an interesting dichotomy for me, because
Look at property
I
taxes.
would honestly think that like Walmart or somebody would be pissed off about it, but really it's the small bodegas and all of the little shops that are getting really angry about this, and it's probably because to survive in New York they have to overcharge quite a bit.
Everyone is rich when you have nothing.
Versus anywhere else. I mean, I know what chips cost, and I know what I pay for them when I'm in the city, and
Like
so-
potato chips.
huh?
Like potato chips.
Yeah, like potato chips or beef jerky or fucking whatever. I know what that shit
Yeah,
costs
everything's more
everywhere else in the
expensive
world,
there.
That'd be far too me.
and it's expensive as shit.
We'll
so-
talk about it afterwards.
Uh,
For sure.
It's
We'll do a
interesting
post-debate
to
review.
me, and maybe you guys can help me understand
That
this,
might be kind of mild.
how the idea of a state-run or state-affiliated or whatever grocery store, I don't think it hurts Walmart or Kroger's or King Supers or whatever. I think it really hurts the little neighborhood bodegas who can't do anything about their rent, who can't do anything about what it costs them to bring in goods into the
How do those state-run
city.
or city-run rather grocery stores?
Yeah, I
work?
mean, the
Explain
thing
to me
about
how
the-
this is good.
The thing about bodegas in the city, right, is one of the things that the Mamdani and their city-run grocery stores is you're not allowed to sell alcohol, you're not allowed to sell lottery tickets. So for a lot of like main commercial goods, you're gonna go to a supermarket or a grocery store anyway to buy. You're not really going to a bodega to buy, your cleaning material or a cereal box because they already overcharge for that anyway. You're really going to get your
They
soda, your
overcharge,
candy, your lottery tickets, your booze, or your
No,
Coca-Cola.
I reject
So-
that. Look, I had an apartment in Manhattan, and I would literally go down to the bodega down the street. I bought everything.
I
there
mean,
from
you can't.
toilet
I mean,
paper
great.
to
Let's be honest.
fucking,
You're
it's
not.
just-
You're
you're
not
paying a
barely
premium for that.
surviving. Yeah, you have money to do that. A lot of people don't have the money that they can afford to go to a bodega and pay $1 or $2 extra for these things. So I think that's the hope here for Mamdani, and whether it works or not is one thing. But I think that's what I was trying to get at with my point was that you're worried about his tax policy. You're worried about things that he's doing with grocery stores, and then
No, I'm not
the
worried about it. I
other
think it's
side-
insane.
all right, you think that's insane, but then we're talking about like legitimate corruption on the other side, and then you're coming back with why these certain
I
policies
don't care.
that aren't
Look,
illegal.
the whole
It's just like-
the whole corruption thing. Sure, they're corrupt people, both sides. Trump has done some things that may or may not end up being corrupt. I don't
but
know.
We're talking about
Here.
candidates in the DSA who are about being against corruption and being against this
Yes,
awful
people say
tariff
shit
policy.
that they don't mean all the time when they're running for politics. The policies that they endorse are what I'm concerned with. And when you're endorsing literal communism, that's a problem for me.
But how
So it
is
looks
somebody
like-
in New York City, like, hold on, Vince, but if someone in New York City, you don't live in New York City, but they're a House member in New York City who's against corruption and tariffs, how would somebody being would affect where you live? And I don't know where you live, but whatever state you live in, how
I'm in
would
Tennessee
somebody
right now.
how would somebody be affecting where you live in Tennessee, your state policy from New York, by voting on a federal bill that bans insider stock trading or
Well,
will ban
Do
tariffs?
you know how you
is that
eat an
affecting-
elephant?
One bite at a time.
That's right.
Ass-
And that's
asshole
exactly the
first?
problem with the fucking DSA shit. Yeah. Oh, it's just the guys in the local community in the neighborhood. The next thing you know, they're senators or congressmen. They're fucking making
So-
policy for the rest of the country. And I don't want that. Nip it in
But the policy
Grid-
you agree with. You agree with the
I don't
anti-corruption?
agree with
You
so
agree
Grid-
with
I don't
anti-corruption
agree with
policy.
Hey,
Congress.
I just want to mention this real
Grid,
quick.
what do you think the DSA platform is? Do you know what the DSA platform is, Grid?
Democratic socialism. So there's
I've
socialism.
looked it up right now, Jack. I'm about
involved.
to
No, like, do
mention
you
this.
know what the
Very
policy platform is? Do you know what the policy platform is, right?
I don't know. I
I'm
couldn't.
about
name
to
you
bring up something
5
here.
things off
Here,
of it now.
I'll go through some of it. So Medicare for all or universal health care, how
Yeah, torch that. Don't want that.
public housing,
Definitely
uh,
don't want that.
and mass incarceration and police immunity.
I'm
the
sorry.
Green
What
New
was
Deal,
that?
end mass incarceration and
police immunity.
Oh, I got you.
police immunity. The Green New Deal, free Palestine, end blockades and embargoes and sanctions. This one you're definitely not going to agree with, but abolish ICE.
Yeah, I disagree with
and
literally
then-
almost everything on that list.
I just want can I just as a point of clarification too. I just looked it up because I was curious. I'm like I haven't looked too much into this citywide ran grocery store. First of all, there's 2 things to note on this. Usually it's a partnership with the private businesses. Secondly, I found out something quite interesting. Apparently, Republicans are now communist. In Baldwin, Florida, there was a similar program ran in Baldwin,
No!
Florida. It actually operated for 5 years, albeit it did close down because of a Walmart down the street. But Baldwin, Florida is a red
Damn Walmart.
city. It's a red city, and they ran a very similar platform to what Mamdani is
Hold
proposing.
on. Was it a state funded or was it a co-op?
It was a city government run enterprise similar to what Mamdani's offering. It's a partnership. What they're essentially doing is covering rent. They're covering the building the insurance, I think. Basically a lot of the overhead they're covering, but they're subsidizing that for the private business it's basically housing.
I do just want to throw this out here, just because
I have no hope for my conservatives at the moment. Let me just throw this out here real quick on this point. Like you just said, it closed down because of Walmart moved in. That kind of proves the point that the capitalistic way is the superior way, and they're more efficient. They're working
I would have gotten to that. I was just kind of
sure. Okay,
I would have gotten
Go
to
ahead.
that. So here in like where I'm at now, I'm the town I live in, when I was born here 50 odd years ago, it was a much smaller town, and we've had a co-op here the whole time. It is not subsidized by the local government, but it is subsidized by the local farmers so that they can buy things in bulk and have a lower price. And I much prefer private individuals, private entities doing that than anything involved with government, period.
But again,
Well-
go ahead.
No, I don't know, man. This whole fucking shit seems so trivial compared to what we're seeing right now out of MAGA.
Yeah, because
I
you're
get
just
it,
you're
scared of
stuck
communism.
on one point, and I'm looking at I don't even like that's
Dude,
honestly Trump's out of office in 2 years. I mean you can keep being mad about it, but that's fine.
The funny
Yeah,
part
but,
about
like-
this Baldwin market too is as I'm reading through this local article, it's saying that it was not.
send me that, would you? Because I
Yeah,
really want to.
I'll send it to you in a minute. It says
Thank
the
you.
opening of Baldwin Market in 2019 was not only celebrated by its residents. So this is another example where Republicans are like, "Yeah, we love this idea." Oh wait, it's a Arabic name and it's in Democrat City. Boo! Even though we just cheered for it 2 minutes ago, it's hysterical, the hypocrisy.
if Trump made it, wait, I want to ask the question
Wait, what?
directly. If Trump made a government-run grocery store, said it was the best, going to be better than everything, anything.
No, I wouldn't.
and he
I
put it in
wouldn't get
Washington-
behind that.
No, even if
I
it was
wouldn't
Trump
agree.
branded.
Nope.
I don't
no.
believe you. I don't fucking believe you too.
It doesn't matter
If he
what you
sold it
Hold
up-
on, hold on. Let me tell you something. Like Trump or not Trump, Gibbs and Grid
I
could both
consider
attest to
Trump
this,
a fucking
that
Democrat.
I base everything
What
off
are you
of
talking about?
policy, off of principle. Everything I base my arguments off of principle. Gibbs knows that. Grid knows that. When I come at things that from a principle. So if I say no, I wouldn't agree with it. Even if Trump did it, it means I won't agree with it. Even if Trump did it.
Okay.
Well, I'll tell you what would make me decide is if they were buying Texas beef, specifically Gibbs brand beef for their stores, then I I'd probably get behind.
Oh
it.
yeah, and like when they're deregulating the agriculture like industry because they have some donors and shit that tell them to do that.
Yeah, well, because
know
they
all
do
about
need to
that.
do that. They do need to do
You
that.
would you would
Thank
know
God.
yeah.
Thank God they did
Thank
that.
God. Thank God.
Yeah.
And they're doing it because
I understand you don't
they're
you don't
donating to
like it, but it's
Trump's-
okay. Look, I mean, I don't know about Gibbs. I like a lot of things Trump says, but Trump's a Democrat. Like, what are you guys talking about? Like, you guys act like he's like far right. If
What does that
if
even
you
mean?
think Trump is
He's
far
a
right, you're going to
Democrat.
be
What are you
really
talking
scared
about?
in the future when
Wait,
actual
wait,
far right
wait.
people get in power.
What do you mean he's a Democrat? The dude does all the Trump, like all the Republican policies. He's defunding entitlements. He's doing massive tax cuts. He's in favor of conservative social policy. This is all very conservative. And it's coped to be
Yeah,
like
it's not
he's a
conservative
Democrat.
enough.
Populist at best. Like he's
Hold
a
on.
populist at best. He's not a conservative.
He absolutely
Populist,
is
I could agree
conservative.
with
You
you.
guys are fucking coping. This is like some talking point.
I've
that,
said
like,
this for I've said this.
this
for
is
like,
used to like convince
years.
Tulsi
Hold on,
voters,
is-
right? This is some shit you say on Joe Rogan, but you're not on Joe Rogan. This is not going to fly with us.
I,
But,
I don't
so
go. I don't get
it-
on Joe Rogan. I'm sorry. I
Is
appreciate
the Heritage Foundation great? Is the Heritage Foundation not right wing?
They're communists, bro. What are you talking about?
I like the Heritage Foundation for the most part. Yeah.
Okay, you do realize that at least in his first term, or he's still working through this term, obviously, right? Their national mandate for the president, Trump did 65% about of the national mandate from the Heritage Foundation. You do realize that, right?
Yeah, he should have done more.
Yeah, but you're saying he's not conservative. You're saying he's a Democrat. That was ridiculous,
He-
right?
All right, let's. Why do you think he's that conservative?
Because
Well,
wait,
name
you say
name a
that
liberal
conservative-
policy of his.
Yeah, what's the liberal policies?
What's a liberal policy of Trump's? That's a good one. I haven't actually thought about his policies being liberal.
Bro, get the fuck out of
Bro,
here. But he's
come
a
on.
Democrat. He's a Democrat.
He is a fucking Democrat. He was a Democrat for a long time.
I'll give you one. First Step Act.
I got one. How about the Argentina beef deal? That's democratic. I mean,
Dude, you're
It was, but it was successful.
you're so
though.
corrupt.
Fuck.
Gibbs,
I
you're
know
part
you
of this,
hated
by the
it,
way.
but it was successful. I know you hated it, but it worked.
Hey,
Dude,
by the
you
way,
guys are-
I just wanted to mention this too as a fun little a fun fact because I do have Asperger's and I tend to like dive into something. Just a fun
You're
fact:
good.
St. Paul, Kansas, also has a city owned and operated store. They're Republican leaning. Erie, Kansas, also Republican leaning. Baldwin, Florida, which we just mentioned. Cody, Nebraska. Little River, Kansas. Axtell, Kansas. Atlanta, Georgia. That one's Democratic. So there are several
Obviously.
several
got
Republican
me.
cities that have city-owned grocery stores. So fun fact. Just
City
found that out.
owned or city like help?
City-owned and operated.
That's crazy. I'll have to look into that.
Yep.
I don't
was
like
gonna say,
that.
I
At
didn't
all.
even
I don't
know
like
that.
that idea at all.
Gibbs, are you getting any like subsidy from the federal government?
I like, bro. If you haven't heard my ag take, I fucking hate subsidies in like ag so badly. It's like the biggest thing that you can do to fuck up.
But
the
are
ag
you getting
industry.
any? Are you
I'm
getting any-
currently not. No.
Oh, okay.
I
Also-
don't either.
And also, again,
Alright.
piece,
I
like I
could.
said, I'm
Yeah.
not getting anything. In fact, I was going to try to apply. This is a few years ago to do the organic beef stuff because, like if you're grass fed and you're doing like a pasture kind of system, you're pretty close to organic anyway. And like it's so many hoops. It's just so many hoops to jump through. And then like you get it, and it's like way overregulated. And then there's not really that much of a benefit. Like because like what I sell mainly like Mexican meat markets. Okay, what are they going to put organic Gibbs beef on it? No, they're not going to do that shit. Like so, there's no point because I don't know. It's really just a racket. It's a racket. Like and they're in on it. And it's another thing that hurts the beef industry along with
The
livestock
problem
in
with-
general.
The problem with the farm subsidies, at least around here, is like basically anybody with more than about 5 acres can get one, and they'll like you can
That's-
apply to, and they'll build
That's
you a
not
barn.
totally true.
They'll pay X amount of dollars towards
Yeah,
equipment.
but then
and it's
then
just
when you
so
do that,
it's
they
so
require you to do
misused.
certain things, right? So like okay, I'll give you an example. Why another reason I was subsidy, right? So they wanted me to build to get a certain subsidy. I would have had to build certain like types of building for like onloading and offloading cattle, right? In this,
Sure.
this is a few years ago, right? And when I started to do that, I was like, oh, okay, we'll do this. This isn't too bad. We need to upgrade it anyway. Well, then I started looking into it. Well, yeah, they're going to give you a subsidy for this, but then that's going to raise your property value, and then so then you're going to get fucked by the taxes on the property value side, and then they're going to go like, oh, well, they might even come over and classify this as a whole different kind of building, and so then you might get screwed on certain like agricultural zoning for the area, and so it just turns into this clusterfuck, and it's just like the government just needs to get out of ag. Like I don't know.
Well, you know,
Yeah,
one
I
way
mean-
we could help farmers is by getting out of the Gulf. You know, that's not helping with fertilizer prices. So that's one way. Again, another reason why we should put Democrats in place, because they would end the war in Iran, and we would end up theoretically with it in the war in Iran, and we would see fertilizer prices come down. So they're helping the farmers. They're lowering your taxes. They're bringing you a health care. I mean, if you're a moderate Republican,
It
you should
also
be
helped
voting
with gas
Democrat.
prices.
Gas prices are going down. Listen, if you're a moderate Republican, you should be getting out and voting for all of your Democratic. I know, listen, guys, I was a former conservative. I understand what it's like. It's like coming out of the closet. I have conservative parents. It's okay. You can vote Democrat.
Not okay.
It's okay. Listen,
The problem with-
I know it's tough. I promise you it's okay.
Okay.
Just check the box.
okay to be
Just check the
gay.
box.
I don't know about the subsidies that you're talking about, Gibbs, but here they're abused a lot. Like I literally listened to a guy the other day talk about how he was going to use the subsidy to pay for his whatever the skid steer bobcat thing. It's like 50 grand, and he was the city's or not city, but the county.
I'm not arguing there's not corruption within the subsidies, and I'm not
Nah,
sure
it's
that
fucking
people
corrupt
that
as
are doing.
shit.
I don't know,
the other thing
Amphibious.
is,
I
like,
mean,
I want to point out,
each to their own, I
I think this
suppose.
is actually the piece of this chat.
I'm not gonna lie. I did not like the.
People on the left that like don't really understand.
I didn't
ag.
like
This is
the,
an argument I get a lot about when they go, "Oh, Gibbs hates corn subsidies,
checks or whatever
he
it
just doesn't
was.
get one himself." That's
not
not
tariff
what I'm
checks,
talking
stimulus
about, right?
checks.
And I'll just use the corn.
But I took
as,
that
like, as an
shit. I ain't gonna
example
lie.
of a greater problem.
If they offered it,
Because
I'm
you
gonna
can put
take
the
it.
soy, you can put the
Is what
soy
it
ones.
is.
So what happens is they artificially inflate the
Yeah,
corn.
no, I got you, Jack.
Okay.
Yeah, you gotta
And
break up
everybody
the
switches from
tension
grain
a
to
little bit.
corn, and corn is hard on the ground. Like it's very a nitrogen heavy item, and so it usually takes 3 years. You need to do crop rotation, right? So when you inflate this market, it raises up, and suddenly you have a worldwide corn crash. What happens then is now you can't go back to these other products that you were growing, and so you lost the grain-fed beef, you lost the corn-fed beef because the market has crashed, right? You can't restart growing for 3 years. Now that leaves the only grass-fed beef being around, and that's going to cause your price to
Make
just
Glenn
the
mute.
interconnected food web, right? And this is an example that happens time and time again in ag, where you see the soy
That's
industry,
funny.
right? And so this is why I don't like subsidies, because then it actually makes food more expensive, right? Because hey, if you have grass-fed, corn-fed, and grain-fed beef competing with each other, your overall price will be lower. But now we only have one mainly right now, and the other two are starting to recover. But this drove beef prices up dramatically. So it's not that I don't get a subsidy; it's that like they don't understand the further down the line outcomes a lot of times.
Yeah, I agree.
But us,
I
we're
think,
about here. We're about here at the end. Let's go through
Yeah.
closing statements here. We'll start with Castle here, and then we'll knock this out.
Yeah, so I think I tried to come into this conversation trying to take like a center view of instances where it would make sense. But then the Republicans had to come in and completely change my whole strategy here. And it just made it more obvious to why
Dude, touring
why
news.
Pisco,
God, I haven't talked to Torian in
why even
forever.
Vigi, and then
He was a
even
good friend of
I
mine too.
are
One of my
looking
first
at
ever, the first ever person
insane
on my panels,
corruption
man.
going on the other side
Damn.
and saying
I gotta
it's
talk to him.
actually
I haven't talked to
shocking.
that dude in
It
a
seems like
while.
there's
He
almost
went
two
full
different
hippie and
types
like
of
went off the
media
map.
ecosystems going on because it's either
Yeah,
you
man,
guys
he
haven't
was
heard
awesome.
of anything that's going
Dude
on,
brought like a
or
Jack
when
Daniels
corruption
bottle. I'll
does
talk
happen,
later.
well, the DSA is scared.
I'm gonna have
and
to
they're
like
doing grocery
rip
sources,
somebody
and so
else's VOD from
it's
this.
hard to come up with a reason why I would
Because
feel
I've been
any more
talking over
confident
everybody.
in voting for a Republican over a Dem socialist at this point.
I gotta get better with that.
Obviously, I tried to do that at the beginning with certain hypotheticals, but the reality is we're so politicized and so polarized that we live in a country now where every election is going to be close. I know that you could throw out the worst Republican, the worst Democrat in an election. It's really going to be close every time at this point because of how polarized we are and how entrenched the two sides are. And so at the end of the day, it's going to be hard to convince either
We'll
side.
see how it sounds
And
in
that's why I
post.
do think it's important still for the Democrats and even in the hard left or the Democratic Socialists to really focus on those key issues like economics,
Pretty much.
like affordability, and to stay away from things like abolishing prisons and abolishing crime because I think there is a lot of middle ground to be made. There are people who voted for Obama twice who then voted for Trump twice. There are people who voted for Trump who are voting for DSA candidates. And it's because a lot of voters want change in this country. And when the Republicans aren't giving the voters what they asked for with this Trump administration, they're going to look for alternatives, and they're going to keep looking for those who keep talking about these issues, even if they're the most extreme.
I might need to turn
So
my,
if
my
Republicans
mic down
want to
just a
just
little bit.
complain about democratic
That's what I need to do.
socialists instead of offering change that they were voted to enact, then the Republicans and people on this panel who are pro-conservative are going to be shocked when a democratic socialist does start to gain more traction and gain more power in this country, and they won't have anybody to blame but themselves.
really?
The Democrats made this mistake with Trump. It's going to come
I
around
have it
and
hitting
start
yellow,
to affect the other
but-
side if they don't get their act together. And we're starting to see that already with this administration. I mean, Trump's approval is awful. The midterms are probably going to go pretty poorly for them. And so unless they start enacting and
Just increase it a
electing
little bit.
moderates on their side, I think you're going to see a
You can
real
also lower
reckoning
mine.
for Republicans. That's going to lead to more DSA candidates gaining traction. And if they do get into power and start making the change that people want, I don't know if it's going to be reversible for the Republican side. So I think that's the horror story, and that's the nightmare that moderate and centrist Dems had to deal with Trump.
Working
And
on
I
it,
think
Jack.
that's
Try and
something
make
that
it sound
Republicans
better,
have to
you know?
worry about. So at the end of the day,
Just like in the, I have
think the
what y'all see
the
on
Dems
the
on this
panel.
did a better
It's
job of
simple. There's a
convincing
lot
me
of
that
black
they
space,
were
and I
right.
don't like it, but it
All
looks
right, thank you so
cleaner
much. Let's go
in a way.
Go.
So
Yeah, I mean, like
It's just better to work
kind
it
of a
like that.
joke, man. I mean, this country is being attacked by the corrupt authoritarian ways
Fair.
of the Republican Party, which is a wholly owned subsidiary now, effectively, of
Fair.
Trump. And the amount of graft, the amount of just blatant, in your face corruption and assaults on our democracy is so much that we can just come up off of the dome with like 5-6 examples of specific corrupt crypto deals or insider trading or conflicted interests on contract stuff, and there's nothing in response other than like the groceries are going to be owned, like one grocery store, 5 grocery stores in New York City, or they're going to subject billionaires to double taxation in New York. It's like, is this the big fear? Is that what we're all supposed to be shaking in our boots about? The DSA has like some bad ideas, no doubt about it, but like by and large, they would be a vote to end the corruption. They would be a vote against the Iran war. They would be a vote in favor of punishing a lot of these people that need to be punished. I mean, it is in the interest of our democracy for people to be behind bars, including but not limited this alleged President Trump. And so given that, like, what are we scared of? We're scared of Fast and Furious scheme. We're scared of like the trans people showing up to like the schools and shit. The examples that were given by the other side of like the fear, where it's just laughable. They speak for themselves. And so given
Yeah.
that reality,
No, I got you.
of course you should vote for DSA over Republican. It's not even close. Maybe at a later time or during the primaries we can have fights about these like kooky characters and these like individuals who are unelectable or whatever, but not when it's against the Republican. Never against the Republican. And if you don't even accept that many of these instances of MAGA corruption are even corrupt or authoritarian, then you'll never understand why people will vote for the DSA over them.
All right, thank you so much. Let's go to Glenn.
Yeah. Let me just say this. Like, if you're thinking about voting for a DSA candidate, please read what they believe. Stop getting sold on this like socialism, rainbow colored free stuff bullshit in a wrapper, okay? Because the DSA wants to move America beyond capitalism, right? They want to support ownership. They want public ownership for major industries, universal government funded healthcare. They want to control rent. They want to be able to guarantee federal jobs, 32-hour work weeks, right? Abolishing ICE, right? They even want to abolish the Senate. Right? That's not reforming America. That's fundamentally restructuring it. That's like dropping a fucking nuke on it. Here's a question that nobody wants to ask. Who pays for all this? How much more control does a government have to gain before you've traded economic freedom for government dependency? How much? Want affordable health care? You can fight for that. But none of that requires abolishing capitalism. So if you want to be sold on this free shit, remember, it's going to come at a cost. And somebody's going to pay for it. You want to give up your liberties? You want to give up your freedom for government-controlled stuff? Or do you want to still have your freedoms? That's all I'm gonna say.
All right, thank you so much. Let's go to Vigilante.
Yeah, so realistically speaking, the Democrats and the DSA have a lot of policy wants in common. We both want better access to healthcare. We both want better access to college. We both want better access to housing. We realistically, the base wants to limit or end corruption. These are all policies that the DSA is pushing for. There are some bad policies. I'll grant that. There are things that even I, somebody who is very closely aligned politically with the DSA, don't even support. I think the idea of abolishing police is kind of retarded. I think the idea of abolishing ICE is kind of retarded. I think the idea of abolishing prisons is kind of retarded. Like there are things that they want to do that we should push back on them and say like, hey, we probably shouldn't do these things.
Sure,
but like
Patriot.
generally speaking, the policies that they want are the same policies that most moderate, even moderate Democrats want. Like one of the things that people often forget is like even a lot of moderate Democrats have pushed for universal health care at some point or another. The Hillary Clinton back in like the early 90s when she was in Congress pushed for a universal health care bill. Like we want the same things. Generally speaking, the DSA just goes a little bit farther. It needs to be pushed back on a little bit about some of the more extreme policies that they have. And it's a lot easier to manage that than going and voting Republican and having the MAGA types be the people that you have to try to push back on, when a lot of like what the more extreme Republicans want to do is things like get rid of the Voting Rights Act, which they've already borderline gutted at this point. Things like ban abortion, things like get rid of the Civil Rights Act, and because like you've got people like Clarence Thomas that are saying we should get rid of the Civil Rights Act. Like there's two completely different dichotomies here. One side wants to push the country a little bit farther and push the country a little bit better, and maybe wants to go a little bit too far in certain aspects, and the other side wants to completely regress us all the way back to the 1960s and 1940s, if not a little bit farther than that. And you can't sit here and say that it would be a good idea to vote for the side that wants to regress us to push back against the people who want to push progress forward.
All right, so let's go to Grid.
Oh, okay. I thought I was going to get last word. All right. Well, as I sit here, I had to reflect over the course of this debate, and all I really heard was Trump bad. Vote for these jackasses over here wearing DSA on their shirt. This is a problem with that. You guys completely fucking ignored that you're not voting for Trump. You're voting for actual Republicans that mean well. Brandon Herrera is not a MAGA Republican down in Texas. He's going to do great fucking work down there. And you guys are fucking idiots because you don't understand it. You don't actually understand anything but hate Trump. This is the dumbest. This is honestly the dumbest debate I've sat in a long time. I couldn't even actually respect it that much because all I heard was Trump bad, Trump corrupt, and therefore all Republicans are corrupt. Well, fuck that. That's stupid. You guys did not convince me to vote for a DSA. All you guys did was say, oh, they want no corruption. Yeah. Most Republicans really hate corruption. We fucking hate it. We're the law and order. We are the party of law and order, not you guys. You guys are not the party of law and order. There are more Democrats locked up than any other fucking one. So don't give me that bullshit. But the best part of this whole thing was the massive amount of cope and just seething around how I don't give a shit about a bunch of weird factoids. Although it did force me to think about the crypto bullshit from like 3 years ago, but that's okay. I like it. It's wonderful that we can have these talks. It just didn't have jack shit to do with the argument. The argument is should you vote for DSA or should you vote for Republicans? The choice is obviously clear. Republicans, actual American values, not this hippie bullshit DSA communism shit. We don't want that. Nobody actually wants it. Even every single one of you guys have said, maybe they go too far. Maybe they don't do things I like. Yeah, put those guys in power. That's how you get Hitler. It's exactly how they got Hitler. You dumb fucks.
All right. Thank you so much. And last but not least, Mr. Wilson.
Yep. Give me 1 second. All right, so let's talk about this real quick. Government ran healthcare. We got Trump RX. Government owned. Oh, we got Intel stocks and TikTok stocks galore. Who pays for all of this? You know, that's a great question. I wonder who pays for the Trump DC projects, the revamping of the Trump Qatari jet. Oh, and free, by the way, free. Did you know that if you sign up for a Trump child account, they'll give you $1,000 into a stock investment account? Now, by the way, you might say, well, that's good, except the realization of like Dell donating to that and getting a kickback via the Trump administration. That's okay. Not voting for Trump. Now, that's an interesting point, except Mike Johnson explicitly said, verbatim, quote for quote, Trump is on the ballot. So I think it's quite clear that Trump is on the ballot. And I think at this point, it is worth noting because one thing that Republicans have been feckless on and ineffective and spineless on is holding Trump's power back. They refuse to rein in war powers resolution. They want to tax you more via tariffs. They want to make sure that there's no congressional investigations to allow corruption to go through. So if there's one clear winner when it comes to 2028 or 2026 rather, and 2028, but 2026, it's easy. And it's one word. It's not the DSA, like the fear that's being made, because not one single Democrat is running on the DSA platform right now. I'd challenge you to look for it. They're not going to. It is the Democrats. They are the right choice. They'll lower your taxes. They'll lower your costs of fertilizers. They'll bring back American jobs, and they'll bring back your boys and troops that are your boys and girls in uniform that are overseas. They will rein in Trump and investigate Trump for his blatant and open and obvious corruption. And that's where I'll land.
Oh, thank you so much. I want to thank everybody for being here. Guys, you don't know this was an impromptu panel we threw together. This was very fun. Very good job, everybody. Yeah, I've never wanted to not be the mod for a panel so bad in my life, but well, here we are. I was very something, but it was fun. But thank you all so much. We're going to be written up the Big Hurt on my side. I hope you all have a good rest of your night. Bye, everybody. Y'all be good. Thank you so much again.
Have a good one.
See you guys.
Have a good one, guys. Take
Take
care.
it easy, you guys.
Alrighty then. What a day, y'all. What a time, y'all. That was a good debate. So let's talk about it. It's interesting. So a little background to talk about. We need to get you to watch more Stephen Fry. Listen, I'm not going to be propagandized, Jack. Here's the deal. I have engaged and talked to, and this is kind of the funny, this is why I mentioned the 3-week thing. I went to GridCon 3 weeks ago. Thank you so much for Grid for inviting me to that. It was actually a very fun time. Now, that's why I found it very interesting, because Grid didn't super get involved in the debates. And we've that's why when we were talking about corruption, I was like, man, that's what me and Tyler literally debated at GridCon. And seeing Glenn was the host of GridCon. So it was quite funny to see Glenn, Grid, and the host, Admiral Gibbs, on the same panel. So it was quite interesting in that regard. And I didn't know what to really say, because it's like, listen, I'm going to tell you guys, and I've told Jack this, and I have no problem saying this. I hold a professional standard in this space. That is, we're going to go in the ring. We're going to throw a few punches. Things are going to be an uppercut here and there. But at the end of the day, we're going to shake hands and say, hey, good job. And on to the next one. Right. So and just in general, I don't really have a super aggressive debate style. I tend to have a more entertaining debate style, if you will. I like to be punchy. I like to be concise. I like to make sure that it's easy to understand. One thing that was a problem when it came to Candace Owens, that's okay, Jack. One of the things about Candace Owens I disliked is that, and Rob Noor does this too, is they will list off 15 different characters and expect you, the audience, to know who those characters are. And if you don't know who those characters are, you're kind of like, wait a minute, I still need to go back to the first person you mentioned. Who is this person? What was this? So that's why in the debates, I tend to do a chronological, concise summary of each important point for you to understand. Just like I did in that conclusion where I said, hey, look, okay, government ran healthcare. Okay. Free this, free that. Boom, 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 boom. And you want to name it quick, easy, understand. So from that perspective, I think we did incredibly well. Pisco, and the other thing too is when you're doing debates on a panel with other guests, you want to make sure each person gets their time. Could I sit there and argue with Glenn and Grid all night long? I'm sure I could. And me and Grid have had conversations outside of the debate scene, so to speak, on his show where we just kind of talked about random topics. I think one of the ones we ended up talking about was DEI and things like that. That's not my particular wheelhouse. I don't talk too much about that stuff, but nonetheless. The one thing I could give as an unsolicited advice here is that you can do incredibly well just by understanding certain topics, right? I'm a prick, even I know the read the room. Yeah. The careless Ted Cruz, he stands for nothing. He is nothing. 100% Cole. And I would say, go out, listen, go out, vote for Democrats. And again, I mean, seriously, like the more I listen, I didn't look much into Mamdani's like grocery store thing. I find it, and I'm going to put that in my back pocket now. Okay. I didn't realize Republican cities did this. And this is kind of the crazy thing to me is that Republican cities are doing government ran grocery stores and have been for years. And only when a Muslim or an Arabic person like Mamdani gets into office do they sit there and cry about it. Very telling. We've seen this before, like, right, when it comes to Trump. I still remember you were conservative on Hadrian. Listen, Jack, we don't talk about Bruno, okay? We don't talk about Doghouse and the conservative, okay? That era is over. In fact, I've even changed my business email from the original to now. But listen, I think at the end of the day, if you just know current events, just a modicum of them, you can do so well in these debates. And a lot of these conservatives, I'm not specifically talking about Grid or Glenn, although that it applies here, they don't know current events. And I am deep into it. Like I look it up in my job, my second job. Literally, guys, just so you know what goes into the stew of this show. Okay, Monday through Friday, about at noon, I go and take a lunch break. I have a job, a 9 to 5 job. I come down from my job. I go sit in the parking lot. I record a video. I then try to disperse it out to all 3 platforms, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. I then make sure as the day is going on, I'm keeping in touch with current events, specifically Trump rallies, which, by the way, they don't change. I then go in, take those stories, put them into a storyboard. I then prepare for my Wednesday and Friday show to then come in and give you guys the news of the week. Add in any additional Thursday obligations in which I'm doing a stream for Project Liberal. Add in any kind of events we may attend. Now, I want to say this, and I know you probably guys are like, well, this is boring. I don't care. Okay, that's cool. I actually had an opportunity, so you know where the show is going. I want you guys to know who are invested in this show. We are going places, and big places at that. My goal is that right now it is the midterms. We have the general election in 2028. I got approved, and I won't say who, where, why, because I'm not going to it. They are a great cause. It's a Democratic cause in Texas. But I don't want to put their name into something that I don't want to do that in general. It's not good business practice. But I was given a media pass. Now, I had to apply for it. They did not give it to me, so to speak, in the sense of like, hey, we want you to do this. But I was granted a media pass. My next phase in this journey in the Vince Wilson show is we are going to move into a route in which we will start to go to some more of these Democratic conventions. We are going to try to get more interviews with candidates. I want to try to get my feet on the ground. We are also working on IRL debates. One thing at a time. But the big one that's coming up is in September. I'll be going out to Vegas, and I will be doing a 1v10 against Dinesh D'Souza. That is going to be awesome and exciting. So, as you can see, the channel is growing. I want your support, guys. It's not easy. It's not free. It's none of that either. I'm here to make this a career. I'm here to push the liberal agenda. I know for some of my friends in the chat who may be communist or DSA aligned, this is maybe not the same thing, but my goal here is I want to do more debates, man. I love these debates. I've been in the debate scene for 6 years and I've seen a lot of different debates. So, but anyways, this is why I said, pull headlines for politicians you cared about from the latest news cycle for my suggestion to you. They form opinions and never look into it further. Yeah, 100%. No, and that's the thing, man. Listen, to the debate point, literally, guys, when I do a debate, I sit there and like dig into the topic. Like, because the thing is I want to know what my opponent's argument is, and I want to know the substance of that debate. For example, if we're talking about Trump corruption, I need to know what has my opponent argued on Trump corruption. I also need to know what are some good examples. If you really want to get a zinger, you need to look into certain areas that your opponent has not explored. And that is what happens every single time in my debate, is that the opponent will tend to try to frame the argument in the opening. Not always, but sometimes. They'll try to frame it in a way in which they will say, well, my opponent is going to argue this. It's like, okay, all right. My goal is to get you to frame it incorrectly and then catch you on your toes because you didn't know that I was going to bring an argument that you never heard me make before. Now it's going to get increasingly difficult as I do more and more debates, and that's okay. We'll work around that. But that's a little skill. Yeah, we'll still work with you or conservatives like your mutual fill if you care about people first. And that's exactly it, Jack. At the end of the day, the goal of this show is that I care about people, right? And what I mean by that is that I understand the real life harms that come from Republicans' policies. I understand the real life harms that are coming from, quite frankly, even potentially some of DSA policies. Now, and this is where it's because there's a lot of conversation right now. Oh, there we go. Okay. There's a lot of conversation right now. Is my mic hot? Oh, my camera's not hot. Okay. There's a lot of conversation right now about, on your heels, on your toes implies they're, well, fair. Touche. There's a lot of conversation about the DSA and where they belong. And I think it's incredibly important that we do discuss it. I'm not a fan of the DSA. I want to make that very clear. I'm obviously a liberal. I think we ought to do more conversations around it. But I want to be very clear. I think that the conversation changes, and where a lot of the conversation over the DSA tends to kind of get convoluted is when we start to talk about the primary season versus the general season. Right? Primary season is where you iron those differences out, right? Do we want the DSA candidate or do we want the liberal candidate or progressive candidate, right? Or communist candidate? And that's where we try to differentiate that is in the primary. And then in the general, now we have a different equation. And this is what I mentioned earlier. When we talk about the general election, we have to consider a host of factors. Because I do agree that generally speaking, the DSA platform is not a great platform. However, if we're in a situation like we are in today, where the DSA doesn't have a strong foothold currently in Congress, in the halls of Congress, we're left with a very weird conundrum. Do we vote for the DSA candidate or do we vote for the MAGA candidate? That's a very, that, you know, in this case, it's based upon a whole host of assessments. You could argue currently, more likely than not, you could probably get away with voting for a DSA candidate. Now, I caution that for my liberal friends, because obviously you give a little, you give a little, you give a little, and eventually it's all DSA. So it's an equation. You don't have to go out there. You don't have to, and I tell people this all the time, you don't have to door knock. You don't have to, go out and phone bank. It's probably worth at least voting. Now, I want to be very clear. I think El Said, and I've kind of mentioned this, and I'll mention it again. I have no problem doing so. I think El Said is very unique in that I think he used Hassan for the youth vote, although his policy positions are more progressive than they are socialist. But, and I think based upon what I'm seeing is now he's starting to kind of break away-ish from Hassan. And I think we're seeing a almost one for one of what we saw with AOC. AOC did this. She used Hassan to get propelled into the halls of Congress, moderated out, and then ended up kind of now semi-quasi, condemning Hassan. Now, granted, it's been minuscule in that, but she's moderated, right? And I think that's kind of why when you make that calculation, you have to look at El Said and go, okay, what are your policy positions? What are the vibes I'm getting? And the vibes I'm getting, to be honest with you, is that El Said is not real, genuinely, like not a genuine character. But now we're in a position of, okay, I got a not a very genuine character who's probably just trying to get into Congress to make a name for himself to potentially make a presidential run, which seems to be the case. We've got how many other Democrats in office to kind of wash that noise out? Quite a bit. And to be fair, DSA candidates have had a very, and specifically DSA backed candidates, have not done incredibly well in blue or purple districts. So, in summary, criticize the DSA, criticize Hassan, who rightfully should be criticized, especially for some of the quotes that he's been saying, which are egregious, not just the 9/11 comments, it's comments he's made towards other individuals, how he has said that, I think it was Adam Schiff that he said should be locked up. There's different things you can probably find, right? But a calculation has to be made at the end of the day. And that's a very difficult calculation, and one in which I think Destiny, when I was asking him those questions when he was debating Jola, acknowledged as well. And I think from talking with some of my liberal friends, they would agree that it is a very difficult question of what do we do. And I also feel a little bit spiteful as well, and given what the DSA has done. So, anyways, but in terms of the debate, I think it went well. Clearly, the obvious choice here is Democrats. Democrats are the best choice. Ironically, Democrats are now in kind of the better candidate for lowering your taxes via getting rid of tariffs, getting rid of corruption via congressional investigations, albeit congressional investigations aren't going to do all that much given that Todd Blanche is now the sitting head of the DOJ. But congressional investigations nonetheless. And also lowering your costs via ending the war in Iran. Now, we have to get a veto-proof majority, which is going to be incredibly difficult to do. But I think if we get enough in the Senate, we can get it done. Rein in Trump's powers. So overall, it was a great, great, great debate. I appreciate Jack for you coming in here. I appreciate everybody that did show up. Lethe, give me your Texas money. I don't have any Texas money, sir. I'm broke. In fact, I'm actually using airline miles in order for me to fly into Vegas next month to do it. Stop lying to me. Listen, bro, I'm broke. Listen, we're all in Texas. We have Greg Abbott as our governor. Of course we're freaking broke. Remember, I model my debate style on a combination of Christopher Hitchens and Hugh Laurie. I'm a pray when it needs me. Yeah. Interesting test. YouTube blocking my comments still. Yeah. Y'all killed a good work. Hey man, Lethe, have I ever lost a debate? Listen, I'm going for the left-wing version. Okay, I'm going to say this in a slightly less offensive way. I'm trying to be the left-wing version of the debate, bro. Okay, Destiny's kind of got that crown right now, and I don't think I'll ever be able to dethrone him from that crown. Okay, but I can always be second in line. I can always be third in line. I'm trying to make my way that way. Okay. And listen, it's been 6 years in the making, y'all. Okay. I was there in the OG days. Listen, subtle brag, but I deserve that freaking brag. If it weren't for me, Killer Steven, and Mindwaves, the debate scene as it's known today on Twitch politics would not be the way it is. You can't convince me otherwise. Okay. You can't convince me otherwise. Raj gets some for the more middle and upper tier creators in Twitch, but that's a different thing. Debate me on no, Lethe. Trap me into that damn thing. Oh, so it's your fault. No, I didn't say that. I didn't say it's my fault. I have evidentiary proof, by the way, that I was there in 2020 or 2019. So anybody wants to call me out saying I'm not the grandfather of Twitch politics, all right? Destiny's a reactionary. Just take it. He dropped it. Listen, we're going to make it, man. We're going to make it. And we're on our way. We're on our way. We're on our way. It's going to be fun. But it's not my fault. I didn't start it. Okay. I just lit the fire. And then Mindwaves kind of just poured gasoline on it. And then Dylan took it. And then A4 Andre. Remember those days? Those were great. A4 Andre. Who were some other characters in there? There was A4 Andre, Prime Kais, Lethe, you had a panel, Tiberius had a panel. There's a lot of panels going on at the same time. I think Stardust even had one. How was your debate with oh man, yeah, that Candace Owens thing was crazy, wasn't it, Lethe? She kept pivoting so hard, and like it's like so what I've understood this is that she's developed this idea of a leftist. Dude, this one piece of hair is like bothering me. Whatever. She's developed this character. Bro, this is freaking bothering me. It's like that one little hair. She's developed this character of who a leftist is, and is like put this guy into this saying, well, a leftist wouldn't visit Chick-fil-A. I mean, I guess. No left-wing person would ever help people by telling them to stop filming your war crimes and posting them on the internet because they were fucking with you with videos. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Jack, but I'm assuming you're talking about what you would refer to as Tiny. Yeah, oh yeah, he got cooked. Well, Lethe, look. Listen, you're talking about Candace Owens versus Andrew Wilson. But like, I think at the end of the day, you could take away a little bit from both. Like, for example, Candace was much more poised. She was in her element. She did not seem rattled. Andrew felt a little more rattled to me. He felt like he didn't quite have knowledge of the case, which was probably not the greatest thing going into the debate. But Andrew did call out Candace quite a few times, and I think, it's worth noting. And this is the problem in our society, by the way, is that any kind of positive critiques of individuals, and this is any positive critiques are construed to believe that you support that individual. You can look at things in a critical manner without supporting that individual. And this is kind of the problem I have in general when it comes to my positions, is that oftentimes my positions get misconstrued as support for one or the other. I try to look at things in a very objective manner. I try to look at things in okay, what are the facts? Where do the facts lead me? And that's how I operate. People sometimes sit there and take that as like, I'm in support of the DSA, or I'm in support of this, or Trump even, or whatever. I'm just looking at it objectively as best as I can and making the assessment that I have. So just want to mention that. Andrew has the right position, but got cooked like a microwave dinner, left in 10 minutes. Yeah, I mean, I definitely think, I think the one that's going to carry a lot of weight is going to be the one where he didn't know, which I think is a critical one to know, which is the charges that were levied against Lance, I think is his name. And Candace like brought it out. And then he was like, oh yeah, show me the text messages. Didn't quite work out that way. And I think that's kind of been the case with Andrew. Like when I debated Andrew on the LA, well, it was about, I think Trump is the most corrupt president or something like that. He talked about the LA riots, and it was on Tom Fullery's panel. Go shout out to Tom Fullery. If you go watch it, it's actually great. He knew the Twitter headlines. Exactly. That's a fault. Is that if you go look at the LA protests or riots or whatever you want to call them, he said that there was hundreds of cops and they were just standing around the gas station and not doing anything and just watching it be looted. Okay, let's go pull up the video. There was maybe 10 or 20 cops, and they were throwing flashbangs at the individuals who were looting the store. Not hundreds, not the way it was characterized. And I think I'd also started to press him about certain judicial cases, and he kind of ran from it and went to my partner. I have photos of the National Guard doing nothing but guard porta potties across from Home Depot. Well, this is the problem, Lethe, is that there is a difference between, now listen, I understand, I get it. I understand ACAB, I get it. Nor did they do nothing. They just did not shoot them. Well, and I think that's the thing too, is like, there's a difference between the National Guard and local police. And this is one thing I tell them is, and actually, I think I brought this up in the debate with Andrew, was that there was hundreds of felony arrests, thousands of felony arrests, thousands of others with misdemeanors and stuff. But the Republican or conservative rather debate tactic is they go, it wasn't enough. And I know this because I've used them before in my conservative debates. It's not enough. Or, okay, so they were arrested. That means they're lawless. I think that's what it was. Well, they're lawless. But here's the interesting part, though. If I sit there and go, well, Trump wasn't obeying the Supreme Court orders, they'll sit there and go and weasel it out and go, well, did he listen? Okay, so then that same argument can be made back around to them and go, okay, so then if that's the case, then, but they were eventually arrested, right? So, and this is the problem. This is why when you're debating these guys, you got to kind of pick up on one, never ask a question you don't know the answer to. That's lawyer 101. That is debate 101. Don't ask a question. Andrew failed at this. He swung at a cloud of dust and he missed. He tried to ask Candace, did you get that text message? And he didn't get it. And then he tried to sit there and, you know, when you ask questions, you need to know the answers to those questions. And good debate prep is not just the answer to the question, but what would be the answer to your rebuttal to that question? Again, I'm not paying. This is free lessons, by the way. I should make all of you guys sign up for my Vince Wilson debate classes, but you know. No, I'm kidding. At least not at this point in time. As I said, I think 2 days ago with the meme, consistency. Exactly. Yeah, just need to have some consistency. Well, guys, look, it is 10:19 where I'm at. I am incredibly exhausted. I have been going all day with work, and now I'm doing this, and I still got to get a little bit of a snack in. You mean the one you honed with our help? There you go. I see. Seize the means of production. Is that what you're doing, Jack? You seize the means of production? Just like a Texan running. Texans don't run. We're too fat to run. Am I wrong? Am I wrong, Leafy? Okay. It's all that beef. Or maybe Austin. Austin, if you find a Texan in Austin, they might be able to run faster than other cities, but you know. Just not working for free and no credit. Right. You got me there. Exactly. I knew I would. All right, guys. So here's the deal. I'm gonna be getting off of Twitch. Make that clear, because if I paused, yeah. I'm going to get off of Twitch, YouTube, and X, and I'm going to go in and try to re-upload this video. I may end up having to like rip a VOD from somebody else because I was talking over a lot of the debate, and there's probably some good pieces in there. So look for that upload. And when you see that upload, please drop a like on it, guys. We're struggling out here, okay? Every week I try to put out a video and not working good on the long form debate content. So I might have to start trying to figure out how to do that. But all right, guys, y'all take care. Have a great evening. I remember I'll be back. Pisco's audio's clean. Okay, I might ask Pisco. See you guys Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, and we'll go over current events. Thursday might be Project Liberal Day, where we'll go over Project Liberal. I'm thinking about adding in a TikTok day where I do debates. And then Friday, it's going to end up being, again, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, and we're going to be doing current events. Later, guys. Take care. Y'all have a good one.